You can go ahead and head to YouTube, Facebook,
All right,
Twitch.
I just started it, so momentarily.
Like and subscribe.
We'll have him unveil, I guess.
Unveil, that's certainly one way to put it, you know?
Yeah, go ahead. We'll do that in a second. Also, a little bit later on in the show, Josh Brisco will join us at 11 o'clock. We'll wrap up a little NFL talk with him for the wild card weekend and his perspective on where things are at for this offseason for Kansas City. And then it's a Friday. So we'll end the weekend on a good note with Fan Club Friday, brought to you by Jay Rieger and Co. We'll have a couple drinks, and we'll have Taylor Burr from Fox 4 join us. We haven't had her on the show before. She's, I don't know, now maybe it's been like 6+ months at least now.
She's been in the gig for a while.
Yeah, but she's obviously newer
yet,
to Kansas City. So we'll get to know her a little bit, talk some NFL. She also covered the Florida Gators for a while, so we'll talk about, I'm imagining some displeasure with the Miami Hurricane winning last night. I'm imagining there's not a whole lot of love there towards the Miami Hurricane, so we'll ask about that. What a game it was, though, last night with Miami pulling off the win against Ole Miss, so that was awfully cool to watch. And both teams, I think, were pretty easy to root for based off of the personalities that exist and the stories behind it, but I wanted Ole Miss to win last night, but it was Miami. They got the job done.
Yeah, Ole Miss was an easy team to root for the obvious reasons, because the coach had left them. If they had gone on to win it, it would have felt like kind of this exciting moment. And so I feel like it would have been cool to see them do it. But yeah, it'll be Miami, and then obviously the winner of Indiana, Oregon tonight, who we'll talk about in a second. But again, as a reminder, I'll give you 30 more seconds, maybe 38.
Okay, good, because
I
want to get the I want to get the show. I want to get the show tweet up as well with the stream.
So the video stream is getting ready to start.
He'll be wearing
right now.
The stream is up.
He'll be wearing it throughout the entire show. So,
sure, but we're not going to have him on camera the entire show. But so over on YouTube and Twitter and Twitch, you can subscribe to 96.5 The Fan. We video stream the show anyway. But if you want to see Drew in his Hooters outfit, you can certainly do that. So.
I know. Everybody has been waiting on, and people aren't even excited about what we're going to talk about on the show today. They just want to see this.
I might throw up.
We're 965 The Fan on Twitch. We're The Fan 965 over on YouTube. Just come find us. You'll find us.
All right. So can you fill us in backstory here? You grabbed the outfit from downstairs a day or two ago. Did you wash this? Because we don't know when the last time that thing's been worn.
Which is exactly why I felt like I needed to wash it. I also I washed it. I tried it on.
So you tried it on. Like, be honest, did you like turn around in the mirror and look at yourself a little bit while you're wearing it? Yeah. What did your wife think of this?
She was like, "Oh boy," that's all she said.
Oh boy,
that's all she could say.
That's not a compliment.
She was like, "I mean, it definitely looks like it's not meant for you." I was like, "Yeah, I would say it's a good way to describe it."
That's a nice way.
But yeah, I tried it on. I waited until about. I don't know if I'm going to be able to last the whole show wearing this. Not because of the embarrassment. It's more of it's squeezing the pec muscles so much that
isn't that meant to support that area more than any?
Well.
Guess not.
Traditionally, yeah, okay. I would assume so.
Okay. So, actually, I did it before Drew starts showing everybody the outfit. I actually put some music in goal. Could you you actually help Drew out? I don't want him to make it feel like it's just awkward and we're just sitting here.
Yeah.
You might recognize this as the What's Your Fantasy
Should
music.
I go solo? I'm going to go single producer cam.
Go for it.
Yeah, I think so. Take the music down just a little bit, Drew. That way we can still have commentary. All right, Drew, let's see.
This is paying off the season-long Hooters bet.
Are we going to regret this?
Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable for us. He's wearing the Hooters outfit. He's taking the black hoodie off. Now, you had another shirt on underneath. Looks like an Oklahoma State shirt. Did you intentionally pick an orange shirt to go with the Hooters?
Yes, yes, I did.
All right.
You know what? I appreciate the effort.
He's trying to match up a little bit. All right, here we go. I got to stand up because I don't think I can see from where I'm... Okay. All right.
Wait, should I do the shorts first or should I do the top first?
Do the top first. Fine. Yeah.
I don't think it matters. Is this uncomfortable for everybody? Honestly, it's not as short in the crop area as I was expecting.
I thought it was going to be much higher up. But you know... Dude,
Let's go.
You're going to have to step back from the camera a little bit after you do the shorts, just so everyone can get the full view. Why are you flexing?
He's flexing, which is the most ridiculous part of this. If you wore, if the men had to wear this at Hooters when they worked, my gosh.
All right.
So that's the top.
Shorts time, I guess.
I'm actually gonna have to go to the video stream
Because he's going to have to take a step back anyway. This feels like we're breaking some sort of
I
company
don't need to
rule.
take the graphic off. Hold
Does
on.
HR have to be called for this? I just don't know what the I don't know what the rules are. This feels like we're bordering on sexual harassment in the workplace. Take your
shorts off, man. Oh my gosh.
Oh, those are short. Yeah. Good call on the compression shorts.
Yeah,
They were a must. They were a
that would
must.
have been disgusting otherwise.
I deeply fear what that would have looked like otherwise.
How uncomfortable does it feel right now, though?
Again,
Is it everything
shorts
feels
are-
like it'd be
shorts
pressing up where it shouldn't be
I'm
pressing
gonna be
up?
honest. The shorts, the compression significantly helps. The top is like is right here in this is the pec muscle area. So it's a little tight.
Someone says, not gonna lie, over on Twitch, this looks like a shirt he'd wear anyways.
Someone says you might end up with a new listener base. Additional listeners?
We like
listeners
on all. We want
bring
all
on
listeners
the-
of all
Yeah,
kinds.
bring on the
everybody's
new
welcome. Yeah, everybody's welcome. Whatever
on the new
you
listeners.
need to want to listen to the show more, we're all for. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Someone
Over
says,
on-
why did I watch this? Drew, did you take a blue chew before?
Gorilla over,
no, I didn't.
Gorilla over on YouTube says, okay, I'm turning off the stream now.
Yeah.
Several sick emojis. Someone says YouTube is going to take this video down.
Oh, that
for-
could happen. Yeah.
Really?
That would actually
We're
be
going to get
insane.
decency standard?
That would be insane.
Text line, Drew said, nice rack. Can I cut the music, please? Can we cut the
know what?
music?
Somebody just said that this is like a lesson in gambling and why you should gamble responsibly.
That's true. Otherwise, you could be wearing a Hooters outfit at work.
Hold on. There
Please
are.
gamble
I
responsibly.
will
That's right.
say this after seeing between this and
I can't take you
other
seriously.
between this and other like gambling like payoffs, this one I feel like is not as bad as some others. I will say this as well. I wanted to make sure that I paid off this bet, and I did not negotiate out of said bet. I wanted to make
I'm
sure
glad
that
you paid it off.
That we paid this one off. I know the McDonald's one is still technically there.
We'll
but,
get to that.
But yeah, no, I wanted to. Yeah,
Someone says this is
Here
the
we
new
are.
Bengals jersey. You can be wearing this as often as you wore
It does.
that.
He is used to wearing orange.
I was gonna say
That's why he's okay with it.
So
the orange and black. Yeah, is
someone says there's an episode of over on YouTube. Someone says they think there's an episode of King of the Hill where he has to go work at Hooters. He said maybe I'm getting some flashbacks.
I mean, I would pay you a large sum of money to walk into a Hooters later on after the show, just wearing
And
that,
just
and
get
just
some-
see,
I'd
and just
like-
or-
I'd
and,
like
and,
some
and
wings,
act,
please.
and act completely normal, like they're the crazy ones. Like, what do you, why?
I'm just
what are
wearing
you guys,
what I want to wear.
What are you guys looking at me for? And just, or actually, the funnier one would be to walk into a Twin Peaks wearing that and just sit down.
I mean, I assume they boo you out of the building, right?
I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe.
I'm not sure how that would go down.
Someone says he has to wear that to Chuck's Arcade if he loses another bet.
no.
The police might be called.
That's
the
not
police.
happening.
It's Chuck's Arcade, not Chuck E. Cheese.
Well, fair,
It's
fair.
meant for
I'm just saying,
adults.
Chuck E. Cheese, the police are being called. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, you're getting arrested before you even get
Someone
into
who's the
building.
real loser in the bet. That's what I'm not sure, honestly. I thought it would be him, but I'm not sure. It
We
might
can't
be
really
us.
see the shorts from here, so we're spared from that.
Do you want me to?
No,
Okay.
no. You don't need to come in here. No.
You want to stay as far
Stay over there.
socially distant.
Stay over
as
there.
Socially distant.
Yeah,
We have-
think of this
we-
as like 2020.
There's a huge.
Stay on that side of the glass.
There's glass over there.
Instead of 6 feet, you want it to be like 20 feet.
Stay in the producer booth over there, please. Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. And hope that the boss doesn't walk in at any point today.
Yeah, you gotta kind of hope that Roxanne doesn't like pop upstairs
and
just to
she
see how
doesn't
things
know
are
about
going.
this, does she?
I'll be honest. Choosing a Friday, I thought we were doing a little bit of solid because then you'll get to weekend to wash us away. What I didn't think about is on Fridays, the entire sales staff comes upstairs for a brief period of time,
hold on,
including the big boss. They all come
hold on.
upstairs at 1:30,
And we're gonna have it all.
the whole building.
We are gonna have. We might have to arrange.
You'd like to negotiate having it off before 1:30 is what you're saying.
I think that that might be fair.
We'll see if we're feeling generous later, I guess.
Look, if it's no, I don't mind the embarrassment of people. I guess
Text line.
witnessing this, but I don't need it to be that awkward.
But before we move on to actual sports topics, over on Twitch, there seems to be a significant request on the video side.
Wait, he's
Drew,
getting requests
one,
now?
one more
Settle
thing.
down.
One more thing before we switch the cameras for a little bit and actually touch boards. They'd like you to back up from the camera and just do one little spin.
You
They gotta see the whole outfit.
Hold on. You want me? I'm gonna go single producer.
Yeah, single producer
Shot
for
again.
a second. Back away from the camera for a second and just do a little spin. Outfit of the day style, you know? I'm sure we'll send out a clip from this on social media later. It's so ridiculous.
There it is.
All right, there we go. All right, yeah.
Someone says, please take that off before fan club, the guest gets here. That might be a good idea.
Yeah. Let's not try to scare off new people who are coming onto this show and all of a sudden, like, we swear Drew doesn't dress like this every day. Just a special.
Yeah, I mean, I'll get really
circumstance.
concerned if he ever is just wearing that again randomly, whether it's a week from now or 6 months from now. I'll be very like, if
This is a future Cody Gold garage sale item if I've ever seen one.
Yeah, like if your wife asked you to wear that,
worn.
if your wife asked you to keep that on tonight or something,
Game worn.
that's a completely different conversation.
Game worn.
You said game
Show
worn.
worn. You
Yeah,
know?
show worn. Producer worn.
Should I sign it?
Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, feel gross right now, you know?
It feels like an HR violation, whatever we're doing. Either he's committing an HR violation or we are. Maybe both, at least on that side. Let's talk a little bit of NFL football.
Oh, yeah?
now. Let's make a little transition. We previewed the AFC side of the NFL playoffs yesterday. We're previewing the NFC side as well, as obviously we got a great college football playoff game last night, another college football playoff game tonight, and remember, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, we'll get NFL playoffs. So let's look at the NFC side of things. We can start with Rams-Panthers because it's easily the least interesting game. Is anyone giving the Panthers more than about a 10 or 15 shot to win it? I've seen 8-9, 8-8. I've seen bad NFL teams.
Dude,
get to
Carolina
buys. I
stinks.
think the Rams are too good. I don't think the Panthers are all that good at all. I think that this is easily the least competitive game of the weekend. I like the Rams by 10 or more, probably, if we're being honest for this matchup. I just don't think the Panthers have enough juice.
I know the Panthers beat the Rams earlier this year. I think it was week 9 or whatever. So you'll say, what do you mean? How can you say they don't have a chance? They beat them. The Panthers, how they're playing down the stretch, this is weird. They ended up winning the NFC South, but they were playing worse than the Falcons down the stretch. They were playing worse than the Saints down the stretch. And believe it or not, other than the Bucs, who they still lost to, even in the game that they needed to win if it wasn't for the tiebreaker, they might have been playing worse than any other team in their own division heading into the postseason.
The Falcons were playing better.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
So, like,
sure.
I don't think. Look, can the Panthers maybe cover the 10.5? Fine. I don't really have much interest in betting that, be honest with you. But the Rams are winning this game. There's a reason this is the first game on Saturday. It's going to be the worst game of the entire weekend. The Panthers and Bryce Young, I'm sorry. Like, I understand Dave Canales deserves a ton of credit, and Bryce Young has been clutch on game-winning drives for the most part. But you look still at some of his numbers, guys. In the first half, he's ending first halves with like 55, 65 yards passing. I mean, if their run game is not going and they're not forcing a turnover, these games are not going to be close, or this game will not be close. So I like the Rams quite a bit.
Yeah, so you sound like you're at a very similar camp as me, at least on that. So let's move on from that one for just a minute, because, again, the other two have some intrigue.
Oh, yeah.
But the most interesting is obviously the game tomorrow night. So the Eagles game,
Or tomorrow night's Packers Bears.
Sorry. The Eagles game, though, and the 49ers. The 49ers, they obviously, once again, have a very talented roster, but now it's all hurt. Then, Trent Williams, he's not even practicing every day. Practiced yesterday, so maybe he's available to go, but at what percentage is he? And I still think that and it makes me feel a little sick. I think the Eagles still have the best roster in the NFL. They have the best roster in the playoffs. And they've been to Super Bowls. They won the Super Bowl last year. They understand how to win in the playoffs and are consistent at doing it and are playing at home against an injured 49ers team. This might be the second least competitive game of the weekend. I think every game on the AFC side is gearing up to be a more competitive game than what I think we might get out of this Eagles 49ers game. It's another game where I'd like to find a way to get the 49ers to win it because I don't want to see the Eagles go anywhere. But when you start looking at the roster comparisons, it's not close. The Eagles have the better roster, are playing at home, and have all the experience. How am I supposed to talk myself into a 49ers win here?
The issue with the Niners is the injuries.
Yes.
That's the real problem here. Like, you're right about the Eagles and the roster and why, a lot of people still think there's a chance they could go on a run. And they do have some of the most talented rosters in the entire playoff field and maybe the most talented roster in the entire postseason. But the 49ers, the other part of this equation, it's not just about how Philadelphia might play. San Francisco is so beat up. They just had also another grueling game in the final week of the season. They, of course, don't have a bye. They have to go on the road. They have to go from the West Coast all the way out east to Philadelphia. I just think it's a terrible setup for San Francisco to win this game in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I think it's just going to – it's not a 0% the way I feel like the Panthers. Like I give them a 5% chance to win the game. But it just feels like they're going to have to play a perfect game. As in the Eagles have no answers for Christian McCaffrey. Purdy is on – and Purdy has 2-3 games like this a year, Gold, at least I'll admit. Purdy has 2 or 3 games a year where, like, he's just on one. Dialed in, accurate as anybody in the league. Like, he has a couple games a year where he just fires. He had that 5 or 6 touchdown game. What, like week 14 or 15 when they were still fighting for the division? So, like, he can have games like that. I just don't see it. Now, the last game on the NFC side, Packers and Bears. I mean, look, I'm never going to get tired of a historic NFL rivalry and 2 teams that already had to play each other a couple times this year. The problem for the Packers is a little bit like the injury stuff. I think this game is close. I'm just going to give the Bears the edge because of being at home. And I think Ben Johnson's got this team at least to the point that I can expect them to get a playoff win. I don't think they're making a deep playoff run. I think it's too early for the Bears in this transitional period to getting good again for them to go on a deep run. I'm not predicting them coming out of the NFC or anything, but I do think that they'll get this one win against Green Bay. The question will be whether or not does Caleb Williams make mistakes in his first playoff run?
I think the public, it seems like, wants the Bears to win. Like, public likes the story. Year 1, Ben Johnson, Chicago, great fan base as well there, and it's going to be an awesome atmosphere. I actually am going to go Green Bay on this. I think they spoil the party there in Chicago. Bears get back to the postseason finally. They win their division and all that, and then I think Green Bay goes in there and spoils the party. There's no Aaron Rodgers to be their enemy, but I still think the Packers as a franchise still own the Chicago Bears, and so I'll go with Green Bay in this matchup. Jordan Love, remember, he has not played here recently with Malik Willis getting snaps with all the injuries and everything.
Malik Willis played pretty well, though, down the stretch. He didn't play bad.
The key in this game is, can they get Josh Jacobs going at all? Because in the weather, I think, is supposed to be nasty. And so the run game, Chicago has a great run game, and so that should favor them if the weather does get bad. But if the Green Bay Packers can get Josh Jacobs back to where he was the first half of the season, he's not been as good here in the back half. If they can get back to that, then I also like them here. I'll just still go with the more experienced, slightly more experienced quarterback in this particular spot. Jordan Love doesn't have a ton of postseason experience, but it's definitely more than Caleb Williams.
Hey, Drew, which side are you on? I can't.
Don't look over there. Don't look over there.
Do you want to give us your selections for these games?
He can't even gather his thoughts either.
No, yes, I can. Let me pull up the games again because I've been running around.
Packers, Bears.
Packers. I'm going to take the Packers to win this one. I'm going to take the Rams to win their game, and then I will take the Eagles to win the game over the
we're on the same page.
Yeah, we're all on the same idea.
Cody's on the Bears though. Cody's on the Bears.
I think the Panthers cover though the 10.5. I think the game might be a little bit better than because they beat them earlier in the year, and I know that it's different. It's in Carolina. I don't know if that means anything, but I think Carolina can. I think he can keep it within 10 points. It just 10 points is for a playoff game, is a crazy number for a spread in a playoff game.
I know, but the Panthers are awful.
I know.
Like, Ted McMillan looks to be a good player, and for a while this season, they ran the ball okay. But that's like that. I mean, that's
really the extent of it.
That's the end of my compliments for him. Like, honestly, I genuinely hope the Panthers are smart enough to move on from Bryce Young. Because they can't. It's not going to work in the long term. They want to ride out the final year of his contract and wait for next year's quarterback draft. I don't care. That's fine. Because they're not picking high enough to actually do any kind of damage. They're going to be picking in the 20s. But if they just want to take Ty Simpson at 24, that's fine too.
I don't know if it's just me either. I don't, and I know that we're on the same page in picking the Packers. It feels like, but I don't see the Bears. It's weird. They're the 2 seed, but it doesn't feel like I can picture them winning the whole thing. Like I can't visualize them getting to the Super Bowl, even though they're the 2 seed. I don't know if that's.
Let's do that exercise. Who do you think actually can win the Super Bowl out of the NFC side? Because maybe you think they can win a game, but what you're saying, who can win the Super Bowl? I think the Rams can, even though they're going to have to go on the road, but they're playing the Panthers. So
I agree.
So the Rams, Seattle, they're the number 1 seed, and they have beaten just about everybody in this field. Is there a third? Is the question. And if there is, Eagles. Who is it? and it's the Eagles just because of their experience in the roster.
I think so.
So it's those three teams.
When we do this later, just as a heads up, the Eagles are the team I'm going to predict to come out of the NFC.
It could be weird. And I could see the Packers coming out of it just because we thought that they were I know that was early,
lost,
but
maybe before the Micah Parsons injury.
That's the issue.
Yeah.
The first month of the year, the Packers were playing better football than anybody, but it's always doesn't matter how you're playing the first month. How are you playing down the stretch? Injuries, they're also 100%. Not playing as well. So maybe the Bears beat the Packers on Sunday or Saturday night, tomorrow night. But I can't imagine them then going on the road and rattling off a couple wins, all right, if they have to go on the road, depending on how the bracket shapes
I'd
up.
only give the AFC one additional team. I think Denver, Buffalo, Jacksonville, and New England can win the Super Bowl, and nobody else can.
I still struggle with Jacksonville. I know they're playing great, and you're right, it's the name part.
That's part of it, and I don't blame you.
I can't remember where, I don't have the trend in front of me. First-year head coaches, just, like, it almost automatically eliminates you from winning a Super Bowl. If you really? There's other factors, but I'll have to find it. Somebody did a good breakdown of some of those trends, and like first year head coaches, you can almost eliminate any of these teams like Ben Johnson, Liam Cohen. Like you're not winning the Super Bowl in your first year.
I think in the last 25
I guess
the only thing I'm giving the Jags is versus the Bears. The Bears are a year behind where the Jags are. Jags have played in a couple of postseason games. They took on the Chiefs in a playoff game. They came from behind in one. So like they've gotten a little taste of it. Chicago and Caleb Williams in this unit haven't gotten really any taste of it.
Yeah.
So like there's part of me that just doesn't.
Two coaches, and I'm not talking about like Mike Vrabel's been a head coach before.
Mike Martz or
Mike Vrabel's been a head coach before, so this stat doesn't really qualify for him. It's not his first time being head coach. 2 times, Don McCaffrey with the Baltimore Colts in 1971, first rookie head coach to ever win a Super Bowl, and then George Seifert, he won with the Niners now. Caveat still, an asterisk. He stepped in after Bill Walsh. They were in the middle of middle of the dynasty. That roster was ready to rock and roll already.
Versus taking over the Jags. Not a team in the middle of it. That's fair. That's more than fair. I just give them the advantage because they might, as much as I said the Eagles had the best roster in the NFL, the Jags might have the best roster on the AFC side.
The last coach.
Top to bottom, not like,
The last coach to just reach the Super Bowl in their first year was Jim Caldwell back in 2009 with Manning and the Colts. Now, they didn't win.
Again, you got to have like Peyton Manning or Joe Montana, Steve Young. Like, you got to have like a dude. And look, this is not a knock on Trevor Lawrence, but like the quarterbacks we're discussing here, even if you like Trevor Lawrence or not that of the ones you're comparing, you're comping Jim Caldwell got to take over Peyton Manning, who ran the entire offense himself. Sure. A lot of people probably could have gone to the Super Bowl.
I forgot about Jim Caldwell
with that Colts team. Look, that's a good position to land yourself in if you're a coach. That's for sure. Good position. Good position to be in overall. Drew, is it hurt to wear that outfit?
People are asking for still shots. People are tweeting us still shots of you flexing now. Thank you for that.
I think it's fine. It's fine right now, but I think in 2.5 hours, it's going to be really
uncomfortable,
tugging on the pec muscles a little bit, which is it's just going to get
clarified. Thank you.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Said pec muscles.
Let's go. Why am I excited for this?
Why are you? You're way too excited.
He's good at owning it.
I'm cool. Yeah,
then
that
ruins it for us. We want you to be miserable.
Yeah.
This was like people weren't happy I wasn't sad enough when I ate that hot chip I ate that Pocky chip. I was miserable. I was just calm about it.
Yeah,
Drew's. You know what though? We can just look at this. Anybody who's like overly happy, they're just like secretly miserable. That's what I'm going to assume.
All right, up next, let's talk a little bit what happened last night, though. College football playoff national semi. We know Miami is moving on. They're awaiting the winner tonight of Indiana and Oregon. But a couple different storylines out of the game yesterday, what it tells us about college football. We'll also get to Rob Manfred's idea for baseball next.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
The playoffs are here. More specifically, the NFL wildcard round is here, and FanDuel is turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack during every NFL playoff game day, each game day during the wildcard round. You'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you on the app. So whether you're like me and you think the Patriots are going to go all the way, or you think Jacksonville is going to win in this first round of the playoffs, you can take your shot on an upset or build a parlay that fits the moment. Then apply your profit boost and go for even bigger payouts while you get the playoffs rolling. Visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your Profit Boost pack for every NFL playoff game day. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable profit boot token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLE.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Missouri. Open to new users only. Minimum odds, -500. Awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Are you 50 or older? This news is for you. The CDC recommends you get vaccinated against pneumococcal pneumonia. Even if you're healthy, your age puts you at risk. People 50 or older are over 6 times more likely to be hospitalized with pneumococcal pneumonia compared to adults 18 to 49. Just one shot can help protect you. Learn more and schedule at vaxassist.com. That's VAXassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Don't forget the Royals rally is coming up at the end of the month on Saturday, January 31st. Vern will be broadcasting live from 9 to noon. We'll have interviews with multiple Royals players, front office interviews as well, and of course, always available on demand on the All Things Vern channel. Baseball season will be here before we know it. We will talk a little baseball here in about 8 to 10 minutes as Rob Manfred, who confirmed that in January of 2029, he will step away as commissioner. He's not going to stay any longer than that, even though there was some speculation here in recent months that maybe he would. He had a couple really interesting ideas. Some are better than others, as it usually goes. We'll get into that in just a bit. But don't forget, Royals Rally coming up at the end of the month, man. Vern will be on the air here before you know it.
Always a good time. Players and GMs, they usually schedule a time so you kind of know who's going to be there and when, and all the different panels you can catch, and of course, Vern's show out there as well. So should be a good time. You got a little smile on your face. Somebody sending you another
Just
photo
laughing.
of Drew?
Yes. I got some text. Yes.
Well, and for those of you who didn't get on YouTube or anything like that, there's a social clip that I believe is going to be going out on our Instagram page as well. So if you have Instagram, then you can
follow us
go
on Instagram.
See the outfit there.
Yep, Drew is paying off his Hooters bet. I know you were excited last night, though, Drew. Fortunately, Drew had that at least, even if he knew the next day he was going to have to wear this. He was excited because we had a hell of a college football game last night. It really was. It was an awesome game. And the final 5 minutes in particular were really, really strong. The back and forth. We've talked about the story with Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin bails on them. So right away, that makes you root for those kids, I think, a bit. And then Trinidad Chambliss is a great story to begin with. So it was easy to root for him. I also just think he's come up with big play after big play. Wasn't good enough, though, as a team last night. Miami really for most of that game was the better team.
I thought at any point they were getting ready. Ole Miss was going to get run out of the building.
It looked like it for a
Shambles
bit.
kept trying to give the ball away. And
Miami was so dominant.
Miami was running the ball with ease.
When they
and I thought,
wanted to
I don't know,
run,
this is going to be a problem.
when Miami wanted to run, they were able to run the football. And then Carson Beck, give him credit, last drive, to go and get yourself a berth for the national title game. He puts together a 70-yard drive that eats up a good chunk of clock. Of course, he runs in the touchdown. Ole Miss had nobody over on that side of the field. I mean, he just walked in if he wanted to. And it caps off, well, maybe, we'll see. To this point, continues, I should say, his 7-year college football career. And Miami, it's weird. Like, normally, going way back to when we were much younger, Miami, they were dominant, and they were viewed
the swagger team,
Yes, they were viewed as kind of team people didn't like and all that. Now that both these teams were really likable last night.
Miami, because they have not been relevant for a number of years, the hate, or I guess the childhood hate or whatever, and I didn't have a ton of hate. They were a really popular starter jacket during my youth.
Yeah, good colors. Yeah.
And so, but, they were the braggadocious team, and so I think people were kind of turned off of them for a while. Just a likable bunch trying to win a football game last night. They were on the fringe of not making the college football playoff at all. Again, why we all wanted a college football playoff for so damn long anyway. For the longest time, it was just you put 2 teams in. Then we got up to 4, and it's like, no more. There are more good teams with an actual chance of winning a national title. Miami, the 10 seed of the very few teams who get in college football, is all the way in the national championship now.
Yeah, this is a true playoff. This is the point of having a playoff.
Which is an American sports system, I understand, and it is unique to American sports. Turns out I'm an American. I grew up here, and I like watching.
This is what we like, man.
Playoff sports, even if they are not the best team wins formula every time, because they aren't. They are still the most fun formula from a just anybody can win it perspective. So that's what stood out to me is really the fact that this once again kind of highlights where college football is. And I think that everybody should admit that the SEC is not the best college football conference anymore. They will now have 3 straight years not having anyone play in the national championship game. And the Big Ten could win 3 straight national championships if Indiana wins it all, or the ACC could have one before them. So,
that on top of the bowl record, the SEC was 4-10 in bowl games, 2-8 against in ones that didn't include 2 SEC teams playing.
Sankey, the SEC commissioner, can try all he wants more and more to guarantee bids and opportunities for the SEC to have spots in the playoffs. But the facts are the facts now. As you said, it's been 3 years since they were in a national title game. The only part so I love that.
Oh, of course I do.
The only part, again, I hate is because, again, I think
they might try to run the sport.
Well, no, I mean, because I thought Ole Miss was very likable and Trinidad, and that would have been a cool story. But in general, the fact that the SEC missed out after how they've tried to game the playoff bidding for themselves, I do take a little bit of joy.
I think it also helps that this is Miami and not Ohio State in a way. From the standpoint of Miami's back, Carson Beck, the not revenge tour, if you will, but Georgia essentially said, we're taking Gunnar Stockton over you, and you got to leave. He leaves, gets the elbow surgery. He's back, and he's going further than Georgia did. Like, there's so many good storylines beyond just the Signetti angle, as well with Trinidad Chambliss. And to your guys' point about the way the playoff is built up, if it were just 4 teams, we wouldn't see Ole Miss or Miami in or Oregon in. Like, I think that, having the playoff as big as it is, it presents the opportunity for stories like this to be, made.
But my fear, and this is a very real fear I have, it brings me pleasure because of the way the SEC talks down to everybody football-wise, that they have not been in a national championship for 3 straight years. Deep, deep pleasure. And that they will once again not do it. But, because of them not being in it, and because they are still the loudest voice in the room when it comes to college football, they are going to ruin it to stack the deck for themselves now. They're going to fight even harder for 4 guaranteed playoff spots. They're going to fight even harder for all the home games have to be played in SEC stadiums. They're going to fight even harder to try to not make it equal because they're not winning anymore. So, we have to prepare for, but because if the SEC is still powerful, that they're going to fight for inequality in it.
I mean, if they go to 16, I don't know if I hear you. I think if they were going to 16, which we all think they're going to end up doing, the SEC was going to be trying to lock in, 4
but I think
plus
now
spots
even
anyway.
more,
Like
it's going to be worse.
I guess, yeah. Or is there more juice now behind the Big Ten and other power brokers as well to push back on that? I don't know.
I'm not so sure if this is a good way to describe this, but I would say, because Cam Newton recently came out, I think it said something similar to in the range of what you're saying, Cody. Not exactly, but Cam Newton said, I would rather watch Arkansas, Mississippi State than Indiana. But I think that there is a moment where you can, I agree with Cam from the standpoint that the SEC means, I get the fact that it means just more, because I think the SEC means more to those states than college football does to any other region in the country. That doesn't mean, though, that I would rather watch Arkansas and Mississippi State play than Indiana and Oregon play. I think while the SEC and it means more
Arkansas,
there.
Mississippi State stink.
Exactly. I think while it means more, that doesn't mean that that's the best product on the field. And I think that's the discrepancy where college football finds themselves in, is people love the SEC and the pageantry, and all of that is more collectively than what it is anywhere else in the country. But that doesn't mean it's the better football product.
No, look at the Big Ten. The Big Ten is guaranteed a spot on the national title because, of course, tonight we get Oregon and we get Indiana. And so with where they're at, you brought up Ohio State over the last couple of years, last year national champions as well. Like the Big Ten, you might be correct on the regional aspect of the SEC, but the Big Ten has been the better. Yeah, the Big Ten has been the better conference right now. Now it can change. We could be talking 3 years from now, and the SEC is in the title game and winning 3 straight championships. But right now, the Big Ten's the best conference.
Yeah,
it is. Ultimately, it's about who wins national titles and who makes a run in the college football playoff, not necessarily just that, the bottom 3 teams in the SEC are better than the bottom 3 teams in the Big Ten. Like, yeah, you want depth in your conference, but that's not really how we're judging these conferences. Like, as much, even when we talk about the Big 12, yeah, top to bottom, the Big 12 is actually a pretty strong conference, but the top end is not anywhere near the top end of the Big 10 or the SEC. It's just not.
Yep.
No, it's not. And but that's the problem. Again, I do think that it's somehow, look, right now, the Big Ten's having a better run. Like, I understand the Big Ten and the SEC are the only 2 conferences in college football that have real juice at the moment. I still think that NIL can help balance the playing field a little bit. Like, look at teams like Texas Tech, who can now compete, who weren't previously competing in the old system. And a lot of this just goes back to, like, nobody likes the winner, right? Same as people didn't like the Chiefs and are happy to see him fail and everything else outside of it. The game tonight, I am very interested in. We can talk about it more later, but the Indiana-Oregon one, like for the Oregon, Phil Knight doing I'll give you a blank check until I die to get them a national championship. I got to say, when he was looking at a Final Four and like, if you just take the, knowing how good Indiana's been, Indiana, Ole Miss, and Miami, you got to be like, guys, I've been cutting these checks for a while. We got a guy who's going to go top 2 in the NFL draft. Kind of feels like this is the year that those checks are supposed to cash. Is how I would feel if I was Oregon. I understand
their first ever football
tonight.
National title.
Yeah, well, and I mean, that was what was fun about the 4 is that nobody is some like football powerhouse, even though the Miami
historically,
brand,
but not in the last 20 years or whatever. Yeah, I think what you just said though about the Phil Knight and the money and all that. It's weird. There was the story. Was it a day ago, 2 days ago? So Mark Cuban is a Indiana alum.
For the first time, he dedicated since 2015. He dedicated a big amount of money.
He's an Indiana alum, and he said that he committed some NIL money last year, but he's like, they like the check I'm giving them more this year. We don't know the dollar amount and all that. But I can't remember. I think maybe it was Front Office Sports that had a whole article about this. I thought it was fascinating, and it makes sense. They said, you know what? You've always had, like, Mark Cuban's always donating money to Indiana, the university, but not the athletic department. And they made a good point, and they said this is why it's changed. Before, it was never viewed as, on the up and up. You're supporting the athletic department. It was a little more shady. Mark Cuban wasn't going to want to get involved in the bag game. You know what I mean? And in the stuff that wasn't above board. So he was always donating to the university, the academic side for buildings and the educational side, which is great, by the way. Now that it's above board for NIL, for you to write a check for NIL, now you've got these other schools that have, like, every university has not the same amount, but there's somebody at all these universities.
Some rich person who went to the university.
And now are they more likely to contribute to your athletic department because it's viewed as above board versus before, like, they weren't going to get in the shadiness involving whether you talk about.
Because I'm a proper businessman. Yeah. I can't be $100 handshaking like the local car dealer guy.
The same thing goes for like, look, K-State brings in Colin Klein. If K-State goes to the college football playoff next year, maybe not this, because they're uploading some resources, but if they go to the playoff, there's going to be another re-up in those resources. I think where Cignetti comes in and there were some promises made. Hey, I need this. He goes to the playoff. Okay, we actually can buy in. Then there's a little bit more money. They go undefeated so far this season. Now there's another re-up. Like the fact people think if people think Indiana's leaving and they're going anywhere, they're absolutely not, because now they're getting the investment from
facilities will be next
like
too.
that.
They'll
Yeah,
get better
exactly.
facilities over there. That's going to take some
Indiana's
time.
not going anywhere.
That'll take some time. Yeah, it's interesting. And then the ACC real quick, and we can move on. For whatever reason, it's great for Miami. For whatever reason, they're the only conference that allows them to keep the full prize pool, if you will, of what they make. So Miami in the ACC, they get all right now $20 million they've made throughout this playoff run. Normally, in the SEC and the Big 10 and the Big 12, you split that with everybody else in the conference. The ACC does not make you do that. How about that? So Miami's getting every penny of the bonus money, essentially, throughout this run.
It's crazy.
Now, as a conference, I would say that seems like a bad idea, but, just wouldn't you want to prop up everybody in the conference? But for Miami, it's great.
Yes, of course it is. That is kind of crazy. What was the ACC thinking?
Did they just to appease and keep like Clemson and maybe at the time? Did they did to keep Florida State and Clemson happy?
Did it to keep different schools happy, and then Miami's just going to cash a $20 million check by themselves?
Yeah. So you're right. We will get into tonight's game a little bit later on in the show. Indiana in Oregon, big time matchup where Indiana is a 3.5-point favorite, I think, at last check. Let's pivot to baseball a little bit. We mentioned Royals Rally coming up at the end of the month, and Rob Manfred was on WFAN in New York, and he was talking to them about a wide variety of ideas he has. Also, again, his timeline of when he's going to step away and retire, which is January of 2029. And he had two big ideas. One I'm all in on. The other one I'm not sold. The one idea that I love is the idea of a split season. Anybody that has any remote knowledge of minor league baseball knows that they split up their season and there's a first half and a second half, champion. Yeah. And it allows you, I think, and the reason why I love it, if you're a fan of the Royals or any team, but let's just talk Royals, of course, if you have a bad first half of the season, you're not checked out in thinking that July and August is a waste of time. If your team has a great first half, all right, you already got that in the bag. Now you can just work on and trying to improve, your roster for the postseason in that realm. You got 162 games, man. You have so much inventory. I love the idea of splitting up the season.
So he admitted that because of some of the way the statistics work, that season-long records work, that he's got to be careful with it. Now, I think you could records could be the split season, and stats are still just stats, and they count.
Yeah.
For the entire year. So that seems like a fairly easy process. I'm torn. I love baseball, and I'm not I don't think I consider myself a baseball traditionalist in the sense that everything has to be the way it used to be. I'm open to new ideas and new concepts, but when it starts getting into gimmicky.
See, I don't think split's gimmicky. I think the in-season tournament and Golden at Bat is gimmicky.
Okay, so that's fair. Golden Bat's gimmicky.
Totally.
Keep that the hell out of the game. That's not baseball.
I'm with you.
It doesn't need to be for anybody who's seen the Futurama episode Blurns Ball, and they're sitting around and Fry's he's like, but baseball is pretty. He's like, well, they finally spiced it up, huh? And so, it doesn't need to be, gimmicky and insane and, over the top. The in-season split thing, it's my initial instinct is I don't like that. And, I want you to just have to play a 162-game season. But because baseball is so long, there is this, detriment of you have one major injury if you're a small market ball club, right? You lose Tarek Skubal for the first half of the year, and it could derail everything for you because of the economics of baseball. And the truth is, the split season helps, and this is fairly simple, the small market teams more than it helps the big market teams. The big market teams don't have a hard time getting to 162. They don't have to wait to call up a prospect. They can do things that way. So part of me is open to it. I'm not as sold as you, but I am open to it. The in-season tournament, I don't care. I don't care about the NBAs. I don't care about I don't care about in-season tournaments. They are just window dressing, and I don't see any reason to just put a window dressing tournament in the middle of the year.
I've told you with the 162 game schedule that you have and all the inventory for your baseball, instead of an in-season tournament, I just would like them once a month, if not twice a month, to do those marquee events. The Field of Dreams game. Last year they had the NASCAR track, I think it was Bristol, where they had the Cincinnati Reds playing. Unfortunately, there was a rain delay and it kind of ruined some of it. But they've done that. They played Rickwood Field, right? 2 years ago, I think it was, or whatever. They're to honor the Negro Leagues. I think it was Birmingham and all that. That kind of stuff is cool. And they are bringing back Field of Dreams this year. I wish the Royals were in it, but they're not.
1 year, it would be nice, especially because of like the Monarchs connection and all that
so
stuff.
I think that is a much better path than trying to set up some like in-season playoff or in-season tournament. Just keep doing and coming up with new creative ways to spice up a regular season baseball game via these marquee games once a month, twice a month. And the split season, I know some people are against it. I don't think that's as gimmicky because you're not altering. You're really not altering all that much, except you're basically saying we're going to allow some team to clinch a playoff spot earlier than ever before, and still like that's not as gimmicky to me as
and
like
then what? Rest
in-season
starters, and then you run into like
nobody's going to rest starters the back half of the season.
Every other sport does it. If I knew I had a playoff spot and it's locked up,
Well, if a guy's hurt, Cody, they're not benching Bobby Wood Jr. for a month and a half.
No, not bench for a month and a half. But what I fear is the minute stuff. The thing they're fighting in the NBA. If a team has a spot locked up, they stop. They do hangover lineups all the time come late September. Yeah. What would stop a team from normally Bobby would play through this little hamstring thing, but he's not for the next 3 weeks now. We got a playoff spot locked up. It becomes minute stuff. And just beyond the point of all these teams who keep trying to do these in-season tournaments are obviously just trying to follow the soccer model that works well. People care about the multiple trophies in European soccer. And they're like, we'll make them care here. No, you won't. Because we didn't grow up with it and we don't know it. Nobody cares about the NBA Cup.
There is
the product was better.
I would argue
in the
against
NBA
that though.
year.
I think so. I went and I looked it up. There's a 90% increase in the NBA Cup viewership from last year. 90%. I think there's more people are invested in the Cup because I think partially to your point, Cody, it helps with load management. Like if it's a game that counts and you know that you can get an extra $1 million as a player, I think there's extra incentives. Plus, the games count for the regular season. This isn't a separate tournament where, I'm assuming baseball would do it the same way, where the in-season tournament games that were not semifinal or finals would count towards the regular season, just as they do in the NBA. All of the group stage matches and games count as regular season games. I don't think it would. Yeah. It wouldn't separate itself. I think it would provide more intrigue potentially for. I'll be honest. For me particularly, if I know that it's casual. A game. For a more casual baseball fan, I think I would be more locked into that.
I got to say, I think that the one thing about what Gold's saying, and this is where NFL is going internationally and you can't beat them at that game. And because you have series and the way your schedule works, because you play games every night, you can't just
that makes it more difficult.
You can't just put them in Germany and play a game. But what baseball can do is what it was before. They can be America's pastime. They have 162 games a year. The Royals should play a game they should play a series in Des Moines, Wichita, Nashville. They should take 2 series a year.
Take it around the region, yeah.
A road and a home series every year, and they should take it to small towns, big towns, specialized games, and let everybody across America get to consume your sport live and see it live and experience it live. And have fan events based around it and recruit all of middle America and the small towns and all this other stuff and and win baseball that way is what I think it should be. Because I don't think they can win the international game, Gold. They can do these specialty things, these winter classic style. The
special events to me is the easiest path forward for them, even if you don't want to do the in-season tournament. Just continue to build on the games, as we said, Field of Dreams, and they had the game at Fort Bragg, and you go on and on and on. They've done these. They've really only done it once a year, though. They do it one time a year. I understand it's a ton of legwork, I'm sure, for Major League Baseball to put these marquee events together. But figure out a way to do one a month across the season.
The more you do,
go from there.
The greater infrastructure you will have to do it. It should be a series. It should be a couple of series.
Someone texted in 913. I would agree with this. I just don't think it's going to happen. But 913-586-7965, Jay Southland Tow Service text line from the 785. Someone says just shorten the damn season. 162 is too many. Totally with you.
Yeah. But that's
we all
the
agree.
Split season because
but they won't
they're not going to take games.
They won't do it because it's revenue. But I'm with you. That's the simple answer. Yeah, cut this thing down to 110 games. If I had my choice, I would cut the baseball season down to 110. Start the season a month later, end the season a month earlier. We're not playing World Series baseball on October 30th when it's freezing outside. It makes no sense after playing 75% of the season when it's hot.
And to your point, Cody, the Royals play the Cardinals. I don't know, play one of the games in Springfield where the Cardinals minor league team plays, and then play another one up in Omaha.
I think spread yourself out.
Yeah, I don't know if I want them playing in minor league baseball stadiums once a month, but I hear you.
It's not once a month. One series a year, one home, one road.
Because I think for the reason that Cody's talking about, there's no, you don't have to worry about building anything like around Bristol. Like, you just go to the minor league ballpark and you just sell tickets. And I think it's
you go to Quad Cities and you have a major league series for 3 games. You go to your minor league cities first, and then you spread it out. It
pays it off to the minor league fans in that area, I guess, of your team.
Yes, you regionally make it interesting. You go play one series is in Columbia, and you bring in everybody from Missouri. You just increase your regional fan base. That's all. I'd like someone to do the math. I'm not going to do it. Somebody do the math on what the Royals' second half record is in each of the last 2 years. I would be because you talked about how
much better than the first half. I know that without even looking. I know it is.
They stink in April. They've stunk historically in April or in I'd love to see how many more times they would have made the playoffs had it been a first half, second half situation, and they could have made the playoffs in the second half run.
Yeah. No, I'm sure the numbers would pan out that the second half is stronger without having to do the math yet. I don't know how much, but you're right. We all know April's been brutal at times for this organization.
Would that eliminate the trade deadline?
Why? Why would it?
Because
in fact, some teams would be more aggressive, or you're saying that
what I'm saying is like everyone's in it all the time. Do you not trade, or is it everyone's in it all the time?
We didn't make it in the first half. We better go make a move.
Yeah,
it could probably work both ways.
Obviously, we don't know.
It could probably work both ways, Cody, because you would have some teams that didn't clinch in the first half and they realize, oh my gosh, our starting pitcher got hurt. Normally, you would just punt on the season. Like you might just punt on the season and say, all right, we don't have it this year. Well, now in the second half, if it was a split season, you could say, all right, well, we could go make a move, and we can still win the second half of the season and still clinch a playoff berth that way. I think there's probably some way where that could work as well. Interesting ideas from Rob Manfred. We'll see if any of them actually are ever implemented, but he had a long conversation over on WFAN about that. We also know something to keep an eye on over the next month or two. Major League Baseball dealing with their television broadcast. 9 Major League teams, including the Royals, have terminated their contracts with FanDuel Sports Network, the parent company, I should say. Main Street Sports Group, they're in trouble financially. 2 people telling The Athletic that took place, but there's also still an opportunity beginning today for them to renegotiate. If not, it would go in-house is the speculation. This is already happening right now in the middle of the NBA season with some teams. They're trying to figure this out on the fly. At least the Royals have 2 months to figure it out.
Although it's bad financially because it's definitely going to cost them money.
Different, possibly.
They had finally, remember we spent years talking about how bad their TV deal was. They finally got to negotiate one that seemed to be at least on par with other major league clubs, and now they're not even getting paid that amount of money. The regional sports bubble burst. It did because they all got consolidated, and MLB, NHL, and Major League Baseball were having a hard time with this. And this goes back to the same thing. I just hope it means baseball brings everybody in-house and does revenue sharing for TV. But that is going to have to come, guess when? During the collective bargaining part. But if Major League Baseball has a third of the teams in-house at some point, because remember, they took over a few teams last year, Gold, and they're clearly going to take over a few more teams this year. Doesn't that make that transition of power or convincing these teams that it's the better of the league? That we take all of this internally starting 2035 and we're just sharing the TV revenue and we're going to collectively bargain these things and end blackouts. And if you subscribe to MLB TV,
it's a long game.
You can watch your team.
It's the long game, it's not something that they can just do in the next year or two. As you said, we're still years out from that, but it's a step forward. And in the meantime, though, how do you make up some of that revenue if you can't get close to it? That's a huge bit of revenue the Royals get off of television. It helps them support, their payroll moving forward. And so we'll see how this settles. There's still, again, a chance that they renegotiate. But what a mess this this is the second second company that has owned the regional networks, the FanDuel Sports Network. Prior to that, obviously, Bally and everything. Just what a mess this has turned out to be with the regional sports network bubble, I guess.
Bring back RSTN, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's bring back Royals Television Network.
Well, they had a couple games on, what was it? KCTV5 last year,
they did,
a couple
and
Sundays.
KMB, their sister station, I think. It was like a split, wasn't it?
Is that the Spot or KSMO? I get them confused. Which one's
KCWE, maybe?
I don't know. KSMO.
Don't hold me to it.
I don't know.
They had a couple on local, which people loved.
Yeah.
And people look, if the Royals could just get a local TV partner and all 162 games a year were on local television, we'd all sign up. But that's just not the way. It's not the way sports have been trending. It's gotten quite the opposite. Very few, if any, have local television deals that operate in that capacity. Maybe you can get a handful of games, but you're not getting all of them. But yeah, it's a mess. I feel bad for the Royals in a lot of ways because they do care about the finances of having that kind of thing, and it does impact their bottom line in the end. But when we're talking about $10 million across a $1 billion industry, I'd like to think that it doesn't stop you from spending.
All right, up next, we'll get back into the Chiefs a little bit. Joshua Brisco, who, of course, was pre and post all year on the Chiefs radio network. We'll ask him about what the Chiefs have done with some of the coaching staff changes, minor moves to this point in time, what he wants to see in an offensive coordinator, and we'll talk a little AFC, NFC wildcard right here on Cody and Gold.
Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Follow the station on Instagram for ticket giveaways and behind-the-scenes content from the show at The Fan 965.
Doug. Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
My name is Whitney Allen. I am a widow. My husband Ryan died. We never thought in a million years we'd have to use life insurance. The unexpected happened. With Ethos, it is so fast and easy. It's 100% online. You can get a quote in seconds, apply in minutes, and get same-day coverage. No medical exams, and you can get up to $3 million worth of coverage through Ethos.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/radio. That's ethos.com/radio.
Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
This is your college football postseason update presented by Factor. Eat like a pro. The quarterfinals delivered high drama this past weekend as championship contenders survived bowl game battles to punch their tickets to the semifinals. Razor-thin margins decided who keeps their title hopes alive and who heads home. Now the stakes rise even higher with the semifinals set for this week. Just like the athletes powering through their biggest moments of the year, Factor meals fuel performance with pro-level nutrition delivered to your door. Ready when you are. Factor. Eat like a pro.
You know the rush when you reach that goal, when something you've worked for pays off. That's success. At University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why we offer a skills-based education that helps move your career forward. Learn how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science. Build your leadership and critical thinking skills. Apply by February 11th and save with no application fee. Learn more at umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
This is the story of the one. As the purchasing manager at a manufacturing plant, she knows the only thing more important than having the right safety gear is having it there when you need it. That's why she partners with Grainger for auto reordering, so her team members can count on her to have cut-resistant gloves on hand, and each shift can run safely and efficiently. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at TheFan965 for behind-the-scenes videos like MVP Monday, Chiefs Take Tuesday, and Best Bets. This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNZ, FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station.
11 o'clock hour here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon producing the show. He's also paying off his Hooters bet. Again, if you have never watched the show, apologies.
But pop on over to YouTube or Twitch.
If today's the first time you've watched and you're saying, what? This is how the show normally goes? He's paying off a bet. He's got the crop top on from the Hooters outfit and unfortunately also the very, very short shorts, and thank goodness he wore compression shorts today. If you do, I guess, want to see that, you can go to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and watch that there. Some of you have sent in screenshots and still shots of that. So, yeah, he's paying off his bet, man. He's paying off his bet, and I appreciate that. And that's the only part.
And that's the end of the sentence?
Yeah.
I'll tell you right now.
Someone said on the text line, Drew looks too comfortable. They said, Drew, you look too comfortable in the Hooters outfit. They want to know if you practiced wearing it, and did you take a selfie in the mirror last night?
I did not take any selfies, but I did try on the Hooters outfit to make sure that I to just see how it looked, and yeah, I'm.
They said you feel pretty comfortable. They said you were seemingly very comfortable wearing.
Sometimes people try to display overconfidence.
Well, I will say this: the short shorts from running cross country, normal thing. Running the running shorts like that. That's fine with the compression shorts. The crop top, a little snug, but yeah, I'm used to wearing tank tops, or obviously, as people know, I'm used to running, and exercising without a shirt. I guess.
I'm just so glad it's not me. That's all I can say. I'm glad it's not you. I'm glad it's not me.
Oh, yeah.
I'm glad.
It'd be even worse.
I was struggling after trying it on. I couldn't. It took me about 5 minutes to take it off.
Yeah.
Anyways, I'm sure Josh Brisco's loving this conversation.
Let's welcome in Josh Brisco, pre and post game host for the Chiefs Radio Network. Brisco, I'm guessing you've never worn a crop top in your life.
No, I can't say that I have. Although, look, I mean, Drew's a fit guy. I think that this is not a bet that I would have waded into personally, because I know my limits. I've worn a lot of strange things. I am not in any way above a costume or anything like that. But this one in particular would really latch on to my insecurities, I think.
I think people should do more bets on air, though. The other two shows should get involved in this, too. I want to see other people in this station embarrassed besides me, Alex, and Drew.
Yeah, as they should be. And in fact, not only do I agree with that point, Cody, I will say I need the right of refusal, but I'm willing to put myself into some of these realms. Okay. If that's what it takes to get Carrington or Rob into the line of fire, we get Fesco or Dusty into the line of fire. I think that would be good for everybody. So yeah, I'll see what I can do. Let me know if there's anything that I need to do to make this a more pro on-air bet and embarrassment station. I think that's good for everybody.
Only thing, and I think this is more than fair, we'll stay away from physical harm. Brisco and I once fired ping pong balls at somebody.
Harm.
And I feel still bad for that moment. I feel bad for that moment.
I don't think you should. I think sometimes, look, you can't make an omelet or radio history without breaking a few eggs or ping pong balls. And so I think you just got to accept that that's a part of your legacy, and how you deal with that throughout the rest of your life is between you and a higher power.
Yeah, that's fair. Let's talk about the Chiefs at least a little bit. Let's start with the Rashee Rice end of things, and let's set the allegations aside, because really all we have right now is the one Instagram post. We don't have any police reports. We don't have much to go on outside of that. Do you view it the way we do, which is, though, even with this just being out there, this feels like it signifies the Rashee Rice at maximum has till the end of his deal next season to be a Chief, which means wide receiver for us and tight end and running back all become far more of a need, knowing that you don't have anybody long-term at wide receiver that you know is going to be a producer.
I mean, even as of 5 days ago, I think I would have probably agreed with that. The Rashee Rice thing was going to be a conversation this year, I think, of and really, again, let's go back before this season began. The Rashee Rice future conversation was an interesting one, because you start to get in that space of, he's had his off the field stuff, and maybe he can be a true number one wide receiver. If he can kind of take the baton from Travis Kelce this year, maybe you try to get a deal done with him early on to make him be that bridge into the next era of this Chiefs offense. Just with how this season went, I was kind of, stepping back from that a little bit, because I just don't think we saw enough from him this year as a football player. I don't think we saw enough from him this year to be confident that was going to be the next phase, the next number one weapon for Patrick Mahomes, even though that was the hope coming into this year. Now, like you said, we'll just see what ends up coming up over the next few weeks. I assume that there will be more information as we go, but you can't be suspended for the first 6 games of this season and have the entire well-covered wreck and everything, and then feel like you are a steady force. I mean, you know exactly who this guy is. So it's just more uncertainty and more unknowns around Rashee Rice, which is something on a variety of levels he couldn't afford to have more of.
Does the potential outcome, whatever that is for Rashee Rice, one way or the other, does that change how you would proceed with Travis Kelce? Let's say he does decide he wants to play football in 2026. I was hesitant on the financial and not hesitant for Travis Kelce to come back, but I said I'm a little more critical of what that dollar amount needs to look like. If Rice is not around, I said, well, then I don't care what the dollar amount is for Travis Kelce. I just got to get him back.
So here's the thing, is I do agree with that, and man, what an unfortunate place to be if that is kind of one of the motivating factors to making that work again, because the reason that I think another year of Travis Kelce makes sense for everybody, for Kelce and for the team and for the long-term future, not just 2026, the reason that makes sense to me is because you're still trying to fulfill this version of the offense where Travis Kelce is your third weapon and not the guy that has to be relied on 90% of the snaps in games that matter and being the guy that Mahomes is always looking to. And obviously we don't know when we'll see Mahomes next year. But I do think that there is a very, very reasonable case to be made that Travis Kelce is worth the $10 or $12 million, if that is what it takes. This is a number I've heard people throwing around. If that's what it takes for him next year, I think he's worth that cost in a one-year deal to keep Travis Kelce in this offense for one more season. But I don't want to do that in the name of making him the number one weapon out of necessity. And so, I mean, look, I was excited about the prospects of Carnell Tate a week ago. I think that there's a need for more in this wide receiver room. That was true a week ago. The Chiefs have reportedly made the change at wide receivers coach. They're clearly not happy with how those wide receivers have developed over these last couple of years. You didn't see the step forward from Rice or from Worthy that you really hope to see this year. So I am baseline. This has been true since we started having the conversation about retirement. I am perfectly happy to have Travis Kelce back next year. I think that the influence he has on the field and in the practice facility and throughout the week, I think that is a net positive that outweighs what his cap cost would be. But I really don't want the Chiefs to go in the next year saying, okay, one more year of just putting everything on Travis Kelce's shoulders, and then we'll build the future. You want to have that succession plan in place after I don't think they got the succession plan they wanted this year.
There is a non-zero chance, and I'm not saying that this is exactly how to go. This is a worst-case scenario. They'll be looking for their number one running back, number one tight end, and number one wide receiver in this offseason. Where do you think the offensive line is? This is something Alex and I seem to disagree with on the public. Do you think the offensive line, as it currently sits, is acceptable going into next year? Forget the depth part, just 1 through 5.
I don't know where you guys stand as opposed to the public, so I'm kind of excited to find out if we disagree. I don't have any questions about the offensive line 1 through 5. Mm-hmm. I'm happy with the offensive line 1 through 6. I think between Esapole and Jalen Moore, you're going to get a starting caliber right tackle. And I guess there's a little bit of the unknown with Josh Simmons, but I think he seems like more of an unknown because of the injury at the end of the year. And you go, man, it's like he wasn't out there for like half the season. And that's obviously true. But you have the personal thing earlier in the year, and then at the end, you just had his wrist messed up. So I think perhaps the best silver lining of this season was Kingsley Suamataia at left guard. You got everything you wanted to see when he was available from Josh Simmons. Creed and Trey Smith, or Creed and Trey Smith. And then I think between Jalen Moore and Esapole, I feel decent about that right tackle spot. And the fact that I feel great about 4 spots and good about the 5th, I really do think the offensive line is one place for the first time in a long time that you'll probably draft a depth piece in the 4th, 5th, 6th round and try to build your future a little bit out that way and see where they stand on Caliendo and Norzad and whatnot. But no, I do feel good about the O-line.
Josh Brisco joining us here on 96.5 The Fan. Yesterday we were going through the free agent pool of running backs. It's actually a really good group. You know, there's a variety of backs depending on how aggressive you want to get with that position. Because of that, do you feel like free agency is the best path to solve this running back room? And maybe the answer is both, but it feels like you can address running back at a cheaper cost versus spending high-end draft capital because we know a free agent defensive end is going to cost way more.
Yep, I think that's absolutely right. That is where I'm coming at here. And I think if you have a chance to get an impactful pass rusher, impactful defensive lineman, you could do that at number 9 overall. Jeremiah Love is an excellent football player, and I think he'll probably have an excellent pro career. But if you're going to spend that draft pick on a running back, he's got to be Bijan Robinson. Like, he can't be a top 15 running back or a top 10 running back. He's got to be a top 3 back the entirety of his rookie contract. It's just hard to do that. That's a huge expectation to put on a young back, taking that early in the draft. And when you do have a free agency class that has some names where you go, oh, well, there might be a dozen guys on here who would have clearly been the number 1 running back on this year's Chiefs team. I think either way, I think the Chiefs are going to try to go into the draft without any single obvious need that they have to draft to fill. It's just, that's a tough way of doing business. But I think you're probably going to see a number of new faces in the running back room. And for me, I think my preferred path there would be that you do, and I'm not like deeply in love with Tyler Algier, but just to throw his name out there as one of the options.
Yeah.
If it's Algier and a third or fourth round running back, I would prefer that with a pass rusher or wide receiver at 9 overall than I would Jeremiah Love at number 9, and then you try to cobble together wide receiver and defensive line in free agency.
Rather than ask you who you'd hate, because there's certainly names that we all don't want, who is your dream, who are your dream candidates for offensive coordinator for the Chiefs? Now that we know that that job is most likely, and by all of reporting, will be open with Matt Nagy being a free agent, who do you want to see?
I mean, look, I guess my dream scenario is one that I don't think is probably going to happen. It's Mike McDaniel now that he is available. I just think he has done some really fascinating things offensively in Miami and before that, of course, as well, that earned him that head coaching job. I like him as a person. I think that he will get another head coaching job, and I'd be fine if I was a fan of a team that gave Mike McDaniel a head coaching opportunity at some point in the future. Same for Kevin Stefanski, who I just think is going to get a head coaching job as soon as he decides where he wants to go. He would also be great to add to this staff. And again, I don't think that's realistic. The Cliff Kingsbury of it all is the most interesting wrinkle at this point, because I think, and I am speculating, I'm working with no further info than you guys have from talking to Nate Taylor, but I think that the familiar path has always felt like the most likely one. If that's Mike Kafka, if that's Eric Bieniemy, it's guys who have been in this staff before, have worked with Mahomes before, and most importantly, have worked for Andy Reid before. It is still Andy Reid's offense. The Cliff Kingsbury angle is just fascinating because it seems like if there was a time for Mahomes to really vouch for somebody and to say, hey, I know the inclination here is to reunite with familiar faces, but I, Patrick Mahomes, if this is true, really believe that Cliff Kingsbury is going to add something to this offense where he can marry a little bit of some freshness into a pre-existing Andy Reid system that has been built over decades. I am intrigued by that. I don't think Cliff Kingsbury would be my number one overall offensive coordinator choice if I was starting a brand new team right now. But the specifics of how the Chiefs are structured, it has kind of felt like a 2- and then 3-man race with Kafka, Bieniemy, and Kingsbury. I'll be very curious to see if they interview Nathan Shieldhouse, a guy who would also be on a list for me of like, I'd like to see what he could do trying to, again, marry some of those McVay ideas into a Reid system. But I truly do not know how interested Andy Reid and the Chiefs are in like a real outsider versus somebody like Kafka or Bieniemy who would at least bring some new outside ideas because they haven't been here the last several years.
Yeah, I guess I fight with this notion. I've heard some people be like, no, I want new ideas, fresh ideas, talking about Cliff as in he's been in this system. Cliff has no connection to the Andy Reid tree.
Just Mahomes.
The Andy Reid system.
Yeah,
the only person he's connected to is Patrick Mahomes. I would view that as a completely outside hire with no one connected to Reid, which is rare. Even Spags, right? We think, well, Spags wasn't on his staff. Him and Spags were on a staff together in Philly. They go way the hell back. Maybe he wasn't in the same role, but like everybody Andy brings in is somebody he's known for a billion years or coached with in Green Bay or some other stuff. And so like Cliff would be...
Who played for him at some point.
Or played for him.
True.
Yeah,
true.
Pinkston. I feel like Cliff Kingsbury would be a completely outside hire. I don't know why people are associating with that's more of the same of like bringing in Kafka or Bieniemy.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. And I think that the canary in the coal mine, that might be the wrong turn of phrase in this case, but I don't think there's a gas leak. But I think that the red flag for some people might be that Kingsbury also leans into the RPOs very heavily. And I understand that there is overlapping, and that's going to be true for almost every offense in the NFL. And you might say, oh, great. Well, so the way they're going to fix this is by bringing in an outside voice who also loves to rely on the RPO and also loves a shotgun run.
Hates to run.
So, yeah, it's still going to be Andy Reid's offense, and it's still Patrick Mahomes playing quarterback. Like, I don't think that we are going to see I'll say with confidence, we're not going to see a massive offensive overhaul where Andy Reid steps back into a CEO role and just hands the keys of the entire offense to Mike McDaniel. Like that's not realistic. So I do think that Kingsbury deserves to be thought of as a rare outside candidate in the way that you're setting up there, Cody. And then also there will be some overlap. Again, the RPO games and Andy will take stuff from other things schematically from throughout football history. There are some air raids sprinkled into the DNA of this Chiefs offense here and there, and obviously they took things that worked at Texas Tech for Mahomes, not to change Andy Reid's offense entirely, but to maximize on Mahomes, especially early on. Well, now we are several iterations of the offense. We are many years of evolution in the NFL into what this team has been, and I would be happy with the Kingsbury hire, even though I think again like. The McDaniel dream scenario is probably the most fun. I think Kingsbury as a realistic one would still be pretty exciting. And also, I will say, I like Mike Kafka. I think that he would make a lot of sense, and it seemed like that he had good relationships when he was here. Obviously, we've talked about Eric Bieniemy a ton over the years. You want to say that, hey, he brings a attention to detail and an intensity that this team has been lacking. I would probably agree with you there, but I do think that having somebody who's done more away from the Andy Reid tree would just be a more interesting marriage to see what the offense would look like in 2026.
I will say, whoever the OC is, if the offense improves at all, everybody's going to think that OC is the biggest genius on earth in Kansas City. They're going to think that was the biggest issue for the offense sucking, because everybody blames it on Matt Nagy, not what you were saying, which is it's still going to fundamentally be Andy Reid's offense.
Yes, and look, that's the thing with Andy Reid here. The credit is owed to him, and the blame goes to him.
Yes.
He talks about having 51% of the vote. He's comfortable with that because he's one of the greatest coaches in NFL history, one of the greatest offensive minds. And look, I'm not arguing that the offense has looked genius these last couple of years, this last year in particular. But when he says, I've got 51% of the vote, that's a double-edged sword, and I think in a positive way. It's reminding everybody he's in charge, but also if you want to point the finger at somebody, hey, point it at me, don't point it at the assistants, don't point it at the players and all of that. Like, I think that's a very quintessential Andy Reid thing. And I'll say on that point, Gold, we heard people talking about Eric Bieniemy as if he was the problem before he ended up leaving, and now Eric Bieniemy is the solution, the secret ingredient, the straw that stirred the drink. So I think we're having a real kind of like ex-girlfriend problem where it's just like, I just can't stand her. I just can't wait to get away from her. Then a few years later, like, I'm lonely. I miss what she brought to my life. I think a marriage with Kingsbury would be the most interesting one. But if you want to date your ex, I understand. I do think that the enemy got too much blame, and then when the offense sputtered, the memory of the enemy got too much credit. Ultimately, credit and blame, it goes to Andy Reid at the top, and I think that's very clearly how this team is structured, and it's worked out pretty well. I know this year did not go that well. It's worked out pretty well, although I do think it is time for that to evolve, not change the org chart, but to bring in a little bit of freshness. But again, to your point, whoever it is that's the OC, if the offense is much better next year, I'm probably going to start by giving credit to Andy Reid.
It's unrelated, Brisco, but before you get out of here, the way you were describing relationships made me think of you. You were on Fesco and Dusty the other day, and I got to say, I didn't like it when you said the word lover. That's something about like the way you said that made me uncomfortable. In describing his now wife.
Oh,
he said from friends to lovers, and I didn't like the way he said lovers.
Look, I have to wax poetic when I'm given the opportunity, and if someone accused me of being a Cody and Gold lover, I'd have to plead guilty.
Brisco, appreciate it, man. Enjoy a full weekend of wild card football. Real quick, I guess, who do you have winning, Bills or Jags?
I kind of like the Jags. Here's my thing. I think Bills Jags, is my Super Bowl pick out of the AFC. Whoever wins that game. I don't feel great about that, but I don't feel great about anything in these playoffs.
Yeah, I think Ross Tucker said the same thing about that being kind of the Super Bowl, or the winner of that game goes to the Super Bowl as well. Brisco, appreciate it, man.
Jags Bears Super Bowl. Can you imagine? That would be electric. Thanks, guys.
There you go. Josh Brisco, Chiefs pre- and post-game host for the Chiefs Radio Network, joins us, of course, during the football season here on 96.5.
I wish we had the cut of Brisco saying that, but I wasn't able to find it in there. I don't know.
It's okay. They might not have cut it. It might have just stood out to me individually and not the other way around. Before we get to the trash of the day, or maybe it can be included in the trash of the day, the text line is now asking, it's been a while since we put Drew on camera. For those who don't know, he lost a bet with us, and he is wearing a, circa early 2000s Hooters uniform that says Hooters Kansas City on it. And as a punishment, he has to wear it for the entire show today. So if you want to subscribe to us over on YouTube at The Fan 965 or on Twitch at 965 The Fan, you can get Drew in that uniform.
So I
viewer discretion is definitely advised.
Please
Can't whip
gamble
it out in
responsibly.
public like that. Well, that's a drop from the other day.
I texted my group chat of my brother, sister, mom, and dad, and my mom just goes, "Oh my,
oh my." This is what she's like. I helped
Someone
you
said, Drew,
get to
is
college
it
for that.
Cold in the studio or what?
I will say there is a little bit more of a breeze than normal.
Can you step back from the camera for a minute so people can get the full view?
Oh my
goodness! For those who are just now,
if you're enjoying your lunch break, I'm sure this is exactly what you want to see. Exactly what you want to see.
Maybe this is making you think you should get wings.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
He's paying off the bet, so we got to give him that.
I'm glad he's paying off the bet. Again, it was because Cincinnati did not make the playoffs. Would have enjoyed it a bit more if the Chiefs were in the playoffs, but the bet was just whether or not Cincinnati.
Yeah, you guys are home eating pork sausage like my grandpa used to say with the rest of us.
What?
My grandpa used to say, if you miss the playoffs, you're at home eating pork sausage. I don't know.
That was specifically his saying.
That's what my grandpa used to say.
Why pork sausage?
No clue.
Interesting.
But that's where the Chiefs are, right there with the Bengals and the Browns and the Raiders and everybody else.
From the 816 Today Show, ruined me from the live broadcast of this show.
Don't worry, we'll be back to normal on Monday.
Someone says, makes me really glad. Here's what I love about this text. There's a couple things. One is because they double dip. They said, makes me really glad Alex and Gold didn't have to wear that. Well, that's the same person.
Yeah,
it's Cody and Gold.
Tap.
Cody, this is Alex.
It's like when Shaq said Pascal and Siakam in the same sentence.
Probably just a typo.
No, that's happened a lot. People get one of us have the first name on the show, one of us has the last name on the show.
They say, "Are you Cody Gold?" Like that's a different. I'm half of those people.
All right, let's get to the trash of the day.
Trash of the day.
Someone said Drew shouldn't discuss pork sausage.
Well, that was the other. I mean, I'm glad somebody else said it. I mean, you can't today. You cannot be saying, "Well, we're both at home pork sausage." You can't be mentioning sausage today. I agree, actually.
And wearing short shorts.
Yeah. Anyway, this one has to do with food. I will say
nice.
The trash of the day does.
Perfect.
We go to Virginia. This is actually from a show on TLC. All right, season 7 of a show. I guess it's called My Strange Addiction. Okay.
Haven't watched it.
And so this one was about somebody that has an eating issue because she blends her food and then snorts it through a straw.
All of her food?
All of it. Quote, her name's Catherine.
No.
There's photos to go with it.
Is she single,
I don't know. My relationship with food was very normal up until the point where I was in community college. It started, honestly, with a dare to try snorting a flavored fruit drink. She continued, I got a head rush, but it was actually fruitier than if it was to have that through my mouth, and it was phenomenal. Since then, I have been having my entire diet nasally for about 5 years. She sniffs blended omelets with spinach and mushrooms, liquefied spinach and steak, coffee, and even spicy guacamole.
Can we stop, please?
She confessed that she has an aversion to the weird textures that come with food. She claims that her curious culinary conduct helps her avoid overeating and choking, declaring that it has really no drawbacks.
She said she's asking restaurants to blend up her food.
She's gone on several dates.
No way.
Well,
no.
She does have a boyfriend,
I bet she hasn't
Cody.
gone on several second dates. She has a boyfriend?
Uh-huh.
Nah, man, I
He
can't overlook
presented
that.
her a bouquet of flowers. She presented her problem almost immediately, told him, and said, hey, are you able to blend the food? She asked the server after she sat down. Unfortunately, we do not have a blender, the server replied, but we do have grits, tomato soup, and our in-house vegetarian sausage gravy.
She said she has a food aversion to like textures.
Yep.
I don't know, man.
You know, it might sound crazy. The fruit drink, maybe that's the case. Everything else after that is a hard pass.
If you don't
How
like
is she not getting
textures of
food
food,
still
why don't you
stuck?
just blend them and drink them?
Yeah, through your mouth, yes.
Isn't like wouldn't there's no way like even
Not
if you
snort through your nose.
Yeah.
even if you're like pureeing the steak, like you're telling me she's never had a piece of food get stuck in the nose or like going down through the windpipe or whatever it would be?
I don't know. This like photo of her like snorting her coffee. It's just too much, man. It's just too much. I one time as a dare when we worked at the concession stand snorted a pixie stick and I wished for death.
Oh.
That was probably intense.
Yeah, man. It's a lot of sugar all right away. This lady snorted one fruit drink and thought, well, this is a lifestyle now, apparently.
She has said she has cut back since filming the episode on TLC. I'm doing my best to stop entirely, but it's taking time as I handle some inner work, she said.
Yeah, with the therapist, I hope you were seeing.
It's an
for your very
addiction.
serious
Yeah,
issue.
You know what? I will say more power to
do you
her
think
for
this
trying
is
to
the last straw
stop.
for her?
Okay.
Oh, God. I hope so.
I'm glad that I wasn't the one that's causing people to be frustrated even more. That trash of the day was so bad, people are.
You guys choose. We can keep talking about snorting food, or we can talk about Drew in a Hooters outfit.
I'd rather talk about the Hooters outfit. I can't. I was going to take a drink of the water, of my water, but I don't know if I can do that for another minute or two.
Mm-hmm. Yep. That's the trash of the day, guys. You're welcome.
Someone says at least it wasn't the story of a lady eating her late husband's ashes. What was that story?
What?
No. Oh, what?
Well, it's a good lunch hour coming up here on Cody and Gold. I did not see that story. I did not.
It says she's addicted to it. Yeah, I see it. That was also on My Strange Addiction.
Whoa. There's an episode where she's addicted to eating ashes?
It's the same show. It's the same show.
Well, it is called Strange Addictions. I mean,
it's from 6 years ago, but it's from that show. Oh man. Dude, grief will make you do some crazy things. This lady just started snorting her food. That lady, at least grief explains part of her issue there.
No, that's worse. That's worse.
What?
Yep, that's worse. Eating a yes,
Grief
Cody.
can explain what happened.
No. Eating a loved one's ashes is 1,000,000 times worse than you deciding to puree and snort food.
I agree.
I mean, at least I understand how she got there.
No.
Should this be the social clip of the day? I don't think it should be.
No.
We're going to make everyone sick, man. You can't post this around dinner time. So I would leave her at the restaurant. I'm just telling you now, we would not finish the date.
No.
If they had a blender and she started to eat the steak dinner she ordered through her nose, that date is over.
I think I know where you're going with this.
I would be looking around the restaurant and thinking Ashton Kutcher is about to pop out and say this is prank.
Yeah.
This is back from 2005, and I would think that she's joking.
I would think this is Jokers,
yeah,
and you're like, hey, whatever the name of the guys who host
I think
that show
I got punked.
Yeah.
I would hope that she, at least before the date, said, hey, by the way, I've got this little addiction where I don't consume my food through my mouth.
And I'd be like, well, then how do you consume your food is what I would say.
At least you get an idea for what you're about to witness.
One texter here says they watch the show a lot. They're talking about all kinds of insane episodes. Someone thought they were a lamp. All kinds of insane. Maybe we should be watching My Strange Addiction. Maybe it's late night television.
No, I'm not missing anything.
They were a lamp?
That's what he said. I don't know. Never seen the show.
Like they're from Beauty and the Beast.
I have questions. Thought they were a lamp.
Now.
Or the candle, I guess. Yeah, the candlestick, and not the lamp. Anyways.
Former 96.5, well, I guess 610 employee, Brad Fanning said he saw somewhere where someone was eating sheetrock. Addicted to eating sheetrock. Wouldn't they just tear up your guts?
This
no
show.
playoff football. You guys want to watch an episode a week or something? Or?
Yeah, let's just talk. That'll be the trash of the day. But on every Friday, we'll just report back.
Report back on whatever episode of My Strange Addiction we just watched.
That is the trash of the day. All right, we're way late for a break. Let's get to the Cheese Shred half hour. We'll talk about the draft. Already somebody figured out a way to do a redraft of the draft we just had, last April. We'll take a look at what that would mean for a couple of the Chiefs picks next.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for K-State Athletics. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Missouri. Open to new users only. Minimum odds, -500. Awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Men, it's the new year, and for many of us, it's a time of deciding to make positive changes in our lives. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're suffering with erectile dysfunction and are tired of the frustration and embarrassment ED causes, you should call Heartland Men's Health today, because there probably isn't a better resolution you can make than to be done with ED. You see, ED doesn't just affect you, it can also affect your partner, even if they don't talk about it. But here's some great news. If you're like most guys, the treatments at Heartland Men's Health will give you back your sex life, because our protocols have success rates that work in well over 90% of cases. Seriously, you might even find you're performing like you haven't in years. So, make an appointment and get ED out of your life. Your initial visit is only $99 and includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose. And if that test dose doesn't work in the office, your visit is free. call 844-447-6600 or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. That's heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices: Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
FanDuel is giving all customers a profit boost for every college playoff game day. That means more chances to level up your picks and turn big moments into even bigger wins. Take the favorite, take a shot at the underdog, or build a parlay, then apply your profit boost and go for even bigger winnings. Who do you think is going to win the national championship? Who do you think is going to score a touchdown? You can make all of those predictions right there on the FanDuel app. FanDuel is the best place to get in on the college football action all playoff long. And when you win, you get paid instantly. All you need to do is visit FanDuel.com/Missouri to get your college playoff profit boost today. That's FanDuel.com/Missouri to get your playoff profit boost. And remember, FanDuel is the official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issue is non-withdrawable profit boost token. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Having insurance isn't the same as having State Farm. It's like needing a best man speech, but getting one from some random +1.
I am honored to be standing here today, also confused and a little hungry. Does anyone want to switch entrees? Pretty sure I checked beef.
You wouldn't settle for just any speech, so don't settle for just any insurance. Get the real deal with State Farm. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
I know that hiring can be challenging. You need someone to match your role perfectly. Well, now you can meet them fast on ZipRecruiter.
Build your team, build it sooner. Meet your match on ZipRecruiter.
Just head to ZipRecruiter.com/free right now to try it for free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Meet your match on ZipRecruiter. Try it free.
That's the sound of James adding long-lasting Gain scent boosters to his laundry this morning. Several hours later, James sniffs the irresistible scent of Gain on his shirt. Gain. Several hours later, James has even caught the attention of his mother-in-law, and she never gives him attention.
Ooh, you smell amazing, James.
Oh, thanks, Mom. I love you too.
I never said that.
Add Gain scent boosters to your laundry. Add joy to your day.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. Welcome in to the Chiefs Red Half Hour. Every day at 11:30 with Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan.
Total rabbit hole of My Strange Addiction. Our friend Joe actually sent us a clip of one I've seen before where this guy is in love with his car. The exact title of the YouTube clip from TLC says, "Sex with my car, my strange addiction." It says Nathaniel kisses the car, talks to it, and even engages in intimacy with it. Thinks that the car was definitely not manufactured to do, is the way the description says.
Oh, I'm glad they put that disclaimer.
He's basically
I needed
dating his car.
I needed them to remind me that that's not how the car was manufactured. Thank you.
Honestly, I've seen that clip. I've seen that section of that show. You guys should watch that.
No,
dude, it's so funny.
I'm never watching the show after
funny.
these stories.
It's so funny. That one's so funny.
No, I do not need to watch some dude in love with his car in that way. No, I'm good. All right, let's talk a little football.
Thank you.
It is Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tabb, Drew Nixon with you. Video stream is up and running. Drew's paying off his Hooters bet today if you're wondering why he's wearing a Hooters crop top.
I'll put it on. I'll go on camera again here in a little while.
That is why. But we know we're going to have 100-plus days to talk about the NFL draft, and it's more interesting than what we've had in the last couple of years because the Chiefs are picking 9th overall, and we'll have some fun with mock drafts as we get closer, and every week or so we'll be doing those like we have in the past. But we're starting a little bit earlier. Somebody went back already and did a redraft of last year's draft. Now, the regular season just ended, and now we already have a redraft of the 2025 NFL draft. This is from Bleacher Report. We all know the Chiefs drafted Josh Simmons in the first round. The redraft, if you're just wondering real quick, on the number 1 overall pick in the redraft, they have the Tennessee Titans taking Jackson Dart.
I'm not totally sure they'd switch the pick. Do you think they would?
No.
I think they'd still take Cam Ward. I don't know.
I would stick with
I just don't think there's been enough evidence of either, and Jackson Dart's had to deal with like the fear of like constantly living in a concussive state. I still think they'd take Cam Ward. Drew, I'm just curious now. Do you think they'd still take Cam Ward, or do you think they'd take Jackson Dart?
Yeah, I think they would still take. I think I would still take Cam Ward.
The playmaking ability, yeah, Jackson Dart was really, really impressive in that. Just the natural playmaking ability. But
He'd go higher.
Yeah, but the redraft had Cam Ward falling to 2, so you only went back and has the Browns taking Cam Ward in the redraft. 3,
The Browns probably would have liked to do that too. I guess.
The biggest mover is in this redraft is at 3. Bleacher Report has the Giants staying there and taking Tyler Shuck, the quarterback for the Saints, who now looks like he's going to be their starting quarterback next year. I think they pretty much already came out and said he will start for them. He'll get one more year to show that he's that guy, and then if not, they'll have to pivot. But he's already 26 years old, but he moved way up. And then, I'm not going to go through every single pick, but those were the notable ones. Then you go all the way down and you see where would the Chiefs have selected some of their players, and would there be anybody else that would have jumped up and been all of a sudden in the top 20 or in the first round? And Bleacher Report went ahead and has Josh Simmons going 25 in the redraft to the Houston Texans. So he would have gone earlier in the draft.
Yeah, not way earlier, because, and that's what I find interesting. For a guy who, at the time, still looked like a future Pro Bowl left tackle, you would think he'd be way higher on this list. Way, way, way higher. And I was trying to ask myself, like, if pick 31 came back around again, and all of the same players were available again, so anybody who got picked 32 and after was available, would the Chiefs still make the same selection, considering the weirdo year they had with Simmons? He's gone for half the year. He then got injured in the season. And different injury than the type of injury they were worried about. Certainly like the leg injuries and the stuff that were in there. I think because of where they are on the offensive line, they'd still take him. But I think it would come with greater, maybe come with the same amount of questions that they have now. Different injury stuff, different personal stuff instead. But they were willing to take the chance on a guy who had question marks anyway, and certainly were getting the payoff. I still think the biggest surprise was at number 20, they had a different Chief going in the first round. So a year after this, and for a player that I don't think the Chiefs valued at the level even this gentleman writing for Bleacher Report does. In this redraft, they had Noah Williams going 20th overall. They had
he's been on the field. He looked really good.
Taken by Denver, by the way, with the 20th overall pick, saying that Jahdae Brown had a similar rookie experience, but that they thought Noah Williams was actually the better player who could contribute more quickly, at least based on that. Do we think Noah Williams is a first-round talent?
I don't think he would have, I don't believe that in a redraft he would go 20th. I think he could be a late first rounder, early second rounder in a redraft. When he was on the field, you saw why fans should be excited about him.
Why didn't he play more?
Well, that goes back to the disconnect that we have brought up that has to get fixed, I think, this offseason, which is there's a little bit of a disconnect, front office, what they're drafting, what they're looking for, and the coaching staff. And I know Steve Spagnuolo made a comment, a week or two ago, saying that one of the things about not being in the playoffs, that they're going to have more time as a staff than ever before to actually know more about these players. Now, you can say that that's a problem to begin with, but that some of these guys, they didn't have as much time to do research on as a coaching staff because they were playing till middle of February. And so hopefully that is part of the solution here. But then once they draft a player, next year they're going to be forced to play these young guys anyway. They're not going to have much of a choice. There's going to be too many new guys on the roster and younger guys on the roster that they're not going to be able to just side with the vet all the time. So Noah Williams should have played more football in 2025 for the Chiefs. There's no question about that.
And in retrospect, it still doesn't make much sense because he was going to allow you to use Trent McDuffie in the nickel more. And I just don't, at some point, and I understand you're the coach and I'm the front office, but what are you seeing that we're not? On these practice fields, and I'm sure that they have these meetings, but when he plays football, we see good football all the time. So where is the disconnect? What is it that makes you think that if you just made this guy play more, he would improve exponentially as the season went on? And I still think that part of what happened this season, because they played rookies even less this season than normal, Gold. They reined it in even further than typical. Simmons was the only one they were willing to play regularly. And so even more than normal, it seems like they had some reservation. And I am convinced it's because the season was slipping away and they kept losing these close games and they kept hovering below and around 500. And they were like, well, we can't certainly risk this guy will be better in 5 weeks because we got games to play with. And instead, we need every game. And the only one to win every game is to play Mike Edwards and play these other vets. And you're like, the better player is Noah Williams. I don't think he'd be a first-round pick. I'd be a little surprised.
Elsewhere in the redraft, just was kind of curious to see if they have Noah Williams going higher, if they have Josh Simmons going higher in the redraft. What about at pick 31? They have the Chiefs taking one of the Tennessee Titans wide receivers.
Be careful. I don't want you to get in any trouble with Tennessee.
Yeah, we've already had that before. Chamire, I think it's DK is how you pronounce it. The
He's
wide
a Pro
receiver.
Bowler this year, wasn't
he all-purpose yards. He had 1,000 yards, I think, all-purpose. He was a nice special teams player. On that team was one of the better receivers. Had a nice rookie year. I don't know long-term what he's going to be, but yeah, he's a Pro Bowler and had a nice 2025 season. Was a fourth rounder. So they got great value on him, and we'll see what his career ends up looking like.
I hate that pick. I don't know. 48 catches, 423 yards, and 4 touchdowns. I understand he brought all the other special team stuff, but I'm signing up for that in the first round?
Yeah,
That's what they got out of Worthy, and it's like, I don't know, in a redraft.
Yeah, so that was just how they did it. If you're just wanting other spots that were kind of interesting, the guy that we brought up a lot during the draft process last year, and this was a name, he had some character problems.
He was on your list, yeah.
I wanted the Chiefs to draft James Pierce Jr. last year, and he had a great rookie year for Atlanta. In this redraft, they have him going 11th to the San Francisco 49ers.
Yeah.
Did they have Shamar Stewart going in the first round?
Doubtful, Drew.
No, I agree.
He was not in the first round at all. Do you want to know who Cincinnati was?
Sure.
In the redraft, Shamar Stewart didn't even. Very few guys fell completely out of the first round, as in like they were so bad nobody would take a shot. That was not one of them. You guys took Shamar Stewart. What pick? 13 or something?
17. Jahad Campbell is what they redrafted.
That'd have been very nice.
I mean, I got to say somebody on defense.
He's in Philly. I mean, that's where he's at now. But yeah.
Considering the two rookies that they took in the second and third round were dead last in the PFF grades out of all rookies. Yes.
The only one that still has them taking the same player, I guess, different round, but they have number 19, the Bucs still getting Emeka Egbuka.
Are we sure he wouldn't go higher?
I think he would. No, it's weird. He did not finish the season as good. He started the first month and a half looking like a Rookie of the Year candidate.
And then all the guys came back.
The whole team started stinking.
Yeah.
In Tampa. I mean, that whole offense
he finished
sucked.
with 938 yards and 6 touchdowns as a rookie.
First 9 games, though.
I have a hard time imagining that would last 18.
It's because the first 9, he had 40 for 677, 6 touchdowns. The final 8, 23 catches, 261, and no touchdowns.
So slowed down.
Just the first half was awesome. The back half was not that impressive.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
I still feel good about Egbuka moving forward, for the record, but just that's why he fell off in the Rookie of the Year.
When you look at the redraft, you got to feel pretty good. I mean, there's still parts of, and this goes back to Brett Veach's drafting ability. I do not think Brett Veach is a bad drafter. I think Brett Veach is not an elite drafter, and especially not elite at finding elite positions of importance so far. I also think that I'll let him pick number 9 and find out if he's able to do that. And what's crazy is like we talk about number 9 because the Chiefs haven't picked if he's able to do that. And what's crazy, that 50-50 chance of getting a player right, it's 50-50 for the top 10 too. The difference is when you get it right, they're typically Pro Bowl. They're all pro. The level of talent you get when you get it right, the upper end potential is way higher. But you're still in a 50-50 shot of just totally
it's not a guarantee, but we know and we'll hear from Brett Veach around the combine, and he'll be asked closer to the draft as well, how many first-round grades do you have? As we all know, yes, there are 32.
It's usually like 15.
There's 32 first-round picks, but on teams' boards, there's only maybe, 10 to 15 that are actually first-rounders in terms of grades. Well, if you're picking 9th, you're guaranteed to at least get one of the guys that you are, viewing as a true first-round grade. That's the difference. At pick 32, those are not first-round grade players. At pick 9, no matter who it is, it at least is somebody that you have a first-round grade on.
Yes.
So that's the benefit.
Yeah. Somebody is going to be in that mix that hasn't previously been in that mix, which, I do think is a lot different than what we're accustomed to, at least on that end.
You guys see the real effective stuff that's going on in Jefferson City, or at least proposal. You guys see that? There's a Missouri senator.
This is when I sound like the oldest man on the show. I know I am the oldest person on the show, but just after you complete this story, I'll go on my little rant and I'll sound like I'm a 87, but I just want you to prepare accordingly.
There's a Missouri senator that has proposed to make the UFL's St. Louis Battlehawks football team Missouri's official football team instead of the Chiefs. Quote, it not only removes the designation of the Kansas City Chiefs as Missouri's football team, it in place solidifies that CAW is the law by making this law and recognizing that the St. Louis Battlehawks are indeed Missouri's official football team.
CAW is the law? Is that what?
Well,
what's the name of this guy?
Nick Shore. I'm not surprised by the wasting of time. So, how about that? Oh, man, they're not going to be the official football team of Missouri anymore, guys. Or at least they don't want it to be. The Battlehawks.
They've taken their talents to the UFL.
That's right.
I don't
That's
want to
right.
like you shouldn't pocket watch or tell everybody like how to do their job or any of this stuff. I'm just
Wait, you
telling
don't think this is important business taking place in Jefferson City?
I'm just telling you right now.
It shouldn't be at the top of the list?
Fill a pothole. Empty a meter.
Are there a lot of potholes on the Missouri side?
Try to craft up tons. Try to craft some piece of actual legislation. You waste the time that I should be able to impeach you. If you waste my time and everyone's time, how long did it take you to craft this? Should you spend a half an hour? 45 minutes?
If you were gonna do
Spend
this,
some time with your kids. I don't even care. Do something productive with your life. Then waste time on nonsense like this. We should be allowed to financially punish people who work in state houses or in politics who do stuff like this. You're wasting my time and everyone's time and your time, and we shouldn't just stop it. Do something productive with this, this position you hold.
That's just dumb and a waste of time. And honestly, if you're going to make it official team of Missouri, if that's really what you wanted to do, why wouldn't you just make it the Missouri Tiger?
Agreed.
Tigers, the college football
100%.
team?
Because this guy probably is like a St. Louis rep.
Well,
he absolutely
he
could be
is.
like,
Yeah.
just be like the state
He's
of
got to get as
Alabama.
close to St. Louis
I
as
believe.
possible,
I believe that's the side of the state he represents. Yes.
100%. Just be like the state of Alabama. They don't have a pro football team. I mean, they do technically in Birmingham, in the Birmingham Stallions or whoever it is, but
Missouri's not Alabama and Alabama,
exactly.
and so
true.
Just what a waste of
this is the
time.
same
This
as
is just
that-
somebody that wants to waste time and get his name discussed. It's just that's all this is.
Again,
congratulations. Here we are. We're
they
talking
should
about
have
it.
they should have to pay a $10,000 fine that goes to charity or whatever. Anytime, because I remember you brought up one in college football where he's gonna sue the college football playoff because they didn't let Notre Dame in. It's always something like that.
Well, there was the Ohio. There was the representative. There was a representative last year for Ohio that wanted to ban the flag planting. There was also, I think, a representative in Ohio that wanted to ban the M from all cross out the M in all official documents as well because of Michigan.
Legitimately,
what are we
we do very little politics in this show because we're not supposed to. So take any of your feelings about.
Oh yeah, this has nothing to do with that.
Which side of the political aisle you're on? If somebody stands up when we could be discussing actual things that help actual people in a legislative house, and they're standing there be like, "I'd like to ban IMS, sir. That'd be $1,000 to a charity of your choice. I'll let you talk for a few seconds, dumbass." But when that's done, $1,000 to a charity of choice every time you waste this council's time.
It sounds like you're
with
very
stuff
passionate
like
about
this.
this topic.
It's a way. I hate it. I hate it, Drew. There's real people who need real things. This guy chose to get elected for this. They got to stand up there and talk about banning M's.
But again, yes, there is a Missouri senator that is wanting to remove the Chiefs as the official football team of Missouri and add in the UFL's Battlehawks.
Who would win a game, the Missouri Tigers or the St. Louis Battlehawks?
Battlehawks, I assume, right?
I don't know about that.
I don't know, man.
No, actually, I don't know. I don't know about that.
The UFL teams, I think we're getting closer to
I
the.
think Missouri football.
You think it'd be Missouri football?
Yeah.
Battlehawks roster. You think there's any other former?
I mean, there's probably some solid players on that team, but I mean,
they don't even list their roster right now.
Battlehawks do draw a good crowd. Good for them. It's not even against
They
them.
do.
This is
They're
more
very
about
popular.
just why are we doing it. It's nothing against them. But yeah,
Kind of got a
unnecessary.
Seahawks or Lions vibe to them. Why can I not see your roster?
maybe they don't have them formulated quite yet until I don't know when the season starts, but they probably wait till the college season starts. Carson Beck
their
potentially.
Quarterback was Max Dugan.
drafted?
He tore up Missouri when he was in.
yeah.
He tore up
TCU, the TCU quarterback.
Yeah, he tore up all kinds of colleges when he was in school. So I don't hate their quarterback play for what it's worth. Their leading running back was Jacob Sailors. Anybody know who that is?
We're not going to know anybody
Drew
else.
might.
The only person we know on the list that I saw, Rodrigo Blankenship, the former NFL kicker.
Hold on. I remember their leading wide receiver, Hakeem Butler.
All right.
I remember UNC, right? Isn't that where he went?
I don't know if that's where I don't know if that's where Hakeem Butler went, but I recognize
do
the name, yes.
recognize the name
Sailors.
Hakeem
I
Butler.
don't.
He went Iowa State.
I was like,
Sailors. I don't recognize.
Anyway,
the running back.
there you go.
He was on an
the
NFL
real
roster.
important, the real
Blankenship.
important stuff is going on with legislators.
Someone said, Drew, all the potholes are in Missouri. Road care in Missouri is not great. We
I
can
don't
have
go over there that
we can have a real
often.
border war, and people hate Missouri, and people hate Kansas and either side of the state, and certainly stadium stuff's brought all that stuff out.
Yeah.
As a lifelong Missouri resident, if we are trying to, like, if you want to say, like, Kansas drivers are worse, I'll go, we'll debate Missouri or Kansas drivers being worse. I'll just tell you right now, and I've decided it's Kansas because I found out you don't even take real driver's tests in Kansas. They just go around the block and don't make them do anything. Don't even have to parallel park when Alex is taking the test. It's crazy. But potholes.
For the sake of time, I will not argue with you.
Missouri's roads are horrible compared to Kansas. They're worse at snow removal, road care, like just roads in general, and the state of the drivability of the roads is not in comparison. Missouri's is worse. Like there's not. I don't think that one's up for debate. I'll listen to other debates.
Yeah, man, got to get your car realigned every single time when you drive down there. That's definitely true.
So, it's pretty bad. Why is Kansas better at snow removal? They're in the same metro. We have this like figured out by now. We have routes.
They have their priorities straight. As you were talking,
do they? What are we getting for this non-pothole?
I mean, you were just talking about how Missouri's too occupied making the Battlehawks their football team.
Yeah, I'm sure no one in Kansas ever made a grandstand of nonsense in a state house.
Oh, if somebody in Kansas would have done the same thing, we'd be saying the exact same thing. It's just a waste of time. It's absolutely absurd.
And it's always Missouri people hate Kansas more than Kansas people hate Missouri. This is the same as the Missouri and Kansas fans. I think they hate each other equally, is my stance on that. Except for Kansas State and KU. I think that one maybe the schools. That one might be slightly different. We've gotten way off track now. You know what? I don't feel that bad about it. It's a Friday. Drew's in a Hooters outfit.
He's so elated. Ain't you from the Lou? Ain't you from Missouri?
Drew, how is that? Should we let him off at like 1 or something? I kind of feel bad.
You want to give Drew the day off?
Hold on. Not the day. Can he just take the outfit off?
It's starting to get itchy?
Yeah,
we have fan club starting at 1.
A little bit, actually, and I can't reach the
Taylor Burr from Fox 4 is coming in for the first time. Should her first impression of the station not be Drew in orange short shorts?
Yeah, let's.
And instead, can we just agree, Gold, that 3 hours in that Hooters outfit and it being on Google forever is enough of a punishment for Drew? I'm feeling like 3 hours.
I don't want Drew to develop a rash or something, you know?
Oh, it's not going to be a rash, I don't think. It's just
and there's still the HR part of it that is up for question. Like at some point early in the show,
there's no HR issue at all.
So, 1 o'clock, can we let Drew off?
All right.
The hook?
Look, if you want,
he didn't ask. In fairness, so like,
if you want to, we can.
At 1 o'clock, you can go change. Okay. The bet will be considered paid off at 1 o'clock.
He was wearing, I think, under regular clothes before the show for an hour or two. So
yeah.
I think he's been uncomfortable for some time.
We're getting to the point where about 2.5 hours in, I thought that it might start to get a little, not annoying, but along those lines, and we're starting to get to that point, I think.
Yeah, I get it. We'll let you off the hook at 1.
You got an hour left.
For those who want to see it, subscribe to our YouTube channel at the Fan 96.5 or
when we come back with what's
Twitch
trending, I'll put up the 3-shot.
Fan. Yeah, you'll see Drew in that out.
That is 5 inches difference.
He was texting me about that last night again. I don't know if he texted you that again, Alex, or Cody.
He not texting me.
He had a bad game too, so Bain was probably.
He was texting me again about Bain. He likes Mesinor better actually, who's projected to be a later.
Yeah, Bain didn't have a good game, but I could go and look at. I think was it Miles? Somebody else was in the last couple of years. Had a bad college football playoff, and they turned out to be a fine. Like just because one game wasn't great for Ruben Bain could also go out there and dominate in the national title game.
And of course, this is the problem with watching one game. One game had me convinced that the Chiefs are right. 5'11" wide receivers are fine. I was ready to draft Malachi Tony last night.
Malachi Corley's been a bust in the NFL.
Malachi Tony last night.
He would be picked in the first round, and that man should be in high school.
Dude, he's 18. He just turned 18.
Yeah, he's still got 3 more years of college.
He would be a first-round pick if he could come out.
We don't have a ton of time to get into it. Do you think NFL teams would draft anybody if you could pre-draft them and just know that they'd be on your roster when they were eligible?
Like own the rights, basically?
I think so.
And it had to be a first-round pick.
Well, then
so
it would
the
only
Chiefs could
be
spend a first-round pick on Malachi Tony, and they know that in 3 years Tony's on their roster. Would they only do it with quarterbacks? They definitely do it with quarterbacks.
Does it count as a first-round pick this year, or
it counts as a first-round pick this year? So you're playing the long game.
So they theoretically could get Malachi Tony and their first-round pick that they get in the same year.
But they might end up doing
I think
the thing
more teams might do that.
Did you know how many people get wrong on quarterbacks? Like Arch Manning would have been taken.
Quarterback would be the scariest position to do for sure.
I don't,
Jeremiah Smith would get taken.
Interesting idea. I don't think that many teams would utilize it, and I think you would have to make it to where it's only for potentially only for quarterbacks. You do it once every 5 years. There'd be a lot of stipulations. Also, the risk involved is massive. Tony looks amazing for Miami. I don't want this to happen to him, but he could have a terrible injury and just not be the same player. Then you're stuck in 2 years.
Not just because of Miami, just because that actually happened.
Yeah. So I think, like, if Arch Manning, somebody would have done that this year or last year, I guess, for Arch Manning. Somebody would have said, we'll just buy his rights. That's also more complicated. You just would have done that because the Manning last name, you would have said, we'll take the risk that he turns out to be something.
But it's like
it'll
tanking
never happen,
on a year, you're just giving
yeah.
up a first-round pick for a future guy. And you all know, so what do you do about the roster? You got this quarterback here who knows a quarterback's getting drafted a year from now?
Plus that GM.
I think very few teams would actually do it.
Yeah, plus the GM that's currently on set, he doesn't have 3 years. Like, you as a GM, most GMs do not have the ability to say, hey, by the way, 3 years from now, I got our quarterback. In the meantime, bear with me. That's usually not how that works.
Look, it's never going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just fun to entertain. But because you'd have to set up all kinds of things like, could somebody return the rights if they change their mind and get a second-round pick or whatever?
Bink's texted in. We have awoken Bink. He said Bain had 4.5 sacks all regular. Bink's down on Bain.
He was texting me
I
that
prefer
too.
David Bailey for the record, but I'm not worried about David Bain because of last night's performance. Or David Bain. Ruben Bain. David Bailey's who I would pick, but Ruben Bain. That's where I'm at on that.
By the time we get through the combine, I think David Bailey might be the one who's picked higher. When that man runs like a 4.5 at whatever size he is, yeah.
Feels like that's the case. All right, up next, guys, we'll get to what's trending. We'll talk about a win total that's already out there for the boys in blue and more on the college football playoff, which has another semi tonight.
You're listening to Cody and Gold. Tune in for the Chiefs Red Half Hour every day, starting at 11:30 right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Hola, amigos! It's a big noise. Brad Evans from BetMGM tonight. Listen Monday through Friday starting at 6 p.m. Eastern on Westwood One Sports as we cover the biggest sports stories from coast to coast. Get insights on the NFL playoffs, college basketball conference races, and more. Download the Odyssey app now and listen from anywhere. BetMGM tonight, live and interactive, presented by BetMGM. Tune in, Team Huevos.
Straight Talk presents The Math of More. Here's how it works. When you say yes to more with Straight Talk, you're left with more for all the other good stuff. So getting an unlimited plan starting at just $25 a month equals more savings for your family's weekend adventures. And with a network covered by Verizon, you can share more from wherever you go. It's simple math, really. More equals more with Straight Talk. Available at straighttalk.com and Walmart. Taxes and fees apply. The $25 plan requires a compatible unlocked device and a new line of service. Additional terms apply.
The NFL wildcard round is here, and FanDuel's turning on playoff mode. All customers get a profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day, and each game day during the wildcard round, you'll find a pack loaded with multiple profit boosts waiting for you in the app. You pick the matchup you believe in. It's going tomorrow with the Panthers and the Rams, and then we've been talking a ton about the Bills and the Jags. You take your shot on an upset maybe, or you build a parlay that fits the moment, then apply your profit boost and go after even bigger payouts while the playoffs get rolling. So visit FanDuel, an official sportsbook partner of the NFL, and grab your profit boost pack every NFL playoff game day. FanDuel is an official sports betting partner of 96.5 The Fan. Must be 21 and present in Missouri. Opt-in required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable profit boost tokens. Restrictions apply, including any token expiration and max wager amount. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Presented by Robinhood.
He crosses, spins, pulls up.
With Robinhood Prediction Markets, buy or sell your predictions all game long. No house odds, just you versus the market. Put your sports IQ to work. Trade every shot, block, steal, run, and moment that shifts the game. With Robinhood Prediction Markets, trade every play. Visit Robinhood.com/predict to start trading. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
This is the story of the one. As an HVAC technician, he and his digital multimeter are in high demand. So when a noisy office HVAC turns out to be a failing blower motor, he doesn't break a sweat. With Grainger's easy-to-use website and product information, he selects the product he needs to keep everything humming right along. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Dusty Likens, and on behalf of everyone here, I want to thank you for listening to another season of Chiefs football right here on 96.5 The Fan. Although the season didn't go as planned, we saw record listenership these last 6 months, and that's all thanks to our listeners and Chiefs Kingdom. Our coverage will not change these next couple of months as we get you ready for a busy offseason, starting with the Combine, free agency, and the NFL Draft. Stay up to date with us on YouTube, Instagram, the Odyssey app, or right there in your car. This is your home for Chiefs football, 96.5 The Fan.
Wildcat fans, this is Wyatt Thompson. Tune in all season long to the play-by-play of the 2025 football season, right here on your home for K-State Athletics, 96.5 The Fan.
KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, an Odyssey sports station. What's trending?
God dang!
Brought to you by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Winning starts with a great drive. Since 1942, Telly's certified techs have delivered complete car care with top brand tires and expert auto service. Keep your drive going. Take it to Telly. Visit TellyTire.com today.
Number one on what's trending, NFL wildcard action begins tomorrow. 3:30 kickoff, Rams, Panthers. The evening game tomorrow night, Packers, Bears. Packers 1.5-point favorites in that game. Then Sunday we get three AFC and NFC games. 2 AFC games, I should say. Buffalo, Jacksonville, noon kickoff. Then the Niners and the Eagles at 3:30. And then the Sunday night football game, Justin Herbert and the Chargers go to New England to take on Drake May. And then, of course, Monday Night Football will be Texans at Steelers. That's the NFL action this weekend, man. It's a good stretch, man. Starting last night, college football playoffs, all the way through Monday.
Next up on What's Trending, local college hoops this weekend. Kansas will go to West Virginia for their third game in Big 12 play. Kansas State will take on Arizona State. And MU will be at Ole Miss. So 3 road games for all the locals. Obviously, MU and KU come from behind victories on both of their ends. Kansas State coming off a beatdown by Arizona.
I mentioned college football playoff semifinal action. We know last night Miami got it done. A great game against Ole Miss.
Especially the last 7 minutes.
Yeah, 7 minutes or whatever it was, the back and forth. Tonight, we'll find out who's going to take on Miami as number 5 Oregon takes on number 1 Indiana. The Hoosiers, 3.5-point favorites in this game. Looking forward to that. 6:30 kickoff, although as we found out last night, it's going to be like 6:48 when that thing kicks off.
We almost hit the nail on the head at the 6:45. It was right over there. Yeah, it did.
We should have had our guy Ben Heisler in. He's an Indiana grad.
He's in Atlanta. My understanding is he's in Atlanta.
He's come in for a fan club before. We'll have Taylor Burr today. But still, an Indiana fan on for that is always an interesting perspective. Next up on What's Trending, MLB teams cancel FanDuel Sports Network contracts, including the Royals, amidst all of their bankruptcy stuff and continued issues. Major League Baseball has said that they're willing to and are ready to take in any of the teams who do not get picked up. But starting today, there'll be new negotiated contracts, possibly with those networks. So we'll see exactly what takes place. Obviously, the parent company, but you know it as FanDuel Sports Network. Truth is, you do not yet know what television network will air the Royals yet this season. It might be MLB TV, or it might end up being back with FanDuel Sports Network. You do know where you can hear Royals baseball. That's right here at 96.5 The Fan. No matter what, free, easy, available.
Last thing for you, it has now been confirmed by Amazon that Al Michaels will return next year to call Thursday Night Football. It'll be his age 82 season. Him and Kirk Herbstreit will do it again. Legendary
age 82 season.
That's just what I'm just reading it directly. What it said. Yeah.
I've come off.
I believe that's correct.
A serious ageist this week.
You have a lot of times. Now, Al Michaels is a legend, so be careful. He's a legend. I do think he's lost his fastball. Absolutely. I think it's an arguable.
And his curve and his slider and his changeup.
Okay.
Dang.
Throwing dust.
I do think the energy level does not match the moment anymore.
There was there's been multiple times this year in high level, high pressure football games. He seemed disinterested. And this just goes to anything. No, sometimes with sports broadcast, and this is always just tough, but we treat it like it's different than another job. Like a radiologist at 82 be like, well, I catch most of the broken bones. You're like, well, sorry, you got to catch them all, or you don't get to keep doing this job at 82.
We'd have a big problem. If I was going to see a radiologist for my broken bones, we'd have a big problem.
Yeah,
we'd have a big problem.
So we got to, at some point, figure out, like, maybe not just letting everybody choose their own. And we don't let
I hear
athletes.
you.
Athletes sometimes just get pushed out of the game. It is what it is. We're letting Al Michaels do this. I don't know that he has it anymore. And he is a legend. And he's caught some of the biggest moments in sports history.
All timer.
But yeah, this last year just didn't feel like the same Al Michaels. That's all.
I think there's times where just he doesn't see the play as well as he used to. You know, there'll be a play and it'll be like, and the ball has already been fumbled and the guy's starting to go the other way and he's like, what? Is that a fumble? It is a fumble. Like it's just too delayed, and it sucks to see that's happened. But he's back anyway. He's back for Thursday Night Football next year on Amazon.
That's why I was.
Is Kirk back too? I assume.
I would think. Him and his dog.
One dog neglects the others. I'd like that on the record.
Jeez.
He has 4 dogs. He travels with one.
What, do you want him to rotate the dogs?
No, he travels all the time. He travels with one dog. His other 3 dogs are neglected, or just like the housekeeper.
What is it, Peter? Is it Peter, or is Peter
You know the
other
dog's name?
The real question is, why do you hate your other dogs more than you?
Maybe this is the
like
dog
this
that's
dog?
more comfortable going out.
I think that's the
This
reasoning.
dog's calmer,
why.
maybe. Maybe this dog's behave better than his other dogs. Maybe his kids. Kirk actually has kids, doesn't he?
Yes.
They're older though, maybe. But maybe his kids
Yes.
are more attached to the other dogs. I don't know. I have no idea the reason. I get it. Look, I think he does it for him. It's not about having the dog with him. For him. The dog reminds him of home. It's comfortable. Now, do I think he needs to be at Arrowhead on the field before the game, or in Denver scaring Bo Nix with the dog that clearly doesn't like dogs? No.
Can I say this about, like, hey, he reminds him of home. He's gone a lot. He has a really simple solution to that. Just go home more. Take less jobs. He has a
He's supporting his
$1
He's supporting his family.
Support his family with one job in college football.
Hey, I'm never gonna.
He's worth $10 trillion. He wants
maximize-
to spend more time with his family. He could do that.
Maximize your earnings while you can. I have no. And if he thinks he can have his obligations,
Man is worth reportedly $90 million. But if he's like, I'm homesick and I miss being home and I don't spend enough time, just spend more time at home and have one less job.
And he will
Get
eventually.
80 jobs. No, he won't. Al Michaels is 82.
No,
and
that's
still
not.
doing this.
I'm talking about Kirk.
When's he going to have less jobs?
I don't know. He's at the top of his game. I have no problem with how much he's working. Good for him.
There is a little bit of his play-by-play is.
I think he should work less.
I think he. Yeah. I mean.
I think he should quit I think he should quit the Amazon job. Keep all the other jobs.
Kirk is 56.
Keep the other ones. Just quit that one. Let's talk about the Royals.
You sure? How many other old people do you want to criticize today?
That's it for me.
Anybody
today.
else?
I'm
Be
sick.
careful. If you're over the age of 50 today, Cody is going after you.
Between that and the Battlehawks thing, it's been a half hour of takes.
First full week back. Maybe I just need the weekend. You know. Maybe tensions are rising.
Coming up, Cody needs a drink, and coming up,
you do have to keep on
in
seeing me in this outfit whenever you turn right.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Coming up in an hour.
One hour. It is a Fan Club Friday presented by Jay Rieger. We will have a drink or two. We'll have Taylor Burr from Fox 4 Sports stopping by. We'll talk some Chiefs. We'll talk a little college football. Get to know her as well. That'll be a lot of fun coming up at 1 o'clock. But you mentioned the Royals, and these are offshore, so we'll find out from FanDuels, et cetera, of the world closer. And we haven't got to spring training yet. But what did you make of the win totals are already out for the AL Central? 81.5 is where the Royals sit, at least. And I'm guessing that'll be about
close.
where FanDuel has theirs, et cetera, when we get there.
The offshore is usually within 1 or 2 on these things, the win totals, and have been pretty close to that for the Royals. So maybe they get up to 83.5 or down to 79.5 or so is probably the range. But they've got them as the offshores at 81.5. And some of the offshores have the Royals as the second best favorite to win the AL Central. And my initial thought is, yeah, that sounds about right. In a weak AL Central, the Royals still have the best overall rotation. They do not have the best number 1 pitcher. Obviously, that belongs to the Tigers and Tarek Skubal. But they do still have the best overall rotation, returning a very good bullpen who I think might have gotten better just based on some of the health and depth that will enter the bullpen because it won't be in the starting rotation. I am inclined to think that the Royals should be the second favorite to win the division because I think they're the second best team behind only the Tigers. And 81.5 is just the conservative end. I think they're going to win closer to like 86 in the early feeling of it. We'll give our official predictions later. I think they're maybe a little low on that end. But the problem is, in my head, I'm also assuming they got something else planned for corner outfield. And if you're talking about an offshore number being attached to a team that still has a, on paper, not exactly deep outfield, I think that number is probably about square.
I think spring training, usually you can say, hey, how much stock do you put in spring training numbers? And this year will be even more challenging because the World Baseball Classic is going on. So all these teams, most I should say, will have some of their top players representing their respective countries and away from Arizona and away from Florida because they're in the WBC. And the Royals are included in that. They will be missing multiple players, but so will the competition. So when I look at numbers for certain players, pitcher or hitter, how much stock do you put in that? What I'm getting at is if Jack Caglione were to have an amazing spring, and he also is in the WBC, if I'm not mistaken.
He is. He's playing for Team Italy.
Yeah.
Vinny.
So so this will be tough to judge him because I was going to say, if he had a great spring, you might feel even better about taking the over 81.5 because I still believe so much of their peak this year where, if we're talking about them being an AL Central contender, which that should be, once again, the expectation.
Yeah, I think
But
so.
for them to get there, and they did not get there, as we know, last year, Jack Caglione is a huge part of that equation. And it makes things in life so much easier if he can figure it out and his swing can be what they hope it can be. And that there's not massive holes in his swing and to the point where teams are not able to pitch him a certain way to where it's a huge struggle for him to have an impact the way you want him to have an impact.
Yeah, and I'm not saying he's not a huge swing player. He is. But a lot of their unlike last year, I actually feel like the Royals have less unknowns. So, if you look at the Royals' current roster, Jack Caglione and Carter Jensen are probably two of the unknowns. And maybe later next week or whatever, we're going to have a longer conversation on Jack too. But as it sits, I think you know what you're getting out of the rotation. Especially considering the depth. Although I do think the trade talks should and might heat up for players like Chris Bubic. I mean, did you guys just see what the Cubs gave up for a mid-level starter? So, there's a market.
Yeah, their top outfield prospect.
Yeah, there's a market if you are willing to let go of some pitching this offseason and willing to take a chance. But injury, but that's anyone's concern, right? Especially with a guy like Cole Reagans, might be part of a question. But I'm not going into this year being like, what are they getting out of some of these bullpen guys? What are they getting out of some of these starters? No, I got a pretty firm idea of what they're getting out of Michael, Bobby, Vinny. Michael might be, can he repeat it one more time? But just to be sure. But just the way he played feels very repeatable. The amount of question marks on this team going into the year, to me, feel way shorter. The only question I have remaining is, are you adding another outfielder? Are you putting somebody else in the mix? Are you just going to roll out Lane Thomas and Cags and Isbell and Hope?
And Collins, right?
And Collins and Hope.
I think
because that doesn't feel like an AL Central winning outfield.
I think they made some smart moves this offseason, some smart trades to incrementally get better in the outfield. But was it enough? Was it a big enough push for that? And they still have time if they want to do something. It's not like this thing is done, but are they done? There's opportunity out there still. Are they willing to go that direction? I'm kind of with you. It'll still be a question mark in the outfield if this is all they do. There's a chance it's better. I think they have made moves that should lead them down a better path, offensively in particular, out of the outfield with the production they were not getting. But the bigger splash, that hasn't happened. I don't know if it will. We'll have to see over the next month if that's the case. Thinking of Royals, if you want your Royals fix, don't forget Royals Rally coming up at the end of the month. Vern's going to be broadcasting live from the Royals Rally Saturday, January 31st, 9 to noon. He'll be talking to some members of the front office, some players that are in town for that. And, of course, if you miss any of it, it's available on demand and on the All Things Vern channel.
If anybody was tracking it yesterday, by the way, it was ARB Day, so the players who avoid the little arbitration meeting. Currently, the Royals still only have 2 players who are in active arbitration, as in before the ARB meetings take place, they still can get a long-term deal done or get an arbitration number that they both agree on. This happens all the time that they aren't done on the actual day that they can start.
Yeah, the hearing is scheduled now, though, basically is what's happened.
Vinny Pasquantino and the Royals are about $500,000 apart. Chris Bubic and the Royals are about $1 million apart, in case you're curious. In the filing numbers.
Seems very fixable.
Yeah. All right. Do you want $250 for Vinny? And hey, Bubic, do you want $400,000 to $500,000 when he's called us a day? The numbers are low enough that I would think that that's within a range. It's when people file Scooble's in theirs apparently was
$13 million difference. That's
a problem.
Yeah.
That $13 million. Good luck closing that. That's why I still think he might get traded. I think he might get traded and immediately sign an extension or something with the Yankees or with the Dodgers.
That's the
or one of
thought.
these others.
I think a lot of people are believing that's what's going to happen with Scooble.
So,
which would be great for the AL Central if if he gets out of the division. I mean, he's a hell of a player.
Yeah.
If he leaves the division, that makes you feel better about the path.
I don't know if I'd call the Royals the favorite, but I'd be.
Now, what do they get in return?
Yeah, if they get major league players in return, then we're having a slightly different. But if it's just prospects, I mean, you'd have to start almost shifting to maybe not they're the favorite, but the co-favorite.
But the best or second best pitcher in baseball leaving your division,
please,
would be a good thing. Would definitely be a good thing.
Yeah, for everybody involved. College football playoff game last night. Obviously, the Ole Miss Miami game was awesome. Carson Beck, who is my favorite fact of that entire game was that Tony was 11 years old when Beck started college, which is maybe just a problem college has with injuries and how long they let people stay in the system and everything else. Because Chambliss has been in the. He's like, didn't he just
D2 for? He's applying for a 6-year, Drew, or fifth? Yeah.
So he's asking for a 6th year. Beck's been around for like 7 years or something. So sometimes these guys hover around. He looked like the guy who's played way more college football than anyone else on the field. But it was just an awesome game. Tonight, Indiana versus Oregon. I told you, I think Indiana's the better team. But like a lot of times with these, it's like Cinderella. Like there's that feeling of no football reason. The feeling of it turns midnight usually on Cinderellas, right? George Mason doesn't go and win the title. It's so rare. And
I don't think they're
Indiana, you know?
Sure, but I actually don't. That was last year. Cinderella was last year. They're not like, yes, the name is not Alabama. Totally get it. And it's stunning to see them with the number 1 next to their name. Totally with you. But I disagree. I don't think they're Cinderella. They've been one. Look at their resume all year. They've been number 1. Last year, they were in the CFP. I think they were more of a Cinderella last year. This year, I don't agree that they're Cinderella.
You're saying
they're a great story, but I don't think there's any thing fluky or anything about what they've done.
No, I don't disagree. And I guess I don't always think of Cinderella being that way because sometimes those are very talented teams, and the reason they go deep is because they are so talented. Maybe you're right. Maybe because they're a year removed from the look how good we were. We got in the college football playoff. We're the plucky underdog. They're the number 1 seed.
I felt like Ole Miss maybe was the more of the
Cinderella part.
Cinderella, yeah.
Does anyone think Oregon's winning tonight? I think Indiana.
I think Indiana wins.
I think we're going to get Indiana
that's been
in Miami.
That was my pick.
Do you think the winner of this gets the number 1 overall pick?
Oh.
Do you think
I don't think it has any bearing.
Do you think that's on the line at all?
I don't think that has any bearing.
I'm just asking.
Maybe I don't know. I don't know if it has any determination, but I will say I think if Dante Moore, it at least creates the favorite pre-combine. Like if Dante Moore goes out and he outplays Fernando Mendoza and they beat that Indiana defense that's top 5 in the country.
Right?
Yeah. I think Dante Moore, potentially becomes the favorite to get drafted number 1 overall. Sure.
There's a million things, obviously, that go into these things, and I don't think they let one single football game make a determination on that.
Yeah, of course.
Part of me just thinks Oregon is going to, like, some of this is gold is like, it's a little bit of the, like, it's Indiana still. It's kind of like the Jags thing you were talking about in the Bills game. Like, it is still Indiana. I know I'm trying to put that to the side for now because it's been back-to-back years of them being this good. But also, there is part of me that thinks at some point in football, in my lifetime, Oregon's going to punch through once.
Sure.
Right? Like, Oregon is just in this thing every year with a chance to win it every year. And I know it's not ever, but it's like they're the same as Georgia and Alabama and these others. Every year they have a chance to win a national championship. It just feels like one of these times they're going to punch through. I'm picking Indiana tonight.
I don't know if I really care who wins necessarily.
You don't want Indiana? I feel like it's good for college football if a team like Indiana wins. Go from
to me,
the worst team in college.
That part of the story, so it's an unbelievable story. And it already is, though, I guess is where I'm at. Like, I guess, yes, complete the story, go win a national title. But, like, to me, they've already, like, oh, my gosh, what a story. Can you believe what Curt Cignetti has done? I think that's already been accomplished. I don't really care, like, who wins at this point in time. I think Oregon, when you look still at the talent on the roster, I think Oregon's a more talented football team. Doesn't mean they're the better team. The talent, to me, is far more on their side heading into this game.
I mean, but that just goes back to probably like the fact that they don't have any 5-stars in Indiana.
Their roster is the 72nd best roster.
That's what I'm saying. It's not the Oregon roster is better.
Yeah, which I think, again, that goes all the way back to the whole argument of what Curt Cignetti's doing is just absolutely insane. I do think there is them beating, I think, because last year I agree with Gold's standpoint from the fact that, like, Indiana, I think it was more of the Cinderella last year, but I think Indiana becoming that team was when they beat Oregon actually during the regular season this year was, look, they Didn't beat Ohio State last year. Lost to Notre Dame in the first round of the playoff.
Yep.
They played Oregon this year, and it was, well, if they can beat Oregon, then we'll believe Indiana's legit. They beat them by 10 points on the road in a tough environment, and I think that was the starting point of this team is actually as good as we might think they actually are. Like, this is not just their number is ranked. Their number by their name is 5. And they've won every game, but they've played soft opponents. Like, they played some soft opponents, but they beat Oregon in their house and then beat Ohio State. I think, this is the best team in the country. If you look at defensively as well, everybody talks about the offense. They're one of the best defensive teams in the country, too. A lot like Miami, their built offensive line and defensive line are very strong.
To tie it all together today, as Drew's paying off his Hooters bet, did you know that Oregon does not have any Hooters restaurants, but Indiana does, Drew, as you're wearing the Hooters outfit today?
So Indiana for the win.
There definitely were Hooters in Indiana.
Yeah, but none in Oregon, man.
Drew, is there any part of you, even though you grew up a Badger fan, rooting for Indiana because you're from Indiana?
Yes, that is. It's weird. I used to
some state pride, you know.
I used to joke
Alex
about
wouldn't catch dead cheering for Missouri.
I
know you don't live in Missouri, but you know.
I didn't want to go to Indiana because all my friends went there from high school, and I would go to Bloomington all the time to hang out with my friends, but I didn't want to go there. So I also the fan base. No offense to Gold, but I use fan base. Reminds me a lot of KU's basketball fan base. Very much similar, I think.
Was IU basketball ever good enough to have that kind of braggadocious attitude?
No, not as good to
life?
have it, but there was a lot of people, because KU's different now, I think, obviously, but Indiana, there's a lot of old heads who are still reliving those Bobby Knight days KU
won the national title 3 years ago. Let's not act like they're on the Indiana run of being irrelevant.
I'm saying growing up. Like, growing up, it was and the KU won with Mario Chalmers and all those other things. So KU is changed. But in terms of the arrogance of the fan base, similar, but Indiana also doesn't have the natties to back it up. I used to dislike Indiana a little bit. But yes,
one thing I will say
I'm from
I've
Indiana.
noticed,
I want Indiana to win the whole thing because it'd be awesome for the state of Indiana.
One thing I have noticed, though, anytime, and it's fine, like I know people agree with you about the arrogant take on the fan base, whatever. I will notice that the only fan bases that are ever called arrogant are the ones that have won something.
Agreed. I think that's fair.
Actually won something.
I think that's fair.
Man. I think Nebraska fans get described that way. What the hell have they won?
No, they're in denial and clueless. But that's different.
That's arrogance. You're describing arrogance.
You're saying
or hubris at the very least.
You're almost
describing something.
You're almost comparing Nebraska football with IU basketball.
Nebraska basketball this year, baby. How about Nebraska basketball?
It's better than the football team.
They are. They're legit.
That's Nebraska ball. They've decided to just adopt.
They might finally win an NCAA tournament game this year.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, they've never won. Only Power 4
They've
school.
never won a single NCAA tournament game?
It's going to finally happen
for Fred
this year.
Hoiberg.
It's going to finally happen.
You better stop saying that because we know there's craziness that happens in March Madness. Nebraska will be a 5 seed and they'll lose to a 12?
Right now they're pacing for above a 5, right? I mean, if they're undefeated.
Yeah, they're going to. I mean, we'll see if it continues, but they're going to possibly be in a top 3 seed.
Ever since UMBC and Fairleigh Dickinson happened, I will never say that a team is going to win an NCAA tournament game. I will never do that.
Someone says, curious how Drew became a Bengals fan if he's from Indiana. Drew's fandom is confusing.
He's explained it a bunch, yeah.
He's a Wisconsin fan because of his grandparents.
He traveled to Madison all the time, yeah.
He's a Bengals fan because...
Favorite animals was tiger growing up, and I saw the helmets, and I was like, I love this when I was like 2 years old.
So, it's a reason.
The Pacers?
He's a Pacers fan because he's from Indiana, and he's from Indianapolis.
And because he's a Bengals fan, he's wearing a crop top and short orange shorts today.
That's right.
Because he liked tigers when he was 2. Mm-hmm. What a butterfly effect. Drew, 2 years old, likes tigers, thinks tigers are cool helmet. And now, as a result of liking tigers when he was 2, he has to wear an extra small Hooters uniform on a video stream in Kansas City.
That's right.
Life really can take you some magical places, can it? You know? Who knew? Did you ever think 2-year-old Drew would be burning you like this?
I would not.
Set you up for failure. You could have been a Colts fan. You could have watched the Peyton Manning era. You could have had some moments.
Someone says they got engaged in French Lick, Indiana.
That's where Larry Bird's from. The hick from French Lick. It's a beautiful place in Indiana.
There. Is it actually beautiful?
Yeah, I don't know if this person got engaged there, but the highest point in Indiana is at French Lick, and they've got the French Lick golf course that is founded by. Well, they got a couple of them, but Pete Dye designed one. It's hosted the Senior PGA, and from the sticks, Cody, it's 7,800 yards.
Whoa.
I think it could host a major, I'll be honest. It'd be fun to see the French have to play.
I'm kind of depressed Kansas City doesn't have a golf course capable of hosting a major. Just feel like we're too big of a city to not have a course that could, like the U.S. Open could come through here. It kind of stinks.
All right.
Y'all are crazy.
Up next.
Out of
The
pocket.
text line is wild right now. 913-586-7965. Video stream is up and running. A half hour left of Drew paying off his bet. We'll talk a little bit about the offensive line and where that stands right now for the Chiefs heading into the offseason, plus the random question of the day here on 96.5 The Fan.
What's up, Kansas City? This is Bobby Witt Jr., and you're listening to Cody and Gold, weekdays starting at 10 on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
Football playoffs are here. That's right. They're tomorrow. And Underdog is the best place to get in on the action over at Underdog. And you can win money and make entries right now on the Missouri side. All you got to do is download the app and choose your favorite players who will go higher or lower on stats, touchdowns, rushing yards, receptions, and so much more. Plus, they, for Wildcard Weekend, are adding a gimme pick on a quarterback of your choice of any of the wildcard games to get started. So, gimme pick if you wanted Lawrence to, get higher than his passing yardage total. Those things are all available over at Underdog. So make the right choice, get them right, and win up to 5,000 times your cash, and get started by using the promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to score $75 in bonus entries when you play your first $5. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Underdog, make plays, win money. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See assets.underdogfantasy.com/web/playing at terms _DFS_.html for details. Concern with your play. Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Never have I ever called my sister from the finish line of my first marathon. Hello? You won't believe where I am. Are you running? Mile 26. I'm gonna make it.
Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e with its advanced camera system on us. Plus, 2 lines for just $30 a line.
Guys, I can't believe it.
I knew you could do it, babe.
That was amazing. Mom, how do you feel? I feel great. I can't feel my feet. Let's take a picture. And then you may carry me to the car.
Share every stride, every mile, every memory on America's best network. Switch to T-Mobile's 55 Plus plan and get iPhone 16e on us and 2 lines for just $30 a line.
With 24 monthly bill credits and 2 eligible port-ins on Essentials 55 Plus for well-qualified customers with autopay plus taxes, fees, and $35 device connection charge. Credits end and balance due if you pay off early or cancel. Contact us. Finance agreement 128 gigabytes, $599.99 required. Best mobile network in the U.S. based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data 1H 2025. Visit T-Mobile.com.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today. Dial 877-WEB-NOW1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this.
Back here on Cody and Gold, Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. We'll get to the Fan Club Friday here in about a half hour or so. Talk a little Chiefs football then. Look ahead to AFC, NFC wildcard weekend. Taylor Burr from Fox 4 Sports going to join us in studio. We haven't had her on the show before. That'll be fun to get to know her a little bit. SEC ties, I think, as well. So we'll discuss Miami, college football playoff, all that coming up in about a half hour or so. We'll get to the random question of the day here in 10 minutes. Right here on Cody and Gold. You guys can always hit us up on the J Southland Tow Service text line, 913-586-7965. Text line's on fire right now. Thanks to Drew.
I walked out there to tell the boss something, and Rob just turns and goes, "What is happening?" I lost a bet. I can see that.
Casual Friday wear. This is not what you wear to work?
Drew's head to the gym after the show. Just wanted to get in his workout gear early.
Dude, that would be.
If you went to the gym wearing,
people would take photos of you.
Oh,
they would share it.
Absolutely. 100%.
It would get shared in a group chat.
Go follow me
like,
at Drew Nix on Twitter. Go ahead and pump up the following a little bit.
If we put that on TikTok or Instagram, it might go viral to a certain extent. Yeah.
So I'd be like, why is this guy just working out in the gym in this Hooters outfit?
And you just have to,
I will say,
trying to fit it in and make it look right.
I'm dead serious. Part of me, briefly, thought about bringing in some dumbbells to.
Oh gosh.
Part of me thought about that.
That would make it worse.
Well, yeah, like when you flexed earlier, it made it way worse.
Wait, if you weren't in the compression shorts, how bad would it be?
Bad. It would be bad.
How bad?
They were a non-negotiable must. Didn't even think about it for longer than half a
I don't know
second.
if he would have been like, I don't know if we'd be allowed to have the video stream on. Like we might,
I don't think
the
you
stream
would.
would have to be shut down.
No,
maybe.
I
think YouTube would have. Yeah, you're right.
Decency standards on some of these apps.
We might have got banned from Twitch.
Yeah.
So last chance to catch Drew. We've let him off the hook. We said at 1 o'clock he can be free, so that Taylor Burr's first impression of this show is not Drew walking around in a Hooters outfit, and because he was wearing it for like 2 hours, I think, before the show started. So we'll let him off the hook at 1 o'clock. And give him a chance to at least be free of the outfit. He's fulfilled his obligation in my mind. And then at 1 o'clock, that way he can enjoy his drink in peace. It's another cocktail from our friends over at J. Rieger.
Let's go.
It'll be much more comfortable.
Yeah, we're getting there.
I don't think so.
Yeah, please leave that. Don't pull down the the tank top. Leave that on at least.
We can't just have you taking your shirt off on the stream all the time. People have to be clothed on this stream. Not that kind of sight.
No, I don't think so.
How much money do you think we could make on like an OnlyFans for Drew today? This is it. Just this. 1 day only.
I mean, there'd be somebody out there. I mean, there'd be somebody that'd be into that. I don't know who, but you're right. Somebody
some crazy individual.
Somebody. We just told you trash today. Somebody snorting food through a straw up their nose.
You know what?
There's
you're
crazy
right.
people. There's somebody. You told me the story. Somebody's in love with their car. Intimate with their car.
Watch that clip.
Yes, I believe somebody would look at Drew currently in a Hooters outfit, and that would. Yeah, I'm not going to continue.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, you want to talk some football?
Sure.
Let's talk about the offensive line, because I actually don't think we should be talking that much about the O-line this offseason.
I asked Brisco about this, I think for this reason, because I feel like I had gotten a sense, Gold, and you and I agree with this, is that the public, the national, and I think it's sometimes the fan sentiment of where the offensive line is seems to be very different than you and I and Brisco. I am not worried about what they have to do on the offensive line in this offseason at all. As it sits, no, in the long term, right? They can still take offensive linemen in the draft. I'm not saying they can't take one in the third, take one in the fourth. I'm not saying they can't draft offensive linemen. But as it currently sits, if they had to start a football game right now and all their offensive linemen were healthy, I'm not so sure I'm all that worried about where they are. They've got a Pro Bowl caliber left tackle when he plays. And I'm going to assume for now, and I think it's probably safe to assume for now, that the stuff that kept him away from the field will not repeat itself based on conversations he's had. Kingsley, who was the biggest unknown going into the season other than Simmons, established himself as a perfectly fine left guard, good at center, good at right guard, and I've seen enough out of Jalen Moore or Esapole to know that they're not getting bad right tackle play. And so I guess I'm not worried about their offensive line. Of all the things on the team, it is, unlike last year, near the bottom of my concern list.
I'm not saying it's going to be the best offensive line in football next year, but I don't really think they have to commit resources. That's, as you were saying, that's kind of the difference. Resource-wise, look, they can still, if they want to draft one in the 6th round, Cody, to have some more depth, to bring somebody in, by all means, that's fine. You want to draft somebody to be a backup guard during training, or be a guard that works out during training camp and maybe makes the practice squad or is the third string, fine. But they don't have to commit any sort of serious resource to that position. They're probably going to cut Jawan Taylor. and eat the money there. And Jalen Moore, do I have a little bit of question about him still? Yeah, I think so at right tackle, but that's who it's going to be. And so they don't have to use draft resources, significant ones, or free agent dollars on the O-line. That's why it's different.
On wide receiver, tight end.
I mean, look at what they've invested, man. Look at all the pick. They finally looks like found a left tackle, assuming, as you said, everything's good in terms of the resources they put on the O-line.
And they put plenty at center and right guard. Those are two of the highest paid people at their position. And Kingsley's taking a second-round pick at left guard.
So it's about time that they're going to go through an offseason where they should not have to spend a lot of money or any money and draft capital.
There has to be a payoff for it. I mean, there has to be a payoff for it. And so I'm just saying at this point, the offensive line, and they've put a lot of investment into it. We've talked about that. But as it sits right now, I actually think they're getting some return back on that investment. I'm not here to tell you that it's been perfect and they got the number one offensive line in football. But it was 2 off seasons in a row. I'm like, are you going to do anything to fix the protection for Patrick Mahomes? And now I'm like, are you going to do anything to fix the pass rush and to fix the pass catchers? That's where I am now. But before that, are you doing anything to fix running back? Do you have enough at corner if you lose Jalen Watson to a big free agent contract? Probably, because Noah Williams and some other guys are available to step up. But they've spent money in a lot of different areas, offensive line being one. It's just weird because I felt like when I was talking to other people, just like friends, right? Or I heard the national media talk about it. It just seemed like they were all talking about the offensive line being a question mark. Mm-hmm. And it's one of the few non-question marks for me going into the year for the Chiefs. It's weird because it's one of the things I don't actually have any real, I'm not leery about, I guess, going into it. Just assuming, again, Simmons being the only big question, I guess, not the injury, because that's the kind that you get surgery from and heal from, but that, can he be on the field? And he was hurt in college. And he was hurt this year, which means if he misses any chunk of time this year for any kind of injury, well, then he might just be an injury-prone player, and we've got a bit of a problem in the sense that, and Trent Williams, people still pay him a lot of money. He misses games every year. People still pay him a lot of money because he's great.
He's a future Hall of Famer.
When he's on the field.
Yeah, he's a future Hall of Famer in that circumstance. So, yeah, I think offensive line, that's good to go. You mentioned the question on Simmons. I think the only one would be also just Jalen Moore, but they're not. He's still the guy, though, and so is Simmons. So you're not changing resource allocation based off of that. There are plenty of other wide receiver and running back and maybe tight end and defensive line, on and on and on that they have to worry about.
What's the earliest you'd be willing to take an offensive lineman? So we're in the draft. We're sticking around. Okay.
4th round.
That's what I was kind of curious about because
4th or 5th round.
If it was maybe their future, if they took a right tackle in the 3rd, I could hear it out. Because Jalen Moore's only under contract for 1 additional season. Now, Esapole, I don't really know how his contract works because he was just on a futures deal forever. So for all I know, they got 3 years of control with the guy, and maybe they have a right tackle option because he did again play pretty decent right tackle for this team, enough to make you feel like you don't have to go out and replace him or Jalen Moore tomorrow, which was what we were talking about.
Or left tackle, right? Or
he played.
Pole, I thought played left a little bit.
He played left, yeah.
Yeah.
But either way,
because Godric was playing right.
Yeah.
Wasn't he? At the last week.
Just tackle in general, sorry. But yeah, you're right. And so, because remember, they didn't end up wanting to move
Jalen Moore.
Yeah, they were going through all that and they were just leaving. It's funky because by the time the season ended, they were playing such a mishmash of nonsense offensive
I can hear you on the possibility if there's a tackle they actually love in the middle round earlier than I think.
3rd or 4th is about the earliest for me, but it's got to be the right guy, obviously.
You can find him.
Tackle, not guard.
You can find him, but the odds of also finding your long-term right tackle in the 3rd round are not great.
Wanye and some others, and Wanye, I guess, has been an okay depth guy, but I only say okay depth guy because he's there, but when he gets on the field, I don't feel as okay about it, he is physically worthy keeping on a roster, clearly, but when he gets on the field, I'm never all that confident he's going to do the job. So, but like every other position, it's all right, where am I most comfortable taking running back? Anytime after the 2nd round, if they take a running back, I'm probably not going to find it too much.
Interesting. So you said after 2nd. So you could talk me into one in the 2nd round. I just don't really want one.
So 2nd or later.
Gotcha.
If they picked one at 40, I probably wouldn't lose it. Wide receiver can be in the 1st round. Anything on the defensive line can be in the 1st round. Corner, only if they traded McDuffie, could be in the 1st round, and only with that 2nd, probably, 1st round pick they would get for trading him. Other than that, 2nd round would be the earliest for corner. That's how I know I feel good about the offensive line. I would take a corner, a safety, a running back, a wide receiver, another defensive lineman. I'd take all of those in the 2nd round before I would take an offensive lineman in the 2nd round.
Yeah.
Every single one of them. And because those are bigger needs. Safety is an underrated need, by the way, because Cook's going to be gone.
The Caleb Downs
they're
name.
losing. They are down bad a little bit at safety.
And that's where Caleb Downs will be a name I'm guessing will be discussed far more as we get closer, and whether or not he's a realistic option. The combine will cause a lot of people to view some of the draft stock differently for some of these guys, good and bad. And the fan base, like, look, this year more than ever, you're going to have the fan base split on the correct path. You know, when you're picking 28 or 32, like last year, I think we all recognized if Simmons was there, they were going to take him. That was the thought. Like, if he was there, people didn't think he would be there, and he ended up being there, and they got him. And people agree they needed offensive line. This year, you can make a strong case. I disagree with it, but you can make the case that Jeremiah Love or a running back. You can make a case safety with Caleb Downs. Certainly can make a case for any defensive lineman. Can make a case for Carnell Tate or a wide receiver. So there is not a just one path, one door to walk through kind of thing.
No, it's a choose your own adventure. Yeah. Little news out of the NCAA. Pete Thamel reporting that Trinidad Chambliss, who obviously lost in the semifinals yesterday, was denied his 6th year of eligibility. So that game last night was the end of his college career.
There's no appeal
process. They do
process?
say Ole Miss can appeal the decision, so maybe they will. But as of right now, Trinidad Chambliss's waiver to try to get a 6th year of eligibility in college football has currently been denied by the NCAA. Ole Miss filed the waiver because Chambliss didn't play his 2nd season at Ferris State, dealing with persistent respiratory issues, they said. Indicated that he's preparing legal action in Mississippi for an injunction and damages. So they are going to fight this. And look, here's the thing. I don't blame him for wanting to do it, Gold, because he's not likely to be an NFL prospect. So for him, this is his chance to make a couple of $1 million, $3-4 million to be a college level SEC quality starter in college. So like, I don't blame him for fighting this, but like, it's weird with the NCAA because they get to choose whether to grant these injury waivers or not. And when you're waiting until the very end to be like, oh, now I'd like a 6th year, sometimes it just falls on deaf ears. I get it. Carson Beck has been in college for, I don't know, how did he get all of his extra years, Drew? You've been following him forever. How did Carson Beck get like 15 years in college football?
I think.
Did he just redshirt or something a couple of times?
I mean, this technically is I think it's his 6th year. I think I don't know exactly the details behind it, but I know that the main reason why Ole Miss did the waiver is because he had respiratory issues in his 2nd year at Ferris State. So I don't know if they didn't, because underneath, I think Pete Thamel also said that they didn't, of the ones in football, I don't know if any of them provided the medical waivers, like the forms. I don't know if that's part of it, but Ole Miss can appeal it. I would appeal it if I was Ole Miss. If you're Trinidad Chambliss, he's going to go in. If Trinidad Chambliss entered the draft, he is... I don't know if you would take him above Ty Simpson, but in terms from a prospect perspective,
he's not a first-round pick.
But I would say he gets selected in the 2nd or 3rd round. I think Trinidad Chambliss would go
4th or 5th. Am I wrong?
I don't think he's going that late.
Like
I think
like
he's played
the
his
kid,
way into making people believe in the 2nd or 3rd round.
I like the kid, but I don't know if he's a 1st or 2nd round pick.
I don't think he's a 1st round pick. I wouldn't say that.
I mean, Carson Beck was 2 years ago, people were thinking he was going to be a number 1 overall pick. And now, with how he's playing, even with that, and he's improved his stock, he's probably a day 2 or 3 pick. And Chambliss, different type of quarterback, I get it. To me, he's day 2 or 3 for sure, if in fact he goes
I would say Carson Beck's like 4th or 5th round.
Yeah.
And I think Trinidad Chambliss is a better quarterback.
What a brutal 12, 16 hours or so, though, for this kid. My God, jeez, you lose the biggest game of your life, and then you find out you're denied your ability to be be a quarterback next year.
Well, and it's massive news for Ole Miss because you look at, like, Sam Leavitt is still technically traveling around. If you're Ole Miss, I mean, that opens up the possibilities for Ole Miss, and they have to figure out who they want to get at quarterback for next year, because I think that's part of the dichotomy.
Happens a 6th or 7th rounder undrafted.
I think he'll end up still playing college next year. Here's a statement that just came out from Trinidad Chambliss's attorney. Quote, I assume that Ole Miss will file an appeal with the NCAA. That said, there's now an opportunity to move this case to a level playing field, basically just get rid of the NCAA, where Trinidad's rights will be determined by the Mississippi judiciary instead of some bureaucrats in Indianapolis who couldn't care less about the law or doing the right thing. So that gives him a better chance. It just does. Like, the NCAA is a joke. So he has a better chance of winning the argument in this world, as in the court system.
Yeah, I'm always just so torn on this because it's like, how many years should you be allowed to play college football? Like, I get hurt 5 times. I'm allowed to play when I'm like 32. It's like, there is a limit. College is supposed to be 4 years. I don't know how many additional years.
Yeah, 7 years.
I think you can get to 5. I would say 5 would be a limit to me. After that, I would say you're done.
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you one freebie year, Drew. Like, I agree. You suffer a major injury, you want to play college football for full. It's so, like, I guess in that case it is 6. Because if you redshirt, I'll give you one injury year. Did he redshirt, I guess?
4 years plus a red shirt is what you should get. Now, in this case, I let this just play out and then, moving forward, but, whatever.
Dude, isn't Carson Beck in his 6th year?
7th, right?
He started in 2020. That's 21, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I think they said on the broadcast last night 7.
I think they might have been incorrect because next year would be 7. As of now, I think this is his 6th season that he's in because he started in 2020. So 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24, and then 25 this year is 6.
So silly. Red shirt.
Anyways.
Yeah.
I also just what a weird, like in no other professional sport. And I guess this is what makes college unique. But in no other professional sport are you hurt and you're like, I'd like a redo, please. Like, Gold, you didn't get to play an extra year in high school if you got hurt. And just go, it's the only level.
That's the whole thing with Pavia because he was in junior college. And that also is where things get mixed up a lot is the JC stuff.
Yeah, because based on the way the NCAA operates and doesn't operate anymore is really you can't hold those years against him anymore.
Exactly.
It's the same reason that kid went to go play for Baylor after he's been in the G League or whatever. They got a big mess on their hands just as far as and they're fighting a battle on a lot of fronts. They probably would have just helped themselves by rubber stamping an approval on him, being like, you know what? Why fight it with the kid who's just in the semifinals? We can fight it with someone lower who can't actually get the public to.
I do think it is screwed up that they're allowing they're allowing Baylor to play this kid after he got drafted. But Trinidad Chambliss had respiratory problems and he couldn't play, and they won't let him play.
That's why the NCAA is a joke, and why we read that statement from the attorney for Trinidad, which is like, let's get this to a court system and take the NCAA out of it for a second and until we have a good standing. Because you're right, you have a kid that's drafted by the NBA and he can come back and play college basketball. That's you can't grant it Trinidad in this case. It makes no sense. And this goes back into the whole conversation we've had for years about the NCAA, and there needs to be a commissioner of college sports and college football and all this kind of stuff. The NCAA, the only thing they do well is some of the lower the NCAA tournament. They're an event company, event management company, and the lower levels of collegiate athletics, right? Because we always think NCAA they actually do some really good things for D2 and D3 and their championships.
Yeah, they're very good at running those tournaments
and
all
that.
But at the I guess the FCS or the FBS, I'm sorry, FBS level, it's a disaster. And the college football playoff is not run by the NCAA.
And they just love picking fights because they keep losing in court over all this NIL stuff.
Isn't it also, Rich, that Charlie Baker, the NCAA president, said, I think it was a week ago, we're not going to approve any of them to play or to do this. And then Najee played for Baylor last week. Like, you need to just stop talking if you're not going to actually follow through with what you're going to do. Like, if you're going to say that they're denied and they can't play, then they better not be playing.
They would love to. The thing is right now is the NCAA loved swinging the hammer on kids like this. They loved swinging the axe and the guillotine, right? They enjoyed it. And Chambliss is not something they didn't used to do. They did this all the time. Now, though, they have no legal recourse. So they can stand up at a pulpit and say, we're not letting this kid from Baylor play. That kid from Baylor's got a lawyer because he just got a few $1 million and Baylor wants his ass on the court. They can't stop him anymore. The rules, because they got sued for all of this infringement of rights, doesn't allow them to stop these kids the way it used to. They got no power, or they got way less power.
Drew got by the way, Drew got too itchy here. He put a sweater over the or sweatshirt over the clothes.
Are you still in the shorts?
He's still wearing.
Because that's a ridiculous.
I'm not still in the shorts.
No, he went ahead and said, "You were close enough.
Well,
you were close enough."
Hey,
off the bet.
It was an experience. I can't say I'll do it again.
If you missed it,
why would you do it again?
Go check out the old video feed. We'd bet a different thing. We don't like to bet the same.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do with the Hooters outfit? Like, are you
Cody Gold garage sale?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's a Cody Gold garage sale.
Something like that happens
gonna buy that?
Someone will buy it. I'm not saying for a lot.
I don't know who or why, but hey, could go for it.
People use socks and stuff. Don't wash it, Drew. You got to leave it smelling like you, man.
Oh, gross.
I'm not sweating in it, so I think we're okay there at least.
You sure?
Yes.
Those shorts are pretty tight.
Someone said it looked cold earlier, not that he was sweating. That's
it was chilly earlier. I'm telling you, you could feel the breeze from the AC in here.
That's different. That's
a little bit more than normal.
That's not good, Drew. That's not good. All right, let's get to the random question.
Random question today, brought to you by Kansas City Urology Care at KCUC. Remember, you see the best in KC. Visit kcurology.com today. For you, Gold. For you, Drew. Text line 913-586-7965. Of course, you can always follow us on YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, and Facebook. where we live stream the show. That's what we were talking about, obviously, earlier as well. Simple question today, which is, are you doing your part? You know what I learned this week? I learned a piece of news today, or sorry, not today, but this week, that pizza sales across the U.S. are plummeting. Pizzerias have lost grounds to coffee shops, Mexican restaurants, sandwich places. They're losing their foothold in the both fast casual and eating market and have lost quite a bit of their footprint as far as a casual, everybody orders pizza, like significantly to the point that pizza places are genuinely concerned. So I guess the question I have for you, even though they've lagged behind now, let's see, what's the exact percentage it said? 2024 ranked pizza as the 6th amongst U.S. restaurant chains, but in 2025, they were in the double digits, so shrinking in the market. My question is, are you guys eating pizza less?
Yes.
Damn, what happened?
When's the last time you got pizza delivered or carry out?
I don't know. I mean,
last week,
a couple times. I was like, I don't.
It's been a while.
I think we had some friends over and they weren't going to be there to mealtime, and then they were there to mealtime, and then we're all like, oh, let's eat some. And we were trying to think of something we could eat quickly, and we ordered a pizza. Not common, I would say, but certainly not off of the table.
The last time I ate pizza was probably just like in a restaurant, like a bar that happened to have pizza. I couldn't tell you the last time I pick your national or local
get like
chain.
the frozen
You'd have to order a whole
it's been a while,
pizza.
but I used to like the Tombstone frozen ones.
Okay.
What's weird is that
that's our go-to is like the Red Baron pizzas.
Sure.
Those would bomb every time. So
versus some of the other for like me, like let's just say for like some of the other fast food places. Sometimes I'm looking at I'm looking at like a meal. The price has gotten out of control. I'm looking at looking at a bowl at Chipotle. Some of the price has gotten out of control. I can still get a $9.99 large, man. I can still get a hot and ready from Little Caesars for, $7.
Yeah.
I feel like there's still some value in the pizza game. So my question is, why are people eating pizza less? Sounds like you're eating pizza less. Drew, it sounds like you're eating it the same.
I do think there are some places, though, where, like everything else, the cost of pizza is up. So if you try to get a big enough pizza,
super expensive. Like really high quality pizza does feel like I'm paying like $25.
I don't know if I'm eating it more necessarily or like the same, but I guess the same for me is we have a frozen pizza and we might get to it within buying it within the week, and then maybe we have pizza out.
It's weird because
once or twice a month, maybe.
It's probably a better question for like people in like a family unit, because in the 1990s when we all were
the Pizza Hut buffets, man, the red cups.
It was number 2 amongst all U.S. restaurant chains. People ate pizza. They went, like people ordered pizza. They went out to eat it. Now I will say I don't got to eat to get pizza ever. But I feel like they killed that, right? I can't go out there and drink out of the red cup.
You can go to an old shoddy pizza or Minsky's or something, or
yeah. I guess the
you mean
fast
like
casual.
Gotcha,
yes, of course.
Gotcha.
You mean the Pizza Hut vibe, yeah.
But it's like weird because like if I'm getting Minsky's or old shiny pizza, of both of which I've eaten here in this last year, I get them to go. I'm taking that stuff home a lot.
I think that
something
might be
about
part
like
of
maybe
it,
I
actually.
just sit at restaurants less.
Yes.
I just don't sit down at restaurants the way I felt like as a kid. After the baseball game, right? You go sit at the Pizza Hut with the red plastic cup, and we'd all play the Pac-Man arcade game and eat some Pizza Hut.
As you know, other than if I'm grilling something, I don't really cook, and it's just me. So I go out. Out of the three of us, I definitely go out to eat more than anybody because it's usually just me, or I'm meeting somebody to go have dinner or whatever.
And you never consider just like a Minsky's place, huh?
It's been a bit, but there's sports bars that have pizza, right? I mean, obviously.
Sure.
So that would be the last time. Someone said back in your KU days, what was the pizza place you went to?
Shuttle, right?
Pizza Shuttle? Pizza Shuttle or Papakino's. Those are probably the two I would say, yeah.
So somebody mentioned Cece's Pizza. We had one in Indy too. Cece's Pizza was a nice buffet. It was goated.
We were kids. And the quality is, I don't know if it felt better when I was a kid, but that's probably because I was a kid. Pizza Street's still the one like not far from where I live now, where at the time it was $2.99 all you could eat pizza. And when you're a teenager, you could do some real damage with a $2.99 buffet.
I haven't been there in,
who knows how?
I mean, 20 years maybe. I don't know.
Somebody's
like
blaming Costco. I will say, you can get a slice of Costco pizza. We go shopping, $1.50. Same price as the hot dog.
The hot dog's the deal.
Is it really only that? I'm sure Sam's Club is the same. I haven't gotten a Sam's Club slice in a while.
Yeah, it's a gigantic slice of pizza too, Drew.
Yeah.
It's 2 full slices of pizza, and it's like a couple of bucks. So like
someone also said, and this is probably fair. I'm not saying this is everybody, but in general, people are more health conscious with their diet than they were 25 years ago. You agree with that? Like people like I'm not saying that everybody's out here, but I think people are more aware of, what food you're eating, what food you're putting in your body kind of stuff than they were 20 years ago.
You mentioned Chipotle briefly. Aren't you guys going to try the protein menu?
By the way, I'm back on going a lot. I don't know why the taste is back for me.
Hey, let's go.
I've been going multiple times a week.
Are you going to get like the 81 grams of protein?
I don't need to get
81 grams. What's Alex turning into a weightlifter?
I don't need the extra. I mean, I'll just get my standard, rice and pinto beans, a little steak, cheese, pico, and roll with that and corn. I saw they have the new protein bowls. What is it just because it has double the meat? What are they doing?
So I think I know back when my wife and I were like really exercising a lot. This goes back a couple of years ago. We would go to Chipotle as like a not necessarily cheat meal, but in a way it's a healthier option, eating out, quote unquote, than obviously going to McDonald's or something like that. Maybe they're siding with those things. I will say we have talked about going to Chipotle to just get that little protein cup. It's like $3.
I don't even know what that is.
Just full of chicken.
It's 32 grams of chicken in a bowl. And what we're going to do is we're going to make nachos with it. So
see, I get talked into that.
Yeah,
you like if you're trying to save the trouble or a salad, you're like, I'll just make the big salad at home. I'm not gonna pay for the whole thing, but yeah, give me the.
Since Gold works out, he needs protein bowls. Nope, just some cardio stuff and occasional lifting.
Wearing this Hooters outfit got me back.
Drew now's gonna want to really.
He started working out as soon as he realized the Bengals season was going sideways.
That's what it was.
That's when he started running.
That's why.
Drew definitely.
That's what you think. All right.
You had to get on those goals. I just didn't know if everybody's eating pizza.
The gym is super packed right now. First of the year.
It always is.
First of the year, way busy.
Everybody gets in there.
Way busy.
What they set for their New Year's resolution.
Yep. I need to be better. I need to get better about my routine. I was slacking a little bit the last month or so.
It's the holidays. Everyone slacks during that time.
I know, but it's so easy.
Drink more, eat more, work out less.
Yeah, exactly.
Pretty much all of December.
I know it. That is the random question of the day. Thank you, Cody. Up next, we will get to the Fan Club Friday. We'll talk a little Chiefs football. We'll talk college football, AFC, NFC wildcard weekend. And we will have a first-time guest of Fan Club. We'll have Taylor Burr from Fox 4 join us here on Cody and Gold.
This is Cody and Gold on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan. Brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com.
NFL playoffs, let's go. DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, makes every moment feel bigger. And in the postseason, the game shifts fast. With DraftKings live betting options, you can stay right in the moment. Plus, DraftKings has your back with early exit protection. If the player in your eligible NFL prop bet goes down at any point in the first half, you still get paid in cash. With DraftKings, you're covered through the entire half. Why bet player props anywhere else? And new customers, this is your shot. Bet just $5, and if that bet wins, you get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now and use code 965. That's code 965 to turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus. Physically present in Missouri. Eligibility restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Additional terms at dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer.
Men, the new year is here, and if you're like many of us, you're ready to improve your health. But if you're feeling low energy, not sleeping well, or not seeing results in the gym, keeping that resolution can be tough. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if those symptoms sound familiar, we can likely help. They often point to low testosterone, and treating low T is what we do. But this year, we're also helping men go further with 4 targeted body composition plans featuring growth hormone peptides, NAD+, GLP-1s, PDA, and more, designed to boost energy, support metabolism, enhance recovery, and accelerate fat loss. With our low T treatments combined with our body composition programs, most men notice real improvements. More energy, better focus, improved sleep, stronger workouts, and often a renewed sex drive as well. So call us. Your initial visit is just $99 and includes blood work and a medical consult. And if you start on treatment the same day, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600 or visit heartlandmenshealth.com.
Future therapies are compounded and have not been evaluated nor approved by the FDA. Provider prescription required. See See website for details.
Caesars Sportsbook is the only sportsbook app with Caesars rewards. Bet on gridiron action and earn perks on every game, like hotel stays, bonus bets, game tickets, and more. Download the app using promo code Radio250BM and get your first bet matched as a bonus bet up to $250, whether you win or lose. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Missouri. Open to new users only. Minimum odds -500. Awarded as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 14 days after receipt. Bonus bet amount not returned for winning bets. Void where prohibited. See Caesars.com/promos for full terms. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Chick-fil-A's new Frosted Sodas and Floats. It's a 10 out of 10. Hey, this is Lizzie, a team member at my local Chick-fil-A, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and new Frosted Sodas and Floats is how well they go together. You will love having your favorite soda blended with our creamy ice stream to make a new frosted soda or float. With the mix of the ice stream and soda fizz, it's so delicious, I call it Fizzalicious.
Order a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich and a new frosted soda and float at your local Chick-fil-A restaurant. Real team member paid for their testimonial.
As a mom, comforting my family is what I do best. Vicks Vapor Stick provides soothing, non-medicated Vicks Vapors in an easy-to-apply stick, and it dries fast, so there's no mess. I use it to comfort myself and my family.
Thanks, Mom.
Vicks Vapo Stick, soothing comfort for the whole family. And try Vicks Vapo Shower Max for steamy Vicks Vapors when you need more comfort for yourself. Use as directed.
What if sports were traded like markets? Now you can test your sports IQ in real time with Robinhood Prediction Markets. It's not you against the house, it's you participating in a live market. You can buy or sell your positions all game long. You know the game, put it to use. Trade every play with Robinhood. Download the app today. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
Member Week is here for pros at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off hundreds of items from tools and paint to kitchen and bath and more. Just in time to stock up for this year's jobs. Plus, earn 5 times the points on an eligible purchase. Shop member deals in-store and online from January 8th through the 14th. Still not a member? Join for free today. Lowe's. We help, you save. Point boosters subject to exclusions and more terms apply. Loyalty program subject to terms and conditions. Visit Lowe's.com/terms for details. Subject to change.
This is your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2 Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station. Welcome into the Fan Club.
Step 1, we buy into this club. Step 2, we roll over to the club, either in your Mercedes-Benz or my pre-owned Acura Legend.
It's not as much as a club as it is a couple middle-aged dudes in sweatshirts talking about sports.
Bounce, 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 bounce. Now all the ladies saying bounce, 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 bounce.
But you get the gist. Here's Cody Tapp and Alex Gold.
All right, it is a Fan Club Friday here on Cody and Gold. Alex Gold, Cody Tapp, Drew Nixon with you. It's presented by Jay Rieger & Co. First off, what's the cocktail that we got working?
As I'm making it, sorry, it's way more ingredients today. Swingin' Doors is the name of it.
Never heard of it.
So whiskey, Cafe Amaro, which is like a coffee-based liqueur, lemon juice, cinnamon syrup. Am I missing anything else? I think that's it. I'm looking at the recipe
now.
now.
You're gonna make those. And
I'll complete those.
We'll
now.
try that in just a bit. We've got a first-time guest into the Fan Club. We've got Taylor Burr from Fox 4 Sports joining us in studio. So welcome. Thanks for coming on the show.
Glad I could finally make it.
I know we've been trying for a bit, but football season's busy.
I know. I can't believe it's over. I don't think coming to Kansas City I would have ever expected that it would be done this early, but here we are.
This was your first full football season. How long have you been back or been in Kansas City?
So I got here in May, so I think we're going on 8 months. But yeah, this is I came from Gainesville covering the Gators, but this is the first pro football team I've worked with. So it's been fun to cover them. Obviously, like training camp to now, you get to know the players, and I was rooting for them so hard. So it's a shame, but I think this reset could be very good.
Yeah, what do you make of just where they're at heading into the offseason? Because everybody's trying to figure out, of course, what do they need to do, and maybe it changes based off of what Travis Kelce decides to. But what do you think is the main thing they have to accomplish this offseason?
See, it's funny because from an outside perspective, you only know the basics, but now that you cover the team, you realize there's just a web of, I don't want to say issues that kind of all interconnect, but definitely the offense. I think that, again, I would never want someone to get fired for a job, but I think that says a lot that Andy Reid fired their wide receiver coach. I think that is an issue this season that I think needs to be fixed. But yeah, I mean, obviously what you've been talking about all year, run game,
right,
pass rush. I would say wide receiver though is my biggest thing, just because there were such high expectations going into the season for them, and I just think they weren't great, to be honest.
Yeah, wide receiver was clearly a problem for them, and that's what we're trying to figure out. Are you good with them, taking a wide receiver at number 9 or going through the free agency path? And we can get it to some of the decisions that they're going to have to make in a bit. But you mentioned you've been here for 8 months, as Cody's getting ready now to hand out a drink or two. You have to work though, right? So
I'm tiny. I feel like a drink that would not be great for me.
You're still working, so that's fine. No pressure. Do not feel like you have to have a drink with us.
So funny.
But 8 months in Casey. So what do you make of Kansas City? Was there anything that's surprised you?
I think it all surprised me, but I will say, looking back at it, coming from Gainesville, it's not a big city at all. Super small market. It was comfortable because I went to school there for 4 years, worked there 2 years after. So what is this called?
Yeah, what? I don't remember. Swinging door.
You're gonna see me
swinging door.
Lord. Look how fancy with the little peel on the top.
So Cody will tell. He used to be a bartender, so everything the garnish and he's not messing around.
I'll make my drink and Drew's drink here in a minute. Swinging door. So 1 ounce Rieger whiskey, 1 ounce Cafe Amaro.
It's really good.
Egg whites, cinnamon syrup, lemon juice. That's it. That's a cocktail.
It's good.
Never.
Not a whiskey drinker, but
you don't really taste.
But
much
it's only
of the
it's not a lot of whiskey in the drink
it's
because
sweet.
it's it takes out. There's so many other ingredients.
I know.
in it.
Rob's always saying you got to drink whiskey, and I'm like,
that's his thing.
You don't have to
do I look like a whiskey drinker to you, Rob?
What's your go-to drink?
It's really gross. It's probably from college. Buy a vodka water with lemon juice.
That's fine.
Simple.
That actually seems it's like drinking any kind of flavored water at a spa.
The key is the lemon juice. So I like the sour. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But this isn't bad.
This one's got some lemon juice.
You can tell him if the drink sucks. You can just tell him if it's not good. You can tell him that.
It looks so fancy.
Yeah, he does a good job with the presentation on these.
He does.
We usually have pretty good cocktails on Friday. You mentioned Gainesville, so I'll ask you: does this mean you? So we were talking about the college football playoff semifinals last night. Miami, you're making a face right now. Do you hate Miami? Do Florida people hate?
Yeah.
Okay.
I will say yes. I am not a Miami fan. I think I'm what's the word? Post-traumatic stress from when they came to UF when I was working there and just completely killed us. I was right by where all our recruits were, and at the end of the game, they were throwing up the U, and I was like, oh, this is horrible under Napier's era. But I was really rooting for Ole Miss. I got to support the SEC. And I think it would have been such a great story if they made it to the championship without Kiffin. So I was I like Chambliss.
Trinidad is easy to root for, and I think we all were. The storyline you brought up with Lane Kiffin leaving makes it easy.
Been storybook.
I'll admit though, those of us here in Big 12 country now, I kind of like seeing the SEC struggle a little bit. Three straight misses, no NCAA or no title game appearances, I should say.
It's wild. I mean, obviously I'm a diehard Gator fan. I think everyone knows that, but I always thought SEC was the best of the best, and I still think it is. But this year's been weird. It was wide open for a while, and besides maybe Ole Miss, but yeah, I guess 3 years not in the championship game. That says a lot. Things change all the time, football. So maybe the Big 12.
It's evening out a little bit. I feel like
NIL,
you don't make it 3 years in a
it.
row. It's that's got to be of note, especially for the SEC. They won every title for what felt like 10 or 15 straight years.
A lot of that's because of Saban, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Alabama's dominance.
He's doing some of the heavy lifting certainly there, but I mean, he wasn't the only person winning during that time.
Georgia for a while. I don't know. It's changing. Like I would say with basketball last year, college basketball, I feel like the SEC took a big step up, and it wasn't like that for a while. So,
you were able. So then, you showed up in May. So you were covering Florida when they won the national title in basketball, then, right?
I was.
How was that?
I felt like a winner for once in my life. It was so. I can't even explain it to you. I think I was on live TV because we were doing live coverage the entire time. And when they won, I think I was like, oh my God, they won. Especially because every single game in the national championship, they were dogs, I guess you could say, and always had to play catch up. So, I mean, it was an insane team. Fortunately, not as great this year. We had Walter Clayton Jr. last year, Elijah Martin, and Will Richards. So it was insane. I felt like it was a good send-off to Kansas City, if that makes sense.
You got to go out with a
automatically-
championship. You feel like that you were covering. That's
it was
true.
Amazing, but
It feels like it's a bit of a weather shift, though. It's like you were talking about the city size. It's like
No.
we're in the middle of January here. I don't know that, like, I feel like that would have been the
let me
toughest
tell you,
adjustment.
December 1st, when we had our first snow day, I was not prepared. Scariest thing driving in the snow because I've never drove in snow before.
Did you said you grew up in Florida too?
Moved there when I was 12. I did live in Connecticut before, so I do have some experience.
not
with the
driving.
weather.
But certainly not driving.
Not driving. I call my dad on my way to work because I hear the car going like every time I'm braking, and then he's like, "That's normal. Your car's not breaking down." I was like, "Okay."
You know what's nice though? Like
I can see that,
I
though.
laugh just because we
Yeah.
grew up in it.
No.
So it's totally different.
Oh
so you're
my
not.
God, no, it was so scary. And like, I guess it was a pretty bad snow day because there were some people at my station that did get in some accidents, which isn't great. But took the back roads. You realize you can't. I've learned a lot from the one snow day. Not to talk about this, but
No, this is this.
No, that's the kind of stuff we
this
like
is
talking about on this show.
We talk sports
I
plenty.
learned
This
a
is
lot
good.
of things. One, you got to double the time to get somewhere if it's snowing. Didn't know that. I was supposed to go to Lawrence that day, and I was like, you know what? That's probably not going to happen. We're not going to drive an hour to Lawrence in the snow for the first time. With ice, don't brake. You just kind of got to coast. So you
Or
got
don't
to drive
slam
really
on your
slow.
brakes at the very least. Yes.
Oh my gosh! And windshield wiper fluid needs to be.
Did you run
for-
out?
Needs to be
No,
filled
but
before you get
needs-
out on the road.
It needs to be for snow, like an ice, which mine was not because I was from Florida.
Oh,
so.
you didn't have de-icer. You just
No.
had like okay.
So it was a journey, but I think I've gotten pretty lucky. It's been like 66 degrees
Yeah.
here the past 2 days. So
Yeah, we haven't had real winter yet. Like December. When you even said snow day December, I was like, what day was that? I guess we did have a little bit.
December 1st.
A little bit, but
I
we haven't
remember
had
the exact day.
we haven't had like the big snowstorm yet.
No, I don't think so. I
don't
get, you
say
know,
that.
well, I mean, do you want us to be honest or just tell you that it's fine?
Everyone's-
Be optimistic. It's not coming. It's not.
It might not this year. But
Sure, don't lie to her.
But we don't know how long
You know?
Taylor's going to live in Kansas City. If she's here for a few years, she's going to have to experience it at some point.
Hey, I was just down in Delray Beach for Christmas. I don't want to have this cold, all right? I don't want to have it.
He grew up in Indiana. He should be used to it. But he lived in Florida just long
I lived in
enough.
Pensacola for 2 years.
Okay.
So just long enough that he got a taste of like the good life of you know
The
sunshine
good
and
life.
rain. I guess.
Sunshine, blue skies. Lowest is like 60 degrees, and you got a winter jacket on there. Not the same.
Winter jacket and 60 degrees.
I will say though, Florida humidity cold is different than the dry cold here.
Okay.
I don't know how to
so we always
explain
hear
it,
about
but
the
it is.
humidity with heat.
Yeah,
but
it's
you're
the
saying
other
in
way
the
usually.
you're saying in the wintertime.
It's cold there because of the humidity, or maybe it's just because you're not layering as much because you're in Florida.
I think
Could
some
be
of
a
it's
little bit
that,
of both.
and you're not used to it. It's the
Exactly.
same as like we get to the 4 seasons here. So the first 61-degree day in March, we're all like, "Oh, it's tropical.
shorts and t-shirts.
I don't
yeah.
even need a jacket. It's perfect." And then towards the end, the first like 68-degree day after it's been summer, you're like, "Oh, a little chilly. I want like a light jacket or something today." And sometimes it's the season; it just catches you.
I know it's funny. I post on Twitter mainly as a joke, but people take me so seriously. I'm like, "Oh, it's so cold outside," especially when I was covering high school football, and they're like, "Oh, just wait till February and January," and I'm like,
Cool.
"Lovely, can't wait."
I guess, did you, so like when you came to Kansas City, what other things, like we'd like to get to, you don't get to talk on television about your interests or who you are. They just make you say sports things. They give us complete freedom. What are, what are your hobbies and stuff? What kind of stuff do you do outside? Do you have those in sports TV? Your guys' hours are worse
Our hours
than
are crazy. I will say like it changes every day. So if you ask me, I would say more night side though. A lot of the stuff happens later on in the day. Hobbies.
Do you like,
I used to play soccer.
Play golf? Play soccer? Okay.
Haven't done that in a while. Actually, fun story because I think you were at the
the media game.
media game.
Yep.
I was so ready for that game. I actually went out to the field and practiced a week before. I was ready to go.
Did you do the sporting one or the current one?
The
current one.
I didn't touch the ball once.
No.
Oh,
well,
no.
as you
gotta
know,
get in the action.
as you know, there's
know,
like
it was wild.
30 of us on. I mean,
Exactly.
there's.
It
It's
was-
not like
I
it's
was-
11 on 11 or anything like
But
that.
love soccer. I like trying new food. Food's been good
Okay.
here so far. It's really good.
Going to
Thai
new
place.
restaurants? Wait, where's a good Thai place? I don't feel like
It's
Kansas has got a
called,
good enough Thai.
Oh my God. I'm like blanking on the name. It's like Thai Barami.
Where's
it's
it
in
at?
downtown Crossroads.
Okay.
It's really good, for the record. And I've just been exploring new places. Honestly, I'm like, I don't know if you guys feel this, but coming from Florida, I'm like, I'm in the middle of Kansas right now. It's just wild to me. Like middle of Missouri.
Yeah.
Like I've never been in the Midwest before.
And you're
Sometimes
like-
I'll go drive and find new places. Like I went to Weston. That was a really cute
Yeah.
place in Missouri.
Yeah.
Cute
Our,
shopping
our
there.
afternoon host loves going to Weston.
Yeah.
I think he self-declared himself the mayor of Weston. Is that
He
right?
might as well be. Everybody knows
No,
his
they got
name.
some wineries up there, and obviously this distillery,
so-
some other stuff.
And I made a good group of friends, so it's been nice. It's been a good transition so far. I do like Kansas City, though. It's like not too big, like I was telling you guys earlier, and you got cool metros around, so.
You're still talking about it like it's foreign to you. Like, this place seems nice.
8 months.
8 months.
That's a long time to live somewhere.
That's true. That is true. I guess it's just been busy.
Yeah.
There's always new parts of the city to explore, though.
Okay.
You know?
Make some suggestions to Taylor. We'll give him a few of them over on the text on 913-586-7965.
Someone echoing what you said about the Thai restaurant, by the way. Someone said that place
it's
is
so
awesome
good.
in the Crossroads.
I just feel like that's one of the food types that I feel like is better in other cities than here. So I'm open to better places. I'm getting Thai food tonight, funny enough.
There you go. Fun fact, I'm quarter Asian.
Okay.
So my grandpa was born and raised in Thailand. So he came to visit me, and when we were here, we went there, and he was like, "This is better than in Thailand." So
Well, that's a heck of an endorsement right
there's
there.
an endorsement.
Wow.
That's a hell of an
not good.
endorsement.
That is a hell of an unpaid endorsement for that.
Okay.
That's
There you go.
impressive. Okay.
Yeah, that tells us something about that place
Yeah.
for sure.
Check it out.
I mean, that speaks highly of it. You have my interest at the very least.
Are you excited for sorry, you mentioned soccer, so are you excited for the World Cup? That's new for all of us,
So
whether you're new
excited.
to Kansas City or not. That's something none of us have ever experienced.
So excited. I mean, I grew up watching more the women's team growing up. Like, they were my idols for as long as I can remember. But even getting the guys here, it's gonna be insane. Like, we're gonna get a whole new crowd of fans that I don't think Kansas City's ever seen before. Because everywhere around the world, soccer's the biggest sport, except I would say the United States for the most part. And I think we have some pretty good matchups too coming up. Portugal.
Messi, that's
Can you imagine Messi versus Ronaldo?
There's a better than not chance. I mean, those
That'd
two
be
teams are favored to
wild.
come out of those
Would
groups.
that be a quarterfinal if that's
That'd be
the
a
case?
quarterfinal. That's the only
That would
quarterfinal
be
game that
the
Kansas City
game.
would get, but they would get Messi and Ronaldo against each other. And what will be Messi's final
if he does decide to play, yeah.
World Cup? And again, he hasn't decided to play yet.
Is
People
the
are still
thought that
questioning.
he's going to? Do you follow that?
Not heavily.
Okay.
I would say.
There seems to be a lot of murkiness with it. I don't think people are sure.
I mean, honestly, from what I've read, you don't hear too much about it. I would love for him to come play one more time, but I feel like the last World Cup, it kind of felt like it was his last. So I don't know. We'll have to see.
It's just got to be tempting when you only have so much high level play left in you.
Yeah.
Because he knows that he can't do it after this one. Like this
This is
would
it.
be.
Yeah,
How old is he?
Like he's in his late 30s, early 40s. I think in late 30s. But like it's
38. He'll be 39 in end of June. So yeah, this is
like I mean, especially when
last run.
depending on the sport, sometimes you can go a little bit longer than that. But typically in soccer, because you rely so much on like speed and agility, it's not all just skill. You can't just like slow down and like outmaneuver people. I mean, if you go to the MLS and you're Messi, you can because you're just better than everybody you're playing against. But that's slightly different, I think, at least on that end. He mentioned, I think when I was walking to the studio, you were disappointed the Chiefs obviously season ended early. What did you make about, I guess, from an outsider's perspective on the Chiefs? Do you think do you view it the same way I guess we do, which is like the chumminess of hey, do they need some outside thinkers? Is everything too close? Like, do you feel the same way about them needing to do it? Because from the outside, you saw them for a while just have success.
Right.
So for the first time having a hard year, I think fans were quicker to turn on the org than I was thinking they would be.
Yeah, I mean, when you made to the Super Bowl 5 out of the last 6 years and people are saying fire your head coach, I'm like, you guys are crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
For any other sport, we'd be like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. I will say, like, when you do make it to the Super Bowl as much as they do, a lot of flaws do get covered, right? There were a lot of flaws that got exposed this year, but I think this reset will be good. But I don't know. Obviously, it was a disappointing year, but I think it needed to happen. Like they say, NFL stands for not for long. So I think I'm on the bandwagon of getting someone outside Andy Reid's coaching tree to come and bring new ideas to evolve the offense a little bit more, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I think that's something that's necessary. I don't know if I have much faith that they won't just
I don't actually
bring
think it's
in
gonna
Mike
happen.
Kafka or bring back EB, but Cliff Kingsbury's intriguing. You know, I think everybody would love Mike McDaniel, but I just don't see that
I
happening.
just feel like EB would be like the least exciting hire they could make for this. They have had essentially just two offensive coordinators in almost the entire time Andy Reid's been the coach. I pointed out before, I understand they had Doug Peterson before. Doug Peterson has taken an NFL job, won a Super Bowl, got fired from that NFL job, taken a different NFL job, and been fired from that one in the amount of time that Matt Nagy and Eric Bieniemy have been the offensive coordinators for this team. They have not had someone outside the organization in the OC role in forever. And he knew Peterson from his Philly days too. So it's not like that was outside Andy Reid. But I just mean outside of this group in a weird way, even if it was a guy that Andy had some connection to, I would forgive it a little bit. But EB, it's like, that's just bringing back the same stuff.
So I'm actually curious from an outside perspective when you look, because again, I wasn't following the Chiefs as heavy during that time when he was with the Chiefs. You look at his stats and you're like, oh my God, the offense was so good under him.
Better players. Good offensive line. Tyreek Hill. Travis Kelce was 3, 4, 5 years younger.
I'm not saying he's my first pick. Obviously, his stints at Washington, right, and UCLA weren't the best.
No, but that also, this also just points to, coaching isn't always about coaching. Sometimes it's about situation. I'm a big believer in Mike McDaniel and think he should be another head coach. It's not like it went great in Miami. I think sometimes situation.
But all the great things everybody says,
that doesn't matter.
All the great things everybody says about Mike McDaniel, it all sounds like, well, that would make a great offensive coordinator, not a head coach. Anytime you
describe Matt Nagy before he left Kansas City that way. If you ignored these last 2 years.
Because everybody, when you say, what do you think of Mike McDaniel? They'll say, oh, great offensive mind. Seems like, he comes from Kyle Shanahan's tree. And it sounds like he'd be a great offensive coordinator.
Yeah. No, that's more than fair.
And so that's what's interesting. To answer your question that you were asking, just the difference, I think it's not as simple. People want to simplify.
Just bring it
was better with EB, worse with Matt Nagy. End of story. And I think that leaves out so much. You mentioned, Cody, better players. Sure. I think the league has shifted. How teams value running backs has shifted. How they play the Chiefs has shifted. The Chiefs, wide receiver room's not as good. I don't think Patrick Mahomes can play the exact same way he was playing 3 or 4 years ago.
If you applied anything that myopic to a view of life, just say like an ex-boyfriend or girlfriend, and you were like, well, my life was better. My job was better. Everything was better when I was with them. That not because of them. There were other things and circumstances surrounding your life. It's not just that if other things happen to be going well in your life the last time you were with them. There's also the blindness of people forget, and you weren't around for this. So people were ready to run EB out of town.
That's what I've heard.
So to pretend now that it's EB coming back will solve it all. Fans were running him out of town then. They were happy that Eric Bieniemy was going to take another opportunity. They were ready for a change of pace and a new voice. And some of this is just, you're having false memories about what that relationship was. You're saying boyfriend and girlfriend thing. You're looking back on that. You just remember the good times and not the actual reasons why you broke up or anything else that happened in between. They're just
That's
pretending.
a good analogy.
They're just pretending to ignore the actual things that took place. Because Gold, we were doing radio. They were happy to see EB go.
For sure. Yeah, but here we are. I mean, it is the most important offseason, though, that they've had
the most important
for this entire regime. I mean, that's what kind of makes it a little exciting.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is Beach's most important offseason, I would say. I like Kingsbury, though. I think a lot of people would agree with that. I think he brings that. Well, one, he's good at adapting with quarterbacks. We've seen it with Kyler Murray and Daniels, right? Yeah. And worked with Mahomes last 2 years at Texas Tech. Now, I know college is completely different than the NFL, but if Mahomes trusts him, maybe he'll advocate for him. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, we had Nate Taylor on, and he was saying that if Mahomes wants Cliff Kingsbury, then it's kind of got to be Cliff Kingsbury. Yeah. I don't know if that's what Mahomes will say, though.
I think he's innovative, creative. I think he'd bring a new flavor to the offense, maybe help it evolve.
He runs some similar schemes. They run some stuff from Tech that he likes, but that's also okay. They're not going to change the offense. They're not going to become a power gap run team tomorrow.
Right.
They still have Patrick Mahomes. They're going to run the offense. And so and I just completely disagree with anybody. And we talked about this earlier with Brisco and in the show. There are some people who are like, no, that's just doing the same thing. That's the same as bringing EB. I'm like, he's never coached with Andy. They have no connection. His connection was Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
Not with the coaching staff and Andy Reid. So I view it as a completely different thought and person, I guess.
We've got Taylor Burr from Fox 4 Sports hanging out with us here on a Fan Club Friday, presented by Jay Rieger & Co. NFL weekend wild card. Are you locked in or not? AFC, NFC. I think everybody's focused on Buffalo and Jacksonville, but what's the game or the storyline that stands out the most for you?
So my dad was born and raised in Pittsburgh. So before I came here, I am a diehard Steelers fan.
Okay.
So your squad's in it this weekend.
That game against the Ravens.
Awesome.
We needed a win like that. Steeler Nation did. Let me tell you, my whole family was screaming when he missed the field goal to win the game. Aaron Rodgers' last run, maybe I'm just optimistic, taking the dog over the Texans, but let's go Steelers.
We picked it. So I think, Cody, you have the Texans winning. I have the Steelers.
I changed. I originally had the Steelers. Too many people on the Steelers. I didn't feel good about it anymore, so I shifted yesterday.
Let me tell you, though,
I have the Steelers. Drew has the Steelers winning.
I get the Texans have the #1 defense, and if it weren't the Steelers, I could see them making it to the Super Bowl, which might be a hot take, but I don't know. Remember when the Chiefs played the Texans? They just blitzed Stroud, and he was horrible that game.
Yeah.
And the Steelers' defense isn't bad either.
And TJ Watt's back and healthy.
And we got DK Metcalf. I will say, though, the Steelers have struggled against good defensive teams this year and have only won games against good offensive teams. So
I worry Rodgers, even as quick as he gets rid of the ball, is
Yeah.
going to have problems back there.
he will.
Like if they don't get
100%.
people open early, that's why I think it's going to be a slugfest. I could be wrong, but
Yeah, I told you I think higher. I think
Yeah,
higher
you think it's in the
scoring.
20s?
Actually,
Really?
the Texans' defense it's obviously very good, but they gave up 30 to the Colts last week to Riley Leonard. So I don't
weird
know.
week.
His first start.
sometimes those first starts, though, maybe it's just like when the Royals have to face some rookie pitcher and he strikes out 12 or whatever. Who do you like in the other two games? Do you like Jags or Buffalo?
I know everyone's saying Jags just because they're hot right now, but I'm going to say Bills.
You're
Just-
on the Bills.
Yeah,
just
I'm with
because,
Josh Allen.
Josh Allen over Trevor Lawrence.
Is
I
this?
think Josh
Is there a
Allen.
bias because Trevor Lawrence, played at a different, not an SEC school?
It was
but-
Clemson. That was Clemson.
Yeah. I didn't know. You just kind of
Who's Clem? No, I've got nothing against the Jags. I just don't see them beating the Bills. And I think if the Bills don't win the AFC this year, that there's a lot of conversation there regarding
Big time.
their-
It's a huge legacy
Yeah.
changer for Josh Allen. If he wins, then it keeps it going.
If they lose in the first round, that is a devastating
right. Especially
blow.
without Burrow, Mahomes, and Lamar.
Exactly. We had a guest on from Buffalo yesterday, right? Yeah, Mike Shope from WGR 550, and he was saying he doesn't think Sean McDermott would get fired because that's the
Really?
discussion. He thinks that their GM would, though, because you go back and look at some of their drafts and the misses. They haven't really
Keon Coleman's a total bust. He's not even playing.
addressed wide receiver for Josh Allen. And yeah, Keon Coleman's going to be inactive tomorrow or Sunday.
He did find James Cook, in fairness, who is
James
the
Cook.
second most important player on the entire team to Josh Allen. So it's not like it's been talentless. But this is just one of those things. If you never win a Super Bowl and then you lose in the first round, somebody's head has to roll. And it's not going to be Josh Allen's. So start the list, I guess, somewhere after that. What was the other AFC game that we didn't cover?
Chargers.
Chargers,
Pats.
Patriots.
I think we all just assume the Patriots are going to win. The Chargers are too hurt.
Yeah, Drake May is good.
Very.
But I think it's actually a really good matchup when you think about it. When you think Pats are unexperienced and then you're going against the Chargers defense. Also, I don't think the D-line for the Pats is that great, so I don't think they're going to get as much pressure on Justin Herbert, which could make things interesting.
But he's like the most pressured quarterback in the second half
That's
of the
true.
season because their
And that's
offensive
just-
line is hurt.
That's just going for the underdogs. I think the Pats probably will win because Drake May's been insane this
he's been
season,
great.
So.
The only question for the reason why I don't know if I can pick the Chargers and I didn't, I picked the Patriots, is the injuries. Like it's
That
not.
as
I
well.
actually think Justin Herbert will be just fine in the game.
Yeah,
but what is he
he's played
supposed to do? When you mentioned the O-line injuries and some of the other injuries that exist on the staff, and Mike Vrabel, not that Harbaugh's not experienced, but coaching wise, I don't know, is it a toss up for you? Slight edge to Mike Vrabel? I mean, it's not like the Chargers are getting a coaching edge, in my opinion. In this
I think it's a
game.
wash.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give a slight edge one way or the other. Like, look, we like Vrabel, and because he's taken this Patriots team as far as he is, we've juiced him up even more. He went to an AFC title game with the Titans, so I don't want to just dismiss his time there. But it also fell on hard times when the roster wasn't very good. So Harbaugh's won everywhere he's been. Like, I can't deny that. He's won in the NFL. He's won in college. Like, he's won everywhere. The NFL the first time. So probably a wash, I think, in the coaching department. I would give, God, the Herbert May one is just, you've never seen May fail because it's
Yeah.
only been 2 years.
I will say I think Herbert does need a playoff win though.
He does.
He's 0-2,
No question.
right?
Yeah,
He does.
and he's
Be
not
interesting.
looked good.
No. He gave up a huge lead
Yeah.
to Trevor Lawrence and the Jags
Jacksonville.
2 years ago. And so, like, they've still got a problem with that. So, yeah, I agree, Gold.
NFC side, do you have who's your pick to come out of the NFC and the AFC to get to Santa Clara for the Super Bowl before we let you go?
I like the Seahawks. I think everyone's kind of on the same boat with that. I haven't heard anyone against that, to be honest. And then AFC is just so wide open. I would say if Texans beat the Steelers, I would say Texans.
Okay, interesting.
Just 'cause
And then
the
if it's not, if
defense.
the Steelers win, do you think it's the
Let's
Jags?
go Steelers
Bills?
all the way.
You're going with the Steelers. That would be in a year where there's no Mahomes,
Hey.
Burrow, or Lamar, and all of a sudden
Rodgers' last run. Can't write a better
Are we sure
NFL
he's not just
script.
coming back? I mean, if he
don't-
wins the Super Bowl, he's not coming back, but.
right. I don't know.
I think this is his last year. I think he said it twice. I don't know.
Did he say it out loud? Or is it just one of those, like,
Maybe
it
this
sounds
is
like
just
that?
a.
You think he's done?
I
though.
think
That's
he's
what it sounds
done.
like,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
think he's done. Wild card weekend. Great weekend of sports. Taylor, good to have you in studio.
Thank you for
Nice
having
to have
me.
you on the show. Taylor Burr from Fox 4 Sports joining us here on a Fan Club Friday. We'll keep talking a little bit about wild card weekend, some final thoughts there, and back into the Royals briefly and the latest on the arbitration hearings for Vinny Pasquantino as well as Chris Bubich. That's right here on 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to Cody and Gold, brought to you by Heartland Men's Health, the leader in men's sexual health. Thousands of men have been successfully treated for low T, ED, and more, all with discretion and compassion. Make your appointment at heartlandmenshealth.com. Tune in for the Fan Club every Friday at 1, right here on 96.5 The Fan.
What would you say was the biggest factor in getting that win tonight?
I mean, you said it. I think that was it for me. Factor. I was feeling strong. Had plenty in the tank for overtime.
Wait, Factor, like the meals?
Yeah, Factor meals. I've been getting Factor high protein meals delivered all month. I get all the power I need. They taste great, and they're ready to eat in 2 minutes.
Okay, I need to get on that.
For real. Go to factormeals.com. It's the easiest way to eat like a pro.
I can't believe how spotless my floors look after using the Swiffer Power Mop. No more dragging around a heavy mop and messy bucket. Now I get the same deep clean without all the work. Thanks to the powerful solution and scrubbing pad of the Swiffer Power Mop, dirt and grime don't stand a chance, and I don't break a sweat. Mic drop. Mop drop.
Swiffer Power Mop. Swiffer Power Mop.
A smarter way to mop. Try it or your money back.
Welcome back to Winter Hack Radio, the place for clever hacks to survive the season. Icy driveway? Well, try spreading sand or birdseed to help with traction. Snowy puppy paws? Well, grab a whisk, brush it off, done. Catch COVID-19? Well, just get...
Actually, there's no hack for COVID-19. But if you test positive, prescription medications for COVID exist. Ask your doctor if they're right for you. Visit PfizerForAll.com to learn more. Sponsored by Pfizer.
$5,000. That's the average amount of money people in the U.S. are now spending on gas in a year. $5,000. That's crazy. If you drive, you have to download Upside, the free app that gives you cash back every time you get gas. That's right. You can earn real cash back with Upside just by buying the gas you're already buying. You can literally start earning cash back today.
I use Upside every time I fill up, and I've already made around $200-$300.
You're putting gas in your car anyway. Why not get real cash back? If you like free money, download Upside.
I'm saving the cash I earn from using Upside to help pay for a vacation later this year.
Download the free Upside app now to earn cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code FRESH to get an extra 35 cents per gallon on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, PayPal, or a gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code FRESH for a 35 cents per gallon bonus.
What if your instincts could pay off? With Robinhood Prediction Markets, you could put your knowledge to work on the events that matter to you. Prediction Markets isn't just sports. It's the Fed rate decision, your favorite award show, and so much more beyond the playing field. Trade events with Robinhood. Visit Robinhood.com/predict. That's Robinhood.com/predict. Futures and cleared swaps trading involves significant risk and is not appropriate for everyone. Event contracts are offered by Robinhood Derivatives LLC, a registered futures commission merchant and swap firm.
O'Reilly.
Replace your wiper blades and save $10 on a pair of Rain-X Latitude wiper blades at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Beam blade technology improves windshield contact for maximum visibility. Our professional parts people will even install your new wiper blades for free. Stop by your O'Reilly Auto Parts store or shop online at O'ReillyAuto.com.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the DM Injury Law Studios. Mike's got this. What's trending?
God dang!
Brought to you by Telly Tire and Auto Centers. Winning starts with a great drive. Since 1942, Telly's certified techs have delivered complete car care with top brand tires and expert auto service. Keep your drive going. Take it to Telly. Visit tellytire.com today.
All right, number one on what's trending, as we were just discussing with Taylor, AFC, NFC wildcard weekend gets going tomorrow. So at 3:30, Rams, Panthers. Rams, big favorites in that one, 10.5-point favorites. Then at night, you got, I think it's on Amazon Prime, isn't it? 7 o'clock kickoff, Packers, Bears. I'm sure it's going to be an incredible atmosphere there at Soldier Field, where the Packers are 1.5-point favorites. Then on Sunday, we get 3 games. Noon kick in Jacksonville. Bills, slight favorites, 1.5 points. Niners, Eagles at 3:30. Eagles, 4.5-point favorites. Sunday night, that'll be Chargers, Patriots, where the Patriots are 3.5-point favorites. Then we got to wait till Monday night for the Steelers, who are 3-point home dogs. They're the other than the Panthers, they're the only home. I guess the Jags are slight dogs. I was going to say we actually have a couple home dogs, but the Steelers, other than the Panthers, the
3
biggest
out of 6 matchups.
Biggest home dog. Yeah,
no doubt. Next up on What's Trending, local college hoops this weekend. Kansas will head to West Virginia. Kansas State will head to Arizona State, and then they'll make it a 3-team road trip, I guess. Missouri will head to Ole Miss for all 3. Obviously, Kansas State coming off that loss to Arizona, but Missouri and Kansas both coming off of come-from-behind victories against good opponents. So good weekend for them, or good earlier in the week part for them. See if they can get the wins this weekend.
Elsewhere, just some broadcast news today. We found out that, much to Cody's chagrin, Al Michaels coming back.
You were legitimately
he
not
was
happy,
mad.
actually.
Al Michaels is a legend. Cody's been hating on older people here all week long.
Yeah, you know what? Dr. James Andrews was a legend too. Let him fix your torn up
Oh,
ligament.
Al Michaels is calling football. Anyway, he announced that he's going to come back for another season. He's 82 years old. He'll be on Amazon Prime Thursday Night Football next year.
We take driver's licenses away from old people, but we'll just let them call football games forever, even if they're not good at it.
There's 90-year-olds that are still driving.
Did you spend your entire week and a half break with just elderly people and you're fed up with it? Is that what this is?
I'm just saying we don't have to forgive poor quality play-by-play, which is what Al Michaels has been given. Next up on What's Trending, college football playoff semifinals. Obviously, Miami advancing over Ole Miss last night. Indiana versus Oregon tonight. So we'll get number 1 versus number 3. No, 4.
5.
Oh, 5. That's right. 5. In the college football playoff seeding, they'll take on each other. Indiana currently a 3.5-point favorite.
Let's hope we get another banger like last night. Let's just hope for that.
Last night was ugly for a while, and I was a little worried Miami was going to run away with it because they were the superior team for a good chunk of the night. Chambliss was really careless with the ball, and then it just kind of locked in. He started playing good football, and that thing went back and forth at the end. It was fun. It was definitely fun. That's what's trending here on Cody and Gold.
Yes, it is. 913-586-7965.
How do you like your swinging door?
Fan Club Friday brought to you by Jay Rieger & Co.
I'm already done.
Swinging door. That's a unique name for.
I'm already done, man. That drink is great.
I find this cocktail delightful.
Very good.
Drew had his quickly.
Whiskey?
After wearing a Hooters outfit the entire show.
That was not the reason exactly why I downed it, if you will. But, I mean, that was I almost couldn't put it down.
I might make another tonight. Yeah. 1 ounce whiskey.
Yep.
1 ounce Cafe Amaro, which is their coffee liqueur. Cinnamon syrup, lemon juice, and egg whites.
Someone says,
wait,
Drew.
Wait, really?
There's an egg white in this, Drew.
It adds a little froth.
Yeah, that's kind of like a texture.
Yeah,
to it.
I wouldn't have guessed.
It doesn't. You're not gonna taste. It's not gonna taste like you're drinking an egg.
I
see the text that you're laughing at.
Top text. Drew's wearing a Hooters outfit from losing his bet. And remember, he changed out of it. He's not wearing it anymore. He lost the bet.
I feel like I can.
At 12:45, the bet was paid off, so he's not wearing the Hooters outfit anymore, the crop top and the short shorts. But they said Drew's wearing a Hooters outfit, but weirdly, it's Cody's with his panties in a bunch.
Oh, get out of here. The hell?
You almost
Just
spit
saying.
your drink
By
out
the way,
while
I
reading that.
want to make this clear for
I
you.
had to decide did I want to read the text or not?
Alex also doesn't think Al Michaels does a good job. He'll
Correct.
just let him do the job forever.
But that's because you're a curmudgeon when it comes to it,
I said that
though,
Al
Cody.
Michaels has slipped and that he misses some things, and I agree that he's not great. You, though, are just putting it on all week long. Anybody over the age of 70.
Cody's take is consistent. At least
the
you're
old
consistent
variety
with it.
show, like the giant cane hook.
Lee Corso, Dick Vitale, you've had the same take for both of them.
But here's the thing, we all know at the end, it felt like geriatric care with Lee Corso. It was uncomfortable. And I guess for this case, it's not uncomfortable yet with Al Michaels, but I hope it isn't next year.
I think that, especially with Lee Corso, and I don't know if it was the relationship with Kirk Herbstreit, but I think in general, and Al Michaels, I think, is a part of it, and I don't feel as much the same about Al Michaels as I did with Lee Corso or Dickie V, but there's like a comfort level to it where you see Lee Corso on game day and it makes you feel good. It makes you, even though it's not quite what it used to be, it still makes it feel like the Saturdays that we had growing up and Lee Corso was putting on the mascot head and everything like that. It felt like it was comfort. It was comforting.
And for Al Michaels, that certainly is like of a generation. He called some of the biggest and has called some of the biggest things on the planet.
Yeah, period.
So there's no doubt about it. It just
legend.
it also maybe seems a little bit weird that Kirk Herbstreit keeps getting paired with the people who are like at the tail end of their careers. Is he just like a gentle soul?
Kirk Herbstreit is one of, he's in his 50s, so you can't even say like young voices, but like he's one of the best in the business, period, right now. He's in sports media, Kirk Herbstreit is one of the biggest names. He's very, very good at what he does. I agree with you. He's better at college than NFL. I would not disagree there. But I don't think he's terrible on the NFL broadcast.
I also don't think he's taking care of Al Michaels I don't think
you're using the Lee Corso thing like where he was truly like helping him. Yeah. I don't think Al Michaels is not to that extent. Thank goodness yet.
Didn't the story come out that Al Michaels always gets a steak at halftime of the prime game? Like he wants a steak and it's got to be prepped
steak,
properly.
Baked potato, man. I'm in. Steak, baked potato, I'm in. Sign me up for that. If you told me that in the middle of our show every Friday at noon we just had steak. Oh,
and a baked potato.
Please.
Yes, instead of fan club Friday?
Yeah, we just had every Friday at 1 o'clock there's a filet ready to roll. Hell yeah.
Honestly, it would go great with these whiskey cocktails we've been making lately.
Oh, yeah.
It would feel very
good.
We'll do cigars, too. You know what? Just really, really smell. Could you imagine?
Cigar smoking here? Way back in the day, you could now with the equipment at LA, way back, that's people were on the radio and smoking while they were running the board. Imagine Drew back there with a cigarette right now. Gross.
I've never smoked a thing in my life.
This. I've smoked a cigar.
We've talked about that. Yeah, I don't smoke. Never have.
But I've never smoked a cigarette. I didn't say I've never smoked anything.
Have you smoked a cigar?
Yeah. I have smoked a cigar. Not a bunch. I've a handful. I don't know.
Someone said old man Al would knock Cody's ass right out of the ring. That right punch.
That would be
right hook.
No. This is the thing that's hilarious. Is
uppercut Al Michaels into oblivion.
Gold, that's what I was about to say. Cody would look like the worst person out of all this because you would legitimately be fighting him because you don't think he should be broadcasting anymore.
Let's go and get Al Michaels on the show. Let's talk this one out. I'm sure he'd love to come on the show. Yeah, I'm sure he would just love
After
it.
all this,
would he call Cody a sissy like Terry Bradshaw did?
Bradshaw. Now that's not a fight I'm necessarily trying to pick. Romanowski's still.
You'd rather fight Romanowski.
By the way, Bradshaw's actually worse on television than not even Al Michaels is way sharper. Terry Bradshaw is he probably shouldn't be on TV anymore. Yeah.
And again, sometimes
he's in his last year, isn't he?
And I think I'm still talking to Alex because the sissy guy hadn't said a word yet.
That's an all-time.
It's still unbelievable that he said that. I wasn't here for that, but that's crazy.
Yeah, we had him on the show.
Four-time Super Bowl champion Terry Bradshaw just saying. Right out of the sissy man.
Right out of the gate, he said that he was on hold. He heard us talking, and first thing he said is that still Alex? Because I hadn't heard the sissy boy.
Yeah, and then I said, no, I'm still here. I've been asking you because there he is.
That's right.
What the hell I did.
And then later in the interview, remember he was yelling about he was asking his wife, "What's the barbecue place in Kansas City?" And he was yelling in the background to his wife, and then she shouted, "Joe's Kansas City."
That was a great,
a
fun time. I'd love to have Terry back on.
Anyway,
great time.
Let's go ahead.
No, I was going to say we can make our official Super Bowl predictions coming up here in just a minute. The teams we see coming out of the AFC and the NFC. It's a fundamental thing of sports radio. We understand we will be wrong. We already showed you how wrong we were in trying to predict divisions and other things. But at first, you mentioned the arbitration stuff, and it's worth at least mentioning on the show. The Royals had 6 ARB-eligible players, 4 of which, including Michael Massey and some others, got their deals all locked up. So they agreed to an ARB number that both the team and the player could agree to. There are 2 players left who are in the middle of arbitration agreements. They are Vinny Pasquantino and Chris Bubich. Before you panic, because I get it. Vinny's made it very clear. I think he would like an extension from the Royals, or at least that's my sense of it. And the last time we had JJ Piccolo on the show, he didn't seem like he was in a real big hurry to be handing out an extension following the one with Michael Garcia, because you specifically asked, now that Michael is done, what would that look like for Vinny? And I would say his tenor on that sided on the not in a hurry side of things. So that might be complicating it a little bit with it. But the truth is they're $500,000 apart, and this happens all the time. And I don't think they're going to actually sit in that arbitration meeting and say mean things to each other because it is an awkward process. They'll get it done before they ever go to that meeting. And they'll settle somewhere between the $4 million the Royals want to pay Vinny and the $4.5 million that that Vinny Pasquantino wants. They're not $15 million apart like they are with Tarek Skubal.
No, I know it. Yeah, from the outside, it's very easy to be like, dude, just he's at 4.5, you're at 4. Just pay him the 4.5. What's the big deal? But that's just not how the arbitration hearings typically go. And I think they will get, I think they will get it done before the hearing as well. So I get the sentiment where it's like, why couldn't you guys have figured it out before it even got to this point? And that's fair. That doesn't mean that they're working on an extension. Doesn't mean that one side is, wants an extension and that's why they're dragging this out longer. Who knows? I don't know the circumstances. I think both will get resolved and it'll be just fine.
Yeah, I'm not $1.5 million. I'm just, again, there are teams, and there's been times under Dayton Moore. And I don't think that J.J. Piccolo follows everything Dayton Moore did. He's already operated significantly different than Dayton did. But to this point, the one thing J.J. has been doing is not actually going to arbitration. Because I've had that meeting described to me in great detail by front office members of the Royals before. It is the most nail-ripping, gutting thing to do. You sit in a room and you tell them all the reasons they're not worth the money they're asking for. And what we're talking about typically is the difference between $4 and $6 million. So to try to save $2 million with this arbiter, you got to be in there and be like, Vinny chases sliders. He's been hurt. Or whatever you want to say. And just some things might not even be true. It's just not worth that experience for a player that is a very good leader for you. I'd still give Vinny an extension. I made that very clear.
Yeah,
the team's not in a hurry and you don't have to do it. They have control, so they're not in a rush. There are intangible parts in addition to what he does in the middle of the order that I'd pay him. I'd give him the extension, but I understand that they don't have to based on his current contract situation.
I totally understand it. And like we've always said, not my money. I'd give him an extension as well, but I totally get why. If in fact they don't, I totally understand why. I mean, the nature of the baseball business with how much control they have on him because of how long, he was older when he got called up. It allows them to play it out this way, where he can still get raises, but he doesn't get the long-term financial security that you always want from a long-term deal. And so I hear where you're coming from. I've told you for the last year or so, and look, we have Vinny on the show, so it's no secret. We're big fans of Vinny.
I'm biased. I get an open bias.
I get why if they ultimately choose not to ever give him an extension, I totally understand why, though, from their side of things. It is not like some, atrocity. I totally get knowing that they have him for another 3-4 years.
They could ride out a huge chunk of his prime, go through this arbitration process, pay him a bunch of money, and he'll make way more money as the years go on. This is just the top. He'll make maybe $4.5 million this year. That's quadrupling, septupling his salary from last year. I get it. And then if he has another 30 home run, 100 RBI season, he'll make $8 or $9 million. So he'll get himself raises through performance. For me, it's just, and this is the argument I would make to the Royals, not that they're going to listen to me on extensions or anything like that. The reason why the Royals are, when they're just like a miserably bad team, it's because they don't have any starting pitching, and I understand that. It's when they can't pitch, when they're just 60 wins and have no chance. The reason why they've come up short as a team that has been near the playoffs or in the playoffs is because they can't hit.
Right.
They went dormant to sleep when they lost Vinny. Vinny is too valuable of a hitter for a team that doesn't have enough hitters, is just kind of my opinion.
Sure, but they're not losing it by not. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Like they can. What you're saying, it can be true, and they don't have to give an extension.
I also think he's really liked in the clubhouse, and he's a valuable leader.
No doubt.
And while Bobby Wood Jr. is the face of the franchise, I think Vinny is more the heart. And so, like as far as like the clubhouse goes, he's the face.
He's the vocal leader far more. Yeah. His personality fits that. Not everybody can. Guys lead in different ways.
Bubic, I'm a little surprised they're $1 million apart, but I guess Bubic's trying to get paid on what he could possibly do, not what he has done. Unfortunately for him, his career reminds me, and not just because he's a lefty and tall, his career reminds me so much of Danny Duffy's. Every time Chris Bubic pitches, I'm like, wow, that guy can really pitch. Is he pitching today? And because when he does pitch and is available,
that's the health question.
Guy can throw.
Yeah, it's all about
health. But yeah, for Bubic, my question is not ability. My question is, can he be on a baseball field all the time, consistently? And when it's that, I'm okay and I understand and I'm good and I get it. But when it's not that, those are the only questions. I also think he might be in the trade market. This is short and we don't want to get way too into it, but next week maybe we can talk about it.
Chris Bubic, you're talking about.
Chris Bubic. Yeah. Based on the current market that people are getting for either paying starting pitchers in the free agent market or what they're getting in trades, the Royals still need to use that excess of starting pitching and help their outfield.
I agree. I've told you, we've had these conversations. I mean, I think still, he's got 5 years of team control. But if you're not willing to trade Chris Bubich, I think Noah Cameron potentially has an immense amount of value given the control. Now, that's also why you would want to keep him. I get that. He's valuable for a reason.
Yeah.
But those would be the two names I'd be willing to trade, either Bubich or Noah Cameron. I would not trade Cole Reagans. I would. But Bubich is tricky. It sounds like there's more of a market for him than we realize, because I thought the injury and not finishing the season would have caused that to make, to be more challenging to trade Chris Bubich and what interest there is out there. And it sounds like there's more than we thought. Whereas Cole Reagans, at least, while he had an injury, he finished the season, I think, pitched 3 games and looked like his old self in a good way, right? Like, so we'll see how it plays out. We're still only January 9th. I mean, there absolutely could be more action.
The guys probably aren't even in Arizona yet, so it's plenty early for those kind of conversations.
I need to get out there. I need to get out there at some point.
Just worthy of
Arizona.
looking.
You've been there for spring training plenty
It's fun.
of times.
Yeah, plenty.
It's on the list.
For 6 weeks, the year I did Royals Insider.
We've gotten to do a lot of cool things. That's one thing I haven't gone to before.
Fans hated
spring
me.
training. Fans hated you?
Mm-hmm. My 1 year of Royals Insider was...
What'd you do?
Was mired. I wasn't Vern. That's what I did. I wasn't Josh Vernier.
I mean, Vern's great.
Vern is great. I wasn't Josh Vernier. Josh Vernier had been with him every day, every night.
Vern's phenomenal.
Through 2 World Series trips, through a World Series win. Vern was there. Side by side every night. And then I was there, and they were winning 58 games.
That's your fault.
And getting their teeth kicked in.
Definitely your fault.
It probably wasn't. I was a different style. They did not like me.
Thinking of Vern, we mentioned, and don't forget, Royals Rally is coming up at the end of the month on the 31st. Vern will be broadcasting from Royals Rally, 9 to noon. He'll have front office guests, player guests, so you don't want to miss that. As before long, Vern's Hot Stove shows, all that kind of stuff will be rolling here before we know it.
All right, who are your official picks to make it to the Super Bowl, to win the Super Bowl? This has been the lowest pressure one of these we have done in some time. Every year, I just blanketly say the Chiefs will be in the Super Bowl, and they'll be playing blank.
Yeah.
If you're going to make me predict them to win or lose, I'm going to predict them to win.
Yeah.
Chiefs win the Super Bowl. That's pretty much how it's been every year you and I have been on this show.
Right.
That has essentially been my prediction, and I've been right more often than I've been wrong. So I'll let you start now that there are no Chiefs and we're starting from scratch.
I'll stick with where I was a month or so ago because I still feel pretty good about the path. Rams, Patriots. Rams will beat the Panthers. Rams, Patriots, Super Bowl.
Rams, Patriots.
Yep.
Rematch of the 20.
Yeah, it's a rematch of the Super Bowl.
I forget whatever year that was. 2018?
I was tempted by the Patriots. I just decided when I was looking through the AFC field that it wasn't going to end up being a team who hadn't really experienced the playoffs in any particular way, which is why I also did end up on Denver. And instead, I ended up with the Jags. Jags on the AFC side, Seattle on the NFC side.
Seahawks, Jags.
So, look, the truth is,
I think the Jags are going. I think the Jags are going down tomorrow.
Well, and look, I think it could just as easily be if it were Eagles, Patriots. I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Right.
Like genuinely, that would probably be my second selection. I think the Eagles have the best roster. The only advantage I'm giving Seattle is they have a very good roster. They'll get to be from home, and they'll get to avoid the Eagles at least a while.
That's huge.
So the Eagles could still slip up sometime before the NFC title game, which I think at least Seattle will get to that. And so that's why I'm giving Seattle the edge at least there. So Seattle Jags, a real barn burner. It's honestly wishful thinking, if we're being honest. They'll both lose. And
Seattle's been underrated all year, undervalued, I should say, all year. And it would not stun me if they get there. I agree with the number 1 seed situation. I just think, you tell me the Rams beat the Panthers, they end up going, let's say, to Seattle. I think they're one of the few teams that can beat Seattle in Seattle.
Yeah, I agree. Just based on the way they're set up, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think what's weird is, I don't think there's a really bad answer you can give to this unless you tell me Panthers, Steelers.
Yeah.
That might be the only answer. I'm like, hey, we're giving real picks here, not telling jokes.
Yeah.
Outside of that, I don't think you can say 2 teams that sound absurd. Drew, what are your 2?
You and I did not talk about this at all before the show, but Cody and I have the exact
Jags?
same.
I gotta change mine. This is no good.
Because Drew has them, you want to
now I trust it even less.
Who did you say you have winning it?
Oh, I didn't say that. Seattle. Sam Darnold gets a Super Bowl.
I have the
Rams.
Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence.
I'll go with the Rams.
Go Jaguars. I like Trevor
Stafford
Lawrence
walks
more
off
than
into the sunset.
I like Trevor Lawrence more than you two, I think.
Yeah.
I think that there's something about this team that feels familiar to just watching. I know that they'd already been to the playoffs and stuff like that, but just watching, the Bengals from that run, it feels like the Jags kind of fit that where they're hosting a game and they can pull off a bit of a run here. So I'm taking Jacksonville.
Okay. Jacksonville.
You don't have to change your pick now because you and I don't have the exact same thing.
Look, I could be talking. There is a part of me that thinks Ross Tucker and
It could
Brisco
be-
are right in the sense that the winner of Bills-Jags just feels like the best team remaining in the playoffs by a wide margin. The Bills win, they're going to go to Denver. Most likely, right? Because we don't think the Chargers are going to win. The Bills can go to Denver and win. Are you kidding? Go. The Bills can absolutely go
They
to
did it
Denver
last year in
and
the playoffs.
Josh Allen versus Bo Nix in a playoff game. They can absolutely
Can they
go
win
to
3 in
Denver.
a row on the road? That's the tricky
I don't know,
part.
but that's the
you know?
Jags part that's the hang-up. The getting past Denver part actually doesn't scare me. And then in the final matchup, they'd be taking on New England, or I guess in that case, who'd be the Texans, let's say. The winner of New England and the Texans.
Steelers, yeah.
And so, another matchup that they definitely can win. And so they just won in New England. And so, there's part of me that really does think that those guys might be onto something.
This is all why that pressure's on Josh Allen, too. It's all why that pressure's on Josh Allen because you can
He's been
convince
great in the playoffs.
you can convince yourself it doesn't matter who it is, one seed, whoever. The Bills can absolutely win every single game that they have against any of these teams in the AFC. And then when you have a quarterback like Josh Allen, then you should expect to win all of those and make that run, even though they're the 6th seed.
The only question I have about the Rams is consistency defensively. They're good defense.
Pass rush is good. Corners are a little questionable.
Jared versus.
Yeah.
So again, tomorrow we've got we all have the Rams winning against the Panthers. I have the Packers winning. You have the Bears winning. Drew has the Packers winning. And then on Sunday, I have the Bills. You have the Jags. Drew, you have the Bills.
No, Jags.
Jags. Well,
Jags
you
Super
just paid for Super Bowl. Duh.
Yeah.
And then Eagles, we all have the Eagles winning against the Niners.
Whoever the Bills play, I have the other
And we
team,
all have the Patriots
please.
beating the Chargers.
All the Patriots.
And I have the Steelers beating the Texans.
I have the Texans.
I have the Steelers beating the
I did flip on that one yesterday.
where we're
I was
at.
originally on the Steelers, and I altered my plan. See?
Taylor being a Steelers fan made me shake my head. I can't stand the Steelers. It's frustrating.
But think
that
about
team
how-
is annoying.
The only thing that fears me, even though this is a no pressure playoffs in the sense the Chiefs aren't in it, so you don't have to sweat every game. I deeply, deeply fear a Broncos, Eagles, Patriots.
Who are you rooting for in
Eagles.
that game? If it's
I don't know.
Broncos, Eagles, Super Bowl.
Based on the list, it would be the Broncos.
The
according
meteor. I mean, what do you mean?
Broncos are number 1 on my list, though.
Based on the list, Cody would be rooting for the Broncos.
He would be.
I don't know.
I guess I'd be rooting for the smug Nick Sirianni. And
I think
company.
Is that the position you want to be in?
Gross.
I really hate to tell Chiefs fans this, but I would be rooting for the Broncos probably to win that game. But I really wouldn't
I don't
care.
know what to make of that.
I really don't
scenario.
care.
You never want a division team to win the Super Bowl. Sorry. You never want a team in your
Facts.
division.
Facts.
You just don't want that. It's not good for you. It's not healthy. Let the NFC team win.
It's not a healthy place to be for a Chiefs fan to watch